Hi guys, what's up? शुरू करो। क्या शुरू करूँ ब्रो? यो मैं तो साप फिर उठ गए। अरे वापस थोड़ी सोऊंगी यार। तो आई टुक अ नैप दो, मतलब आई कुड नॉट रियली स्लीप, मुझे आ रही थी नींद। 10 मिनट्स के लिए बस लेट गई थी मैं। I got black, I wanna know. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, 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 what is this? Oh. Do, 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 do. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the stream. आगे हम फिर से तमाशा देखने। एक सेकेंड। What is तमाशा here? Can you explain? Hi Ranjit, good morning. क्या what is this? अरे मैं कुछ देख रही थी यार, रुक जाओ ना यार। What is this? What is this? I got black, I got do. गुड मॉर्निंग सेकंड टाइम। गुड मॉर्निंग पार्ट 2 चल रहा है हम लोग का। ये अलग ही सीन है।
Match at least by a day. We got Global Esports and ZETA
कुछ
Division.
खा लो।
We're really excited to see the new
खा के
iteration
आई हूँ, तुम्हें
of
लगता है
both
मैं
of these
भूख के आऊंगी?
teams.
मेरी भूख
Now,
से
ZETA
जो
Division,
हालत
again,
खराब हो
across
रही
the
थी
board,
ना
both
सुबह
Korean
वाली स्ट्रीम
casters.
पे,
And
ओनली
over
आई
here
नो।
on the English desk, we're
स्ट्रीम
quite
खत्म करते ही
confident
नीचे
about our
भागी हूँ
gameplay.
कि
But
मम्मा
with
मुझे
two
खाना
new
दे दो।
players, is their inexperience on the global stage gonna affect things a lot?
It certainly can, and we've seen that plenty of times. I mean, Karon, his
फिर आज
first
स्टार्ट होने के
experience
बाद
over
आते कल की
Virgin
तरह ना हो
definitely
जाए।
had some,
यार मुझे
you
इतने
know,
तो
moments
होप्स
where it took a while to
हैं
find his footing, but then once
पैसिफिक
he
से
did, you could
कि
see that
कल
he was really
ऐसा
picking up pace and
प्रॉब्लम हुआ
becoming a
तो
player on
दे
stage.
मस्ट हैव फिक्स्ड इट कि
The team
आज
knew that
ऐसा
he was
नहीं
going to
होगा।
be. Very much the same could be said here for these players on the side of ZETA, but they've also, they do now have experience playing in front of crowds.
मुंह
They,
पे
you know,
फोन गिरा,
again,
फिर
the
चुपचाप
global
सोने
home crowd, I
चला
think,
गया।
was a
लॉर्ड
really good experience for these players to have first and foremost, because not only was it in front of a home crowd, so a lot of higher expectations on you, but it was also in a legendary venue within Japan. So even that just has way more, cultural pressure that's added in on top of it. So I think that
बड़ी
they
स्ट्रांग
should
बन
come
गई
into this
कॉफी
feeling
मुझसे
a bit more
जल्दबाजी
comfortable
में।
than they otherwise would have, but
क्या?
can still have those nerves.
ओहायो चिलचैन,
That's right. I mean,
ओहायो,
leadership from Laz
ओहायो।
coming in for them. I'm sure this is going to be great. Almost having this big brother look over the rest of the
By
team.
the way, guys,
Control
Tariq
is going
won
to be incredibly smart. Being able
FPS
to think
Gamer
his way out of
Award,
really
Best
tight
FPS Gamer of the Year।
Yeah, and you're at least if I could
मैंने
just,
उसको
look
वोट किया
at
था,
the other
जस्ट सिंग।
side here too for Global Esports.
वो
It might actually be
दो
what
कैटेगरी
could be
में
like the
नॉमिनेट
opposite,
हुआ
right?
था,
Where they're just
गेमर ऑफ द
flying
ईयर
off
एंड
of just
FPS
being
गेमर
on
ऑफ द
Global
ईयर।
Esports, which is
सो
such a
ऑब्वियसली
team
मैंने
that
उसको FPS
loves
गेमर
to
में किया
give that much
बिकॉज
energy to their players,
उसमें तो
you know, not
ऑब्वियसली
only
इज
every
द
game
बेस्ट,
to a
बट
tournament.
गेमर में ही इज
There
नॉट,
was always
ही
gonna
डज
be
नॉट
fighting,
डिजर्व इट बिकॉज वो सिर्फ
and
वैलो
Shell,
खेलता है,
they
पूरा
are
टाइम
looking to
वैलो
be
खेलता
a
है।
lot more aggressive. And
तो
again,
उसमें
to
श्राउड था,
take
मैंने
place
श्राउड
though,
को
even
वोट किया
though
था, बट आई
we
डोंट नो
talk
कौन
about how
जीता।
Global Esports is coming off of picking up all of these pieces, it's kind of like how they already want to go for, so they're pretty.
मतलब जितने भी लोग nominated थे उसमें भाई श्राउड का ही जीतना बनता था.
Use these new pieces into this match.
I know पॉपी प्ले टाइम खेला भाई, वो 2 साल में एक नया गेम खेल लेगा तो फिर वो वैरायटी गेमर नहीं बन जाएगा.
Because again, when it's him or SK Rossi back in the day, they always gonna pick SK Rossi. But I really feel like Lightning Fast was so underrated that he didn't get his chance. But now you've seen it in the videos that
Yeah, Vamshi, something is wrong with you.
in the starting five, he gets more more time in the spotlight to show what he's got.
शिरो भाई सोए कि नहीं? भाई नहीं सोई भाई, मैं वैम्पायर हूँ, मैं सोती वोती नहीं हूँ. दिक्कत है कुछ?
Almost kind of like
वैम्पायर हूँ मैं.
because now he's a part of that starting core 5. They decided to keep him, the only player that we had, and now Bazzi, kind of tacked on there at the very last second. But he was the only player that they decided to retain compared to last season. So that in itself does bring a lot of added
Hi, Double. Hi, Soumya.
expectations to prove why you held onto this roster. So I'm hoping that he's able to deal with that. It seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. Was talking to him a little bit earlier and seems fairly confident.
वैम्पायर नहीं, आउल. आउल दिन में सोता है. I am saying कि मैं नहीं सोती हूँ. क्या शुभांशु?
How that pressure is going to hit you until you are in that seat, until you're on stage, getting ready for this barriers to
Why
drop.
angry?
I mean, I have to have the same question for.
I am the Hulk. I am always
must be
angry.
So much pressure, maybe from the other end. And we didn't get to see a lot of Lightning Fast last year, but we also didn't get to see a lot of Benkai either. He must have a lot of weight on his shoulders. I mean,
Let's go,
he's
G.
known for cooking up some pretty cool
It's
strats.
G
What are we
fighting.
expecting here?
Honestly, I feel like that's actually
It's G fighting.
a good kind of balance.
G
If one of
fighting.
these players haven't gotten that extra bit of
हाँ,
time to really
vampire
adjust
हो,
and
yeah.
get into Zeta
Yeah,
division,
bro.
what you could be looking for is Russ is going to be, as they were talking about, the
Shiro is
IPO,
more
she's
dangerous
gonna,
and she has
you know,
not
smooth things
slept.
over
But
out
I
the
have
bigger
slept.
plays, and
मैं
then
रात को
Ben
सोई
Knight
हूँ.
thinks about something that,
I
maybe
slept
this
for
is,
4
you know, a smaller
hours.
play
4
that we can
hours.
do that can add things up. I feel like that at least
अभी
gives
मैं रात को
Global
सोऊंगी
Esports
सीधा.
that edge, because even though again they've only been here
That's
for
24 hours में 15 hours
so
stream,
many ways
seriously?
of trying to figure things
Oh
out.
my god,
So,
that is
lots
too
of problem
much.
solving for a team that's this new.
I have to discuss this. It's gonna be kind of hard to guess at this point,
तो
but we
दिन में
get
सोते हो
some
ना?
glimpse of this. What kind of maps are we expecting to see? We got to see most of the map pool yesterday.
कोई दिन में नहीं सोती हूँ मैं.
But today,
दिन हो रहा है. दिख रही हूँ ना सामने बैठी हुई.
Zeta coming into this one, my brain says is because that was kind of their go-to, their linchpin map.
मैं भी
that was
coffee
all
पी रहा हूँ.
last season.
Same
Even though
thing.
damn near every time they were playing it, it was very close. Kind of like DRX in that
Guys, एक और ईद का चांद आया है.
reliably, rely on the map and pick it. But then
अरे
they would
अच्छे से
have a
देख
really
लो.
battle to be able to get a win. I hope
वापस
that
देखने
Carlisle
नहीं
coming in,
मिलेगा.
he's trying to shift them away from these maps that they've been continuously playing. So I'm hoping to see something.
दीदी
new here.
गुस्सा हो गई. मैं ऐसे ही बात करती हूँ यार. This is how I am. मैं गुस्सा नहीं हूँ.
I'm thinking maybe a bit of
This is just
sunset as
me.
well. Here both of these teams are
दोपहर में सोऊंगी. मैं नहीं सोऊंगी. मैं रात को सोऊंगी. मैंने बोला ना, मुझे वीसीटी के चक्कर में अपना शेड्यूल खराब नहीं करना है. लाइक मैं उठ के मैचेस देख लूंगी 5 बजे, मतलब जो 4 बजे मैच आएंगे मैं सारे उठ के देख लूंगी. बट लाइक मैं ऐसा नहीं देखूंगी कि मैं वो देख के फिर सुबह सोने जाऊँ. मुझे बस वो नहीं करना, इसलिए मैं जल्दी सोऊंगी 9-10 बजे. बट लाइक आई विल वेक अप एंड वॉच द मैचेस. मैं ऐसा शेड्यूल रखूंगी. इट्स वे बेटर भाई, पूरी रात मतलब सुबह तक जगे रहने से बेटर कि तुम सो के जल्दी उठ जाओ. मुझे वैसे भी जल्दी उठने में मुझे कभी दिक्कत नहीं होती है. उल्टा लेट उठती हूँ ना तब दिक्कत होती है उठने में. लेट उठती हूँ ना तो उठा ही नहीं जाता है. आलस आता है लेट उठने से. चार की नींद कैसे आती है शीरो? यार इट्स जस्ट माई लव फॉर वैलोरेंट यार. ऊपर से खबर आई है आज भी टेक पॉज भाई एंट्री हो रही है भाई. कल आना, काल टेक पॉज काल.
It's Global Esports. कौन है जो करे मेरा सामना, कर आंखें बंद कर ले तू प्रार्थना. Underdog energy in the house, she fighting, no hiding, believing we valorant. We bring the fight to the tyrants. Born in chaos, need no silence. Not here for the glory, no room for jealousy. We here to build a legacy. भाइयों के साथ है खड़े हम, अपने हालातों से लड़े हम, पहुंचे इस मुकाम पे.
ये कौन सा गाना बज रहा था गाइस? ये सेम लव पहले पबजी के लिए था। हाँ देखो 2020 तक था। 2020 जुलाई नहीं जून 2020 जून तक था। हाय टाइसन। बैंकाई एक ही है क्या? ऑब्वियसली यार। अजी सुनती हो? नहीं सुनती हूँ, ऐसे निकाल देती।
Global Esports, will you please ban the map?
All right, it's time
Global
for
Esports loaded.
map
ZETA, will you
picks.
ban the map?
Let's see what these two
ZETA
teams
ban
have
free.
got.
Global Esports, you may pick the first map.
The Global is going to be taking away Lotus. I think this makes a lot of sense in the current meta. This has been one of the best maps that we've seen for Chamber and one of the ones that's been talked about the most.
Prediction?
And, you know, when you're going up against Laz, that's
We
not
don't do
one
that
that you
here.
want to find yourself on. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
जी ने
Breeze with
लोटस
some of the
मैप
changes,
किया है,
seems like
जेटा ने
they're going
ब्रीज
straight
मैप
towards that,
किया है।
but we get
जी
Bind
ने
and
बाइंड पिक किया। कल
Icebox
कौन कह रहा था बाइंड पिक नहीं होता है? लो भाई खुश हो जाओ।
with the Sentinel lineups
जेटा
or
ने
Sentinel setups
आइसबॉक्स
that,
पिक किया है।
Laz has.
जेटा पिक्स डिफेंस,
As
जी
to why
पिक्स
we're looking
अटैक।
at Icebox here, Bind,
मुझे लग रहा है सनसेट होगा, पता था
not entirely
सनसेट
sure.
ही
This is
होना
the
था।
interesting one though that I'm looking at here. The split ban on Zeta Division. This was the map that last year they had a lot of success on.
सनसेट पे अटैक इज अ गुड स्टार्ट ऑन सनसेट
That's
एक्चुअली।
on. I'm very flabbergasted by that.
I think that for the
Believer
Bind pick,
का
I actually
music,
really
Believer
like this for Global because Zeta has
Believer
always had a really rough time on this
on-
map. They either barely scrape by with a win
कौन
in
है
overtime on
Believer?
Bind, or they get absolutely rolled
Who
on
is
that map.
Believer?
If you take a look at the
कब
last
से
few
नहीं
times they
सोए हो?
played it, yes, 2 of
मैं
them went
2
off-season
बजे
tournaments,
उठी
but they
थी,
got
2
13
AM
by
रात को।
Navi, 13-2'd by
हमारा
Cloud9.
सनसेट स्ट्रॉन्ग है, मेरा
Of
भी।
course, there was the super close matchup versus NRG back at Champions with a 15-13 loss for them.
ये
But
क्या
the
स्पैम
last
है?
win they
नाइटबॉट
got was
बदतमीज
2-1, and
ठीक
like I
है।
mentioned, it was again in overtime. It was 14-12.
Mods Nightbot को timer दो।
regular season on this map.
काम
So
करो
this
अपना।
is not one that we've seen too much from Zeta all time. They're like a 50% win rate on this map. So I really like kind of tackling that weakness here from the side of Global Esports. But you have to expect it with Karlov coming in as well. He's going to notice that weakness and is going to want to reinforce it and try to make them better on this map.
नाइटबॉट को ओटी दो, ज्यादा वैल्यू देख लिया शिवा। नाइटबॉट को भी ओटी देना है तुम्हें।
Spirits of Zeta, the team, their energy is completely different coming into
Faye?
this year.
Yeah,
While I
I'm
was
having
joking,
coffee.
Laz looks happy
Do you
for
want
the first
coffee?
time in Pacific. But it's
This
true.
is rage coffee.
He's smiling more. There's a different kind of
We will
energy
ignore
about
this.
them, and they're looking.
We will
to be
ignore
more
this,
aggressive.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Again,
ये
all eyes are
कॉफी
set
पी के
on
मैं
Zeta
वैल्यू
because
में
they
बहुत
have
रेज
all of their
करती हूँ।
predictions actually set for them. I really am honestly just wanting to see how Heron plays on that initiator as well, especially that Bind is going to be that first map. What is the big
Zero.
adjustment that he has to kind of set upon himself when he's setting things up for Laz and the rest of Zeta Division?
I think one of my biggest questions as we get ready to go into this map is,
Oh, my.
well, of course, Laz,
So
are you going to
yummy.
be playing Chamber on this map? It's something we have seen run. I mean, even back at Champions, we had the likes of Busio that was playing it on this map. But is the Sky still going to remain super prevalent when it comes down to Bind? She was obviously a mainstay on most maps, was the most played agent that we had last year. But we have seen some teams starting to stray away from it after the recent nerfs. We still had a decent amount of Sky yesterday. Again, Yay playing it for the first time even.
Who
But
is winning this
is that
game?
meta going to change
यार
significantly?
आई थिंक
First
यहाँ
time we've
पर
seen
जो
Bind, so
टीम
curious
है
if there's
और
gonna
वहाँ
be
पर
big
जो टीम है
overarching
इनमें से
comp
दो
changes that
किसी
we
का जीतने का
That's
चांस
right.
है।
This is the first time we're seeing
That's what
Bind
I think.
at all since the beginning.
Rage
of
coffee
this
is not
kickoff.
that much
I know
strong.
Euro picks have
Siddhant,
been
I drink rage
floating
coffee
about
for the
throughout
flavor
across all the
and then
regions,
I add a
um,
little bit of brew
and
in it
being,
to
a
make it
region of the year.
strong.
Yeah. What is
That's
gonna be,
how I
think,
have
something
my
to also
coffee.
maybe be something you just want out.
Rage
watch out for
coffee,
here is
इतनी
both
and
teams
उसमें
still
brew.
have the possibility to go
gold.
for double duelists, at least in the comps, because you still have Euron, you still have Depth on global side, you have Lightning Fast and Colby that actually don't really steal certain duelists away from each other so they can complement that, and we have seen in the
Excuse
past
me?
Bind be a map that just
Excuse me?
sometimes if
G
you are having
fighting.
struggles with finding any kind of value even on attacking on defending, double
ZETA.
duelist seems like the way to go, and both teams can choose to go for that kind of route.
I mean, yeah, you could very well run the jet race for either of these teams, maybe even throw a curveball out there, bring out the Reyna, you know, a little flavor from the side of Paper X. So I think that both teams are very well capable of that. It's more just about what surrounds it. You know, what kind of style do you use
I
to
think
try and
PLT
support
जीत
that double
जाएगी.
duelist if you do opt to run it? Is it
Yeah,
going to be something
Rahul.
like
I
Viper
think
Harbor, have
same.
that double controller really just set up these
VLT team
multiple
बना ले,
walls
फिर
and
वो
just take
खेल
the
ले,
map a fraction at a
perform
time,
कर
push your
ले,
way
जीत
forward into the
जाएगी.
site and pick people off.
Rage
with
बहुत
this
strong
situation,
लगती है. Rage is not
or are you
strong.
gonna have a
I
more
like it for the
straightforward
flavor.
approach? Is it going to be that Sky?
I
Is it gonna be,
like two
you know,
flavors,
Viper
creme
get in that
caramel
mix,
and
but with a double initiator
butterscotch.
instead alongside it. So I'm really curious to see what this agent select is going to look like, because again, so much time has transpired since we got to see both of these
Arre
teams in their
Mohit,
off-season
all the
performance,
best for
and
your
now they
test,
have
yeah.
the full roster up on stage. So I think that this is going to be a
That
very different
ESL में
flavor.
सोल
The
जीतेगी.
power
मैं
levels
अपना
for
मुंह
both of
बंद
them, I think
रखूंगी,
it's
please.
really hard to judge
मुझसे कुछ मत
where
बुलवाओ.
they're going to be at.
Yeah, in fact, this entire Group A, again, these two teams are part of the Group A. I think this was a team where a lot of us are really uncertain about because there's so many changes for the
ये
better.
G के आगे
like
हर्ट्स
we said. So
और
it's really
ZETA
hard
के
to
आगे
say.
क्यों
What are
नहीं?
the implications
क्योंकि
of
G
the winners and
fighting.
losers of today's ZETA Global Esports match? They'll be facing off T1 or Bleed.
Yes, I actually had to double check my notes for that one. So looking quickly into this, yes, so whoever wins this will actually be facing up against
Oh,
T1,
here we go.
and he loses this will go up onto
You guys
Bleed.
zero.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Oh
we've got
my,
solo duelists on
Golden
both sides. Paulby's going to be going for
Viper.
that race, so it's not going to be lightning fast filling into that role. He's actually going up to the Viper. We have double Cypher here. The Sky still does stay for Zeta Division, so Hiron's going to be bringing out that more... this is a much more classic composition overall here for Zeta Division. But Global Esports kind of leading into something new.
I
because
had
at the
mirchi
get-go,
wale
a bit of a
parathe
mainstay,
with
when
achar
it comes
and
down to
dahi.
it on this map, but that KO certainly is not.
It is something जो मैं तभी खाती हूँ जब मुझे मम्मा पापा या भैया अपने हाथ से खिलाते हैं. तो मम्मा ने खिलाए, पापा ने पराठे बनाए.
The person that plants the spike always gets traded instantaneously, whether you're successful in planting that spike or not. So at least having the wingman, when you don't have, like, let's say a sage wall to keep you really safe, Viper wall doesn't do the same. It makes a lot of sense to have this.
Oh, हाँ, मैंने notice.
Reuse your abilities
What?
as you pick up, you know, either the wingman, the dizzy, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think they could go really
How
strong here. I'm just
Viper
curious,
भी
you know, how is
solo
Russ going to be piloting the KO? 'Cause it's just
controller
so
on
uncommon to
Vine.
see, but it seems like they want
ये
to try
लोग
to
ने
stray away from that
गलती
Sky
से
as
ले
much
लिया
as
क्या?
possible, given the nerfs perhaps. But you know, having an additional nade, having that 0 point to be able to come through, the null command as well to deny the utility coming through when Zeta Division tries to come in for a retake could be really strong.
Nah, not possible.
Only time will tell. We are ready for
मुझे
the
लग रहा है
first
गलत
game
pick हुआ
of
है.
today. We're going to see who is fighting harder once more. We're going to go into Bind.
सिर्फ
Let's go
Viper
over to
work
our
नहीं कर
casters,
सकता है
William and
Bind पे.
Quack.
Thank you very much, Chubby Ninja, Asterai, and Achilles.
We're here.
Yes, it's day 2.
It is day 2. We have to remind ourselves. Not necessarily on the calendar, but it is day 2.
Okay, I mean, we are starting things out with that first match.
Yeah,
and we were talking so
the
much
thing
about
is
it. You know,
कि,
some rookies coming in, but of course,
Gekko
the
के
agent
flashes बहुत
composition
strong
and
है
the
ना.
map
Flash
as
अच्छा है
well. We've
उसका.
got the double
जब से
initiator
buff
and the
हुआ
double
है.
controller.
Yeah,
उसका
that's some
मॉली भी
distinct
अच्छा है और
differences. And
विंगमैन
then, of
प्लांट
course, the
में बहुत हेल्प
mentioned
कर देता
Sky.
है.
I mean,
प्लांट
I
बहुत
have my
इजी
doubts,
बना
to be
दिया
very fair.
और
The
फिर
Sky
हर राउंड
changes, I
प्लांट
think, hit
करते रहो,
Vine
ऑफ
so
फार्मिंग
hard
भी हो
because
जाती है,
she is so
अल्ट भी
impressive.
अच्छा है.
On that defensive side,
Bro,
over on B
literally
long,
they are
what
playing
is
with-
your answer to keep control of that space and get that
कैसे खेल
information
सकते
on
हैं
the
लोग
pistol?
सिर्फ वाइपर
Quack,
के
it
साथ?
looks like it's going to be a stat push out from Zeta to take control of that part of the map.
Already, and that's just such a new flavor for Zeta Division
Oh,
as well,
yeah.
going aggressive. Oh, this is great.
I mean, they tried it a couple times in the offseason. The execution not always clean, but hey, we'll take what we can get to end the rounds earlier than the last 10 seconds of each time. So it's a new look.
Definitely one that's welcome. I think Global Esports, on the other hand, though, maybe just going to take things slow for the time being. They are starting things out. This is a bit of a debut as well. Now, Bankai coming in. They are starting things off. Pushing deep into A, using Poison Cloud just to
Bhai.
obscure vision. The Gecko getting the plant in.
Yeah, the wingman, of course,
Bhai,
makes
ये
things
लोग
a
तो
lot
बिना
easier on
wall
the
के ही
pistol
घुस
as
गए
well.
हैं।
That low profile going to be
और?
pretty useful around that truck. The big
फिर
question
orb
is
smoke
no
से
opposition.
कैसे
Global
घुस गए
Esports
ये
should
लोग?
have an inkling that either they need to push out or be very wary of the flank.
Oh, I feel like Lightning Fast is aware of this. They definitely heard the dog now. Russ just checking out the back, but now they're starting to feel surrounded. Exactly. Depp staying hidden. In case someone pushes into him, he might be able to catch off a couple of hits. Depp does find one onto Lightning Fast. That's a good start now.
Laz
got the info, but not quite the tags. Russ holding up by Dice, getting a double kill now. You are sticking the defuse though, thanks to the Sky Smoke. 8 seconds left, and ZETA picks up the round.
I mean, I was about to comment, all right, Russ wanted to talk about firepower. He wanted to say that we can all aim and shoot. Sure, you proved that in the pistol round, but guess what? You still do have to play around the spike. I know some people like to rant about shooting guns in Valor, but there's also an objective.
Oh, we all got kind of distracted in that moment. It was so odd, but it is what it is. And I mean, ZETA is going to pull off such hijinks just like that. I think it's a very good new look to them.
Yeah, definitely. For any of you who have been waiting for ZETA to have this evolution, at the very least, they are committing to this color change. And with the rookies, too. Let's talk about that. They touched upon it on the desk, but two members who started as academy players under the ZETA now both getting the shot onto tier 1 and a great triple from Uran.
He did
does
what I
to Russ,
cannot
but
do.
still, damage felt and done. And the force from Global Esports just kind of falls apart.
Guys,
What
but
is this?
just saying मुझे
It's
अच्छी
so
feeling नहीं आ रही है ये लोग का comp
Atarashi,
देख
ZETA
के।
division, and they are still ringing true.
Viper
Benkai and Lightning
solo
Fast, though,
controller on
picks up the
bind.
spike. Now
मुझे
looking
बहुत
for a
डर
new
लग रहा
option.
है।
I mean, what do you do here? Like you mentioned, Quack, they forced, so they have to make something happen in this round. Saving on a force with a Stinger and a Spectre, not something you ever want to have to choose to do, but it's also like it's a 2v4 with the Cypher and Viper on attack. You gotta hope the stars align. You are stuck between a
यार lightning और
place, and it's only the second
मतलब
round
गोलू
of
on
your
Viper
very
की
first
बात
match
है ही
in
नहीं। The thing is कि
Rocking a hard
just
place.
Viper controller on
What are
bind.
some other hard places? I can't really think of anything.
Well, I mean, this entire map is just walls everywhere, and it's not looking like any of them are about to budge. Don't find the bait out.
Just gotta walk through. I mean, 30 seconds left.
what
Benkai
the
goes
fuck?
for the swing, and that's a great new look
क्या
as well.
swing
But
किया
okay, the first step is there, a weapon upgrade, and they have control of
They
showers
drop
as
the
well.
cam. 3 players to retake. This
Molly
is not
भी है।
impossible, especially
दो
if
दो
Benkai
Molly
has
है।
Bulldog. They are thinking that he's probably up around showers, but
और
he's
उसको
actually
उठा
wrapping
के
back
एकदम
around to
spike पे डाल
rendezvous
देना था।
with Lightning Fast.
Yeah, and you have the double snake bite as well. The post plants are available too. I mean,
Post
Global
plant पे
Esports,
चला
they
गया।
don't have
But
as much
orb
time as they
डालता
think
ना
they do.
chances
Yeah, I
ज़्यादा
like how
रहते
they're
हैं।
clearing their bases though, using the incendiary and everything.
और
now
उठा के
finally
spike
getting
पे डालना
information,
था
and then
अगर
the
lineup पे
tactical
जाना है तो।
still good enough. They will be able to pick up the round, but
Okay.
almost dicey.
Yeah, I mean, I
Ayash.
love the fact that they're still counting the options for that post plant, right? They were already pushing out, already wanting to make sure because they have the numbers advantage, we want to get contact. and
Meow,
then we can
because
have someone
it's
stick onto it once
VCT
all the lineups
time.
come through. But Uran, I mean, a great hold here on window, and we were
Lineup
mentioning
guys,
Uran,
lineup
Uran,
I know,
these guys.
but the
Uran's the one
thing
with
is
actually
कि
much
orb
less
उठा
experience
के
coming straight
spike
up
पे
from the
डालेंगे और
academy
फिर
roster, not
lineup
even having a
डालेंगे
chance
तो
to go through
confirm
tier 2
round
challenge
आएगा।
Japan. And this is a start you want to build up that confidence for some of these younger
Okay,
players.
welcome to God
Definitely. I mean,
fam.
experience is one thing, but confidence is such a big factor. And you can tell that he's starting to feel a little bit of it. The timing on that snake fight was perfect, and then just spraying things down as well. Uran, though, for the time being, that stack that you mentioned from before, still up and prevalent towards the B site. Definitely have a little bit of information, but now just playing it safe, backing off.
Yeah, I mean, you know with the force, the opponents aren't going to be on an eco here, so just don't greed, right? I mean, this
Don't
is
lose your rifles.
Yeah, anti-eco, textbook through and through. No need to push out, especially on a map like Bind. I mean, sure, with the sky changes, we talk about the timings, but you don't even need to worry about timings. You should be able to hold. You have the Cypher setups on a short. You're holding on to showers. You have backup from Sugar Zero. I mean, this is just up to G on when they make their move.
Dude, they're playing with the timings as well. Sky Smoke well timed by Sugar Zero, now popping over with the incendiary.
Can't plan.
Just blocks off the plant. Last is having a field day with these shots. Depp coming through from heaven as well. There's the second one. Last is going to be Russ, and he's pretty much pinned down up by lamps.
I mean, so many people around the world used to dream of days like these with ZETA. Quick decisions, fast rotates, the backup from
Yeah,
depth.
Thor, I'm
The
doing
training
a
was
watch
being
party,
held.
so
The
like, am I
decision-making
supposed to
so
just
far, I know it's
silently
very
watch
early,
the
just a
game
couple rounds into
without
the first map.
I
without
like what we're seeing.
But we like
sharing what
we're
I
seeing 'cause
think?
it was so rare to see this.
That's not
from the
how
old
watch parties
ZETA, and
happen,
it's great
bro.
to see that even with the core, they're willing to adapt.
I have a
and
bad feeling
utilize
about these
the new
agents by
forces
Z.
that they've
Same, bro,
upgraded with.
same.
Heck yeah. I
Same.
feel like they're not showing off too much in their books just yet. I mean, they're randomizing some of these positions as well. This time, Laz back in towards Hookah.
Yeah, and here's the big thing, though, right? I mean, Global Esports, because of that force, we got to remember, after the pistol, yeah, the score should be a 3-0. This is where GE starts to show what they've prepped, why they picked up this bind with the Gecko as well.
If they don't, though, that's going to be hell to pay. I think that's
जी की
why
साइड
they
रहूंगा
switch
चाहे
up
हारेगा
positioning
जीतो तो of
from
course,
ZETA.
bro.
They recognize that full buy coming through. Duran trying to play defensive, but without the information, just gets swung on pawn by Russ.
भाई मुझे तो यही भी सरप्राइजिंग लग रहा है कि सिर्फ वाइपर होते हुए how are they getting the plant?
Global Esports should keep in mind that
वो
this
लोग
is in
area fight ही नहीं
essence
कर
the
रहे।
bonus for ZETA, right? So GE
वो
should
लोग
be losing
retake
too
खेल
many
रहे हैं
weapons.
ZETA
I would say
वाले।
one at best if you want to make sure that you can kind of catch back up in the long haul, trying to keep hold
अगर
of
वो
few
लोग
halls
shower
while
control
holding,
रख
but
के
he is
खेलेंगे
alone.
उनको तो
Everyone
plant
waiting
भी ना
for the
मिले।
post plants here.
Wow.
Nice.
Though, I mean, you're absolutely right. They don't want to
young
lose the
Phoenix
weapons.
God.
They want to take them away from ZETA. Pushing into the sky smoke. Polvi, the finished gun, and shooting all over the place.
And he's rotated. This is
Nice
so hard to
route.
read from Laz. I mean, Lightning Fast is going to get it at the end, but there was no way Laz was ready for that wraparound from Polvi. Oh, you love to see it. I mean,
Omen
Polvi is
instead
one
of
of those
KICKOFF
members that I
चाहिए था।
think
नहीं,
fans
but then
from
KO is
EMEA
not a
who
good
have been
initiator,
following
solo
closely to the
initiator.
challenger scenes have kept their eye on this guy. But such an unknown factor, especially in
Hi,
Pacific. I mean,
Rajesh.
not many people would have been keeping their eyes on there.
Rack
As
में
there's such a
Senversus
wide
loud
pool.
unexpected outcome हो
But
गया।
he's proving this is why my teammates, my
Unexpected? Are you
coaches
sure?
hype me up. I'm able to lock this down, buy enough time, and then the post plant's still there, so the
Is
round
the
is all
Sherlock
within
watching
Precisely,
DE?
that's kind of what Coach Spin was talking about during the interview. This is the guy that we want to keep our eyes on, and he shows exactly why. The decision to push into that sky smoke, I think they knew that it was ZETA going in for a slower retake, so they knew how to exploit that. Next round, though, ZETA gets the buy back up in full. Laz has the Neuro Theft available. Huron and Deb actually really close to their ultimates as well.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my eye on Huron's movement as well. The whole jump peek over on B long, yeah, that's pretty standard. But the thing is you used to be able to play it a lot more lax because the timings on your guiding lights, you could really just work it off of that 20-second timer here and there. And now,
यार
you
stage
can see
meta
Huron's like, I don't
नहीं
wanna
है
use these
stage
too early
meta
'cause
बहुत
they ain't
पहले
coming
चला गया।
back. Gotta
no
be ready for that,
refresh.
potential retake.
He's going to use the dog instead. Trailblazer.
कोई ना
clears
यार
out,
let's
doesn't
see
see
भाई ये लोग
anything.
वाइपर के साथ कैसे
At least he
खेलते
might
हैं
have
भाई।
heard, that's why he falls back.
Interesting.
But the thing is he basically baits out that important utility with the Dizzy, which he gets back in 10 seconds. I mean, Blaze
Imagine
is utilizing
सिर्फ वाइपर सोलो कंट्रोलर होते हुए
so
भाई ये
well.
लोग
Might be
जीत
the
गए।
difference, though. But still, you got to keep in mind there are 3 players stacked up from ZETA Division on the A site, and Laz will be able to claim that first head. Deb with the positioning, tries to sneak through,
अरे
but
भाई
Bird's
डेब भाई
alive.
क्या
Blaze
कर रहे हो
shoots him
भाई?
down. Last plays are around the Cybercase instead, but here comes Thrasher. Has to shoot it, has to reload, tries to run away, still alive. Polvi going in for the chase. Benkai wreaks a bit of havoc from Lamps instead, and still
What the fuck
here
में हो
comes
क्या रहा है?
Polvi.
Just no fear. It doesn't matter if it's a smoke or a molly. He'll just run right through it and frag you out.
राउंड
With
है
that,
राउंड है
Huron's the
राउंड है।
only one left for this retake. Ben
Wild sword.
got the angle, just wall bangs through dice.
Oh boy, I think a lot of us are going to have to get ready to eat our words as Global Esports. They are firing as soon as they pick up those rifles.
I am loving this. I mean, yes, we had ZETA Division and we are hyping them up, but
G
at the same
fighting.
time, I mean, it's just so much going on for Global Esports. I think we had quite a bit of doubt. A lot of the GE fans are still supporting them.
Benkai
It's
पे
just
गोलू
really
का
lovely
क्या
to
मारा
see.
था?
We're very familiar with Benkai the
कोई भी
Entertainer.
क्या मस्त खेल रहा है
Boomer,
क्रिस?
but here comes Benkai the Fragger as well.
And he used to have those moments when he fragged, also specifically on the Cypher. So it's great to see a return to form. Obviously, some known factors like Blaze King and Polvi up to a certain extent. But it's good to see Russ and even Benkai shooting on all cylinders as Uran says, you know, I'm one of those new recruits as well that's picked up for talent.
I think this is one of these rounds.
फिर
where
कैसा
Global,
लग रहा है एक सौ का मैच
wants
भाई
to
ठीक है
be a little
भाई
bit careful. Can't underestimate ZETA
कर
Division.
लूं।
Yes, they aren't eco. Yes, it's sheriffs, but going in for the one-on-one like
If
that,
G
you're
wins
still
this, I'm
winning with
literally gonna
shots.
say that G is the best team in the
Russell, on the
world.
other hand, just going to bolts right into A site, gets the opening pick.
I mean, listen, I don't want to run out of all of the storylines too early, but a fragging IGL, that's a rare breed right there from Russ. So looking good so far for Global Esports.
मावी पाजी इधर भी आपको आना चाहिए था आईजीएल करने के लिए
Last though.
यार अनिर्बन यार 13-0 नहीं करना है सामने वाले को समझो
Gonna have to win this fight. Oh, that's a rough one.
Alright, and that Showers being lost over to Global Esports.
Benkai plays so crafty. He's got a couple kills in a row now through some of those walls. He just keeps tabs of the pre-fire.
Yeah, I mean, now that he's not
Arre,
IGLing,
arre, arre.
you know, he's got a lot more time to think.
Nice.
And here comes
भाई
Risky
पहले
as well, going in for some
Guys,
of
post plan देख रहे हो?
frags. And that's gonna be 3-3 to
पहले KO मॉली गया देन गेको मॉली गया उसके बाद दो वाइपर मॉली भाई साहब
Just got done with that eco round. You're looking to buy up again, but the streak is now on
Crazy
GP
post plan.
side. And quite frankly, Zeta's streak from 1 to 3, it's off of the pistol, right? And it even helps that there was a force buy from Global Esports. So I think you really want to kind of reset and say, okay, what is it that we noted once they bought up the rifles? How are they playing? Where are we making these mistakes? And it's kind of hard to tell because a lot of the quote-unquote mistakes they're making are
मुझे आज तक नहीं समझ में आया ये सारे
but they
pro
don't know the
players
exact result of it because they can't see
आई
the
तो
other
बड़ी
side of
लगा
the
के क्यों
a little
खेलते
bit
हैं
hard to pinpoint that right now, I think.
KO
though,
मॉली
because,
मिस थी
you know,
हाँ
it's
बट
also the
स्टिल
eco
वो
round
लोग ने
and
नहीं किया
everything. So they want to
क्योंकि
get a little more information
बहुत
before going
लोग
in
थे
for
ना
that. Flash
सामने
now coming in. Global Esports with the
अरे
execute.
ओए
Finally
भाई मुझे
sees
लगा
the
चेक
corner
नहीं
and
किया
then commits the showstopper, but Laz goes in for the trade. Cybercage keeps him alive for another second.
Laz needs to win
caught
out.
in a duel against him and Benkai too. He
भाई
is
लोग को
doing
तो
a pretty
आराम
good
से
job
प्लांट
at keeping
मिल रहा
himself
है
alive though.
Needs to push
Tries
out.
to go around the trip, but shot down by Benkai in the back instead. Dep is still here though, up above
इस पे
heaven.
दोनों
He's
तरफ
got
से
the
आए
operator and he's firing some shots. Uran getting one from the back face short as well. Now it's trying to spot up Blaze King. The spike, however, has gone down.
But Blaze King's buying time for Russ. Russ is so low, but if he can get the double from behind,
भाई
that'd be
रश का
huge.
अच्छा फ्लैंक
Oh,
है
the pick
नाइस
comes up.
There's the first.
Molly, Molly,
Viper's
Molly,
pick from
Molly.
Uran though. I don't know how effective that's going to be
Arre.
given Dep's position, but Uran shows that he can hold his own. Russ at 2 HP gets
Arre,
spot
NT.
on by Dep and blows up.
ब्लेज किंग का
as
पिक
Zeta
नहीं
picks
मिलता
up
ना
the
इन लोग को
fourth.
तो राउंड
Credit where credit is due. He still did get depth before that rocket actually
Molly
gets fired
mere,
off
Molly
in
mere.
completion. So just a trade there. But of course, the numbers on the side of Zeta Division. One thing I'm noticing is that Laz, we saw this in the pistol as well. If he doesn't get the kill right away when he's starting to get corralled around, he says, I'm just buying time until backup arrives. Dep got that kill as they were trying to all rush into showers to take out Laz. And that keeps the numbers advantage for Zeta Division. Really good comms and awareness of what my mission is as that lurk who's kind of now caught out in an island.
Especially on the defensive side. I mean, that's the new Zeta Division system that we're seeing. But at the same time, I love that Russ had that sense to kind of wrap up round from behind.
चार दिन से नहीं
Uran,
रहता
though, is,
अभी
I
तक
think,
यही हूँ हम तो यही रहते
someone
हैं
who's really impressing me right now. I
24/7.
don't know if it was a Viper spit and then he kind of knew that it would bait the push in and he would just be in time to gun down his opponent, but that was amazing.
There's a chance here. Lightning
Hold on
fast.
now.
ओ देख लिया ओ
Dep. It's always risky for that second
Yeah.
jump peek. I mean, you almost have to take it,
भाई
but
बट
Dep doesn't
क्या
miss those.
शॉट मारा
Not something that Global
Jump
Esports
peek में भाई
anticipated whatsoever.
जंप पिक
Now
को
we know
मार
that there's
दिया
up still ringing around. Dep with the second kill. They were trying to pinch him down, but it's not quite gonna happen. A flash from Hiroran to set him up, and he goes in for even more. Hops up,
Bro,
picks up
nice
the quad.
work.
Sugar Zero with orbital strike. It's a flawless win for Zeta Division.
Dep was
Regular
putting
streamer
up
of
crazy
the
numbers last year in
award
Pacific
goes to
too, right?
Shiro.
In terms of individual
Lie.
stats, in terms of operator
Award
kills,
lie.
things like total kills. He was top.
मुझे अब ये देखना है ये आपको कैसे काउंटर करेंगे they don't have proper
to see him
smokes
not miss a single beat as he picks
initiator
up
भी
the
KO
scope.
and Gecko है
like a
flashes कर
Nice
सकते हैं but
reunion.
Flash to
Yeah, for
dodge
sure for
जाएगा।
Dep. I mean, he's been waiting for this in the offseason, didn't play in every
Unlucky
event
हो गया
either,
नहीं
took a
यार
break.
अच्छा
But
मारा
what I
उसने
wanted to
unlucky
mention
तो
as we
नहीं
were
था
going into this round is I honestly think Global
Ay,
Esports
Nishant.
is playing to their composition strength a
Time
bit
out.
more. I think they're utilizing that a bit more, pressuring Zeta in terms of comp.
most regular streamer in last 24 hours
These moments from Laz, these moments from Uran actually as well, and then
Excuse
now here with the
me.
operator, that starts to make the defense a lot easier for Zeta. So I don't mind this timeout at all. I actually like it from Global Esports. If you can even make this
Jada
up to like a
Vaktu.
5-7 and things like that, I think they should look somewhat okay because it's gonna be tough to just break through explosively without.
By the way, guys,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
तुम लोग को पता है
They only have that one Viper on Lightning
next
Fast.
match
I mean,
Sen
not to discredit
versus
Lightning Fast
100
whatsoever,
Thieves
but it's
है
the composition.
Well, it's one of those
And
things
Cloud
where it's like you
versus
set up the screen to
Leviathan
try
है,
to dig
सोचो।
into U-Haul, then it's like,
Icebox
when layups,
versus
well,
his
then now you have to
ex-team।
rely on the Poison Cloud, which means you have to get kills, you have to push out
मजे
with the
आने
utility,
वाले
which
हैं।
there's a lot of. I mean, we've seen these combos yesterday as well with things like the Flash Drive and the Dizzy, you've got the Paint Shells. There's a lot
राहुल
you
बात
can
तो
do,
सही है।
but it does rely on
शुभांशु को बैन करो, राहुल को भी बैन करो।
That's the main thing. Sometimes Russ opens it up though, but we need to see a little bit more of that as well. Meanwhile, for ZETA Division, I mean, you were talking about the pressure that Global Esports was trying to create, and ZETA just shows that they can definitely toy around with that as well. Now that Depp is on that op. Third round that he's holding on to this thing, and he's looking to make it work again. Now up on top of truck, doesn't see anything.
Team
Bit of
flash
info from
भाई।
Huron, but not quite the frag. Polvi punishes, and this could weaken
Teammate
up the
flash
site.
हो गया और वो
Okay,
pick
nonetheless,
off।
Flash
Oh,
comes off
nice।
though. Swings, gets a double, then backs off. Lightning Fast sees the opening, tries to push through. Blaze King as well. Here comes the toxic screen, and with the positioning, Blaze King is up behind sight.
I like that Blaze King is moving all
मैं
the way around,
कौन
and he's
बैन
well
देगा?
aware that there's a
मैं-
potential backup coming in from
मैं-
defender spawn,
मैं
but it's a matter of
दूंगा।
timing. Blaze King, he's trying to pick his battles. His teammates will be planting on A. If he can just buy time and get information
alive.
of when that rotate goes over exactly, that would be more than enough.
He's got so much.
फिर उन्हें ब्रेक लिया था, मैंने ब्रेक नहीं लिया था, मैं
Swing
मार
almost
दूँ।
for Depp to suspect.
There is
Let's
a
go.
difference.
No,
Ooh.
God, Depp!
What a
What
shot,
a
man।
punish.
Here comes Blaze though, takes out Euron. And of course,
यार
with that,
डेप
Viper's
इतना
been deployed
अच्छा
as
ऑफर
well.
है,
Spike
मुझे
still
पता नहीं
ticking
था।
away. Depp
But
has
अभी
a
retake
chance, but it's not going to
1v2।
be easy with nothing but an op.
I mean, yeah, you have creds. Yeah, the showstopper's coming in
Viper
slow,
ult
but
में तो
this
मुश्किल है।
is just Mount Everest.
Why?
Oh my God, look
Look
at
Lightning Fast though. Yeah, that's the thing. He's
Why is he
clearing out
not
the front
saving?
side. Lightning Fast has gone up
भाई
behind.
क्या ऑफ
Depp
कर
still
रहा
lands
है?
a shot. This is not over yet.
No, but that I think this is where he backs off because
Yeah, now he's gonna
yeah, it's
save.
already economic damage done. Sure, they'll be able to buy back up, but you still have the lead. Yeah, I don't
Ruffalo
mind
की
it. I don't
आती
mind it.
हंसा
Trying to
कहाँ
go
है?
for at least one more kill. If it came earlier,
पता
I
नहीं।
absolutely think Depp tries for this,
I
which is
think हंसा
insane.
लंदन गई है।
But I like that he holds off right at the last
आती
second.
होगी।
Not to mention you forced that Viper spit as well.
Yes.
You know, extra investment for Global Esports just to secure the round win. Depp definitely showing us that he's picking up right where he left off, and even with new colors as well.
But GE, good timeout, right? I love that they're kind of waiting. Is there a push out? Because here's the thing, that's what we mentioned with that single initiator on the other side, and now without the refreshable cooldowns on info and flashes, it's going to have to be some sort of push out to get information. Wait for that, and I actually think GE might have been ready to eventually all push into B because they haven't been targeting that site too hard here in the first half.
Just chilling for the time being. They've sensed some early pushes from ZETA from before, so now just trying to be careful. Thrash confirms information. Euron has held Hookah before, so they're just trying to be careful. to suss out some
I don't
positions.
follow Valorant. Can you explain this
Is
tournament
them just
once?
trying to see if they can get one pick, if they can get confirmation that rotates coming out from A, then
यार
Ben Kai is on
tournament
that
का
lure.
क्या explain करूँ? Like
Okay, but oh my goodness, here comes Huron.
ये हमारे Pacific region का tournament है. सारी Pacific teams है इसमें. अलग-अलग groups में divided है. हर group से एक winner निकलेगा. इनमें वो लोग का आपस में match होगा. कितने लोग जाएंगे? 3 या 2 Masters में?
The execution of it is starting to
I
make me
think
feel that
2
maybe
teams. Top
they
2.
wanted a little bit too much of the pie, right? You wanted your lurk, but you still wanted the double initiator for these set plays to go in, for these distractions to set up Polvi to go in and
जैसे
entry
किसी
and
ने
get
मेरा
that early
Valorant
frag.
पूछा I said
But that
Immortal
means
Shiro
you're
के channel पे.
sacrificing that
Yeah,
second
specify
controller.
किया ना,
So the only way
that's
to
good.
creep up to the entry point, to that starting line for an execute, is to
LAN
check
में
at some
जाओगे?
point. One of these corners has to be checked with contact.
Are
And
you
at that point,
sponsoring
if
me?
you're not winning every single duel, it's going to be rough.
तो चली जाऊंगी.
It is.
I mean, this is free, right? Because it's just off of the refresh cooldown, so might as well use it, see if you get anything.
Doesn't quite
No.
find much though, so now just trying to hold on to his rifle.
एक
but
टीम के
Flash
कितने
is
मैचेस
just
होते हैं?
as
See,
alive
On the last second, last
एक first उनका match होता है. If they lose it, then they are up against the other team who loses. उनमें से फिर जो हारता है वो बाहर हो जाता है.
Wow, that opens up the door.
Is-
I mean, that he's
Whoever
got some strong
loses
arms
2
on that one
games,
for Sugar Zero
they're out.
because he threw it all the way through.
No
Fuel चलो.
freaking way. Oh my god.
ये तो
Global
Madrid में
Esports
होगा.
up. Blaze King
बाद
fought.
में
He was sick.
Oh man,
That's adorable.
yeah, Huron enjoying it.
समझाने का तरीका थोड़ा
And
casual
that's
है.
something that ZETA Vision, I think a
यार,
lot of people
because I'm
notice is that
sleep
the
deprived,
energy
यार.
seems to be higher. They seem to be a lot more loose.
Relaxed, yeah.
समझ नहीं आ रहा, but सुन के
GE,
अच्छा
I mean,
लगा.
if you watch some of
कोई
their
बात
comps
नहीं.
from Convergence, they had hype going. I mean, Blaze King was
Always.
that guy. So was Russ. He was really riling up the entire team to keep the momentum up. And they've proven at Convergence that they will never let go of their focus. So it's not over yet.
That's why we're keeping the score close. However, with tiny little gaps, ZETA still continues to decimate. Sugar Zero now picking off a frag. Pulvi for the trade.
मुझे ना
But
थोड़ा
at
सा
this point,
समझ
damage
नहीं
is
आ
done.
रहा है.
Spike will go down.
Why are they
Look at
always
this.
contact rushing
Huron trying to wrap back
without
around.
like
Then
initiator
with
का
the ult, though,
util
coming
flashes
in,
or
so
anything.
ZETA has to take things a
हमेशा
little bit
walk
slow.
करके contact rush कर रहे हैं. Contact
Have to
rush भी
push out
नहीं.
one way or another, just waiting for it.
Contact लेते हुए आ रहे हैं आगे.
Huron depth.
Pulvi got the info. Benkai on the
Has
flank.
to back
हमेशा
up,
इसलिए
though.
दो
Double
लोग तो
kill
ऐसे ही
come
pick
through,
off हो
and
जा
depth
रहे हैं.
still rings true. So
थोड़ा मुझे
accurate,
समझ नहीं
so
आ रहा है.
sharp. A tap to the hit for Huron, and ZETA picks up the 7th win.
Man, you imagine just how you
ये
look
वाला
at the
LAN
ideas
इंडिया
that
में
G's
जो होगा
trying
मार्च
to
में.
execute.
इंडिया
Obviously,
में
this
कौन
one is
सा
just
LAN हो
Talon
रहा है
getting the
मार्च में?
first kill and just spraying down through the cyber cage, but some of these
मैं
other
बिना
rounds,
वालों खेले
in
बोल
G's
सकता हूँ
ideas,
कि
you see
मेरा
it, you
फ्लैट
see the
रैंक
very
है.
beginning of it, and then
नहीं,
it
नहीं,
just
नहीं.
barely gets shut down, or they can't actually
नहीं.
finish the entire execute, right? Someone like
That
Lance
तो नहीं
stays
होगा.
alive, Uran stays alive, and they're not able to continue that
Zero
momentum.
छोटू A.
And it just makes
You
you
छोटू.
wonder, is it one of those cases where at the end of the day, you still have to get the kills? Ooh, the nices
It
are
is,
back.
though.
Walking.
Hey, nice on MP3.
It's a much like growlier nice, you know? Laz.
You want like a nice or
Yeah.
a nice?
Yeah.
Which
He's like grown up into the next stage, right?
Whoa. All right, Dev's still here. I mean, this is what we saw from Global. They wanted to execute, and yeah, you were thinking about, do they just have to get those kills? They do, because when they peek out sometimes, it's those tiny gaps. They leave themselves a little bit open. Just a blind showstopper commit doesn't quite kill Dev, though.
Spike planted.
Yeah, but I mean, G at this point, whether the damage was done or not, they know that
Oh,
they're
this is
waiting
like
for a
round
retake.
one.
Yeah, they know it's coming, but it's a matter of can they get the kills, because if they have to wait, if they even just buy time here for ZETA, the site's going to get taken over.
At the very least, they are very aware of what ZETA are trying to do.
Love the fake out. Buys him a little bit more space.
It
Oh.
allows for Dev to kind of sneak through, but not quite enough because he was down too
Oh.
low. Russ makes quick work. Pulvi picks up
Oh.
one. Blaze King with the third. And then with that, just A short is completely blocked off.
Bro,
Not unless they can shoot
7-5
their way out of this one. Huron surely will
With
try.
this comp, I
Picks up
think
one,
is good.
But the timer is ticking.
मुझे तो नहीं पता ये लोग 5 राउंड भी कैसे निकाले ये कॉम से.
Fragment is out. Russ puts a
But I think
roadblock
it's
right
good.
in front of them. And with the triple kill,
7-5 is
Global
good.
Esports ends this first half
Good
7-5.
Listen, it started on a 3-0, but the way they were able to
But
get the
then
rounds, they
again,
did
guys,
win. And honestly, I mean, very close, right? 5-7
Defense
on
में
any
like
map, this
Viper
could
wall
flip on
बहुत
its
कम
head
देर
on
के
any
लिए रहती
dime.
है.
So I think Global Esports should be
Let's
pretty
see how they
happy
play.
with what they're able to show off. Rocky start in a couple rounds, they get shut down instantly with
Oman
something like the spray
VCT
down through the
2024
smokes.
ये वाला.
But
No,
outside
no,
of
no.
that, once they're able to kind of get into
No
that position,
plans
the
to go.
ideas they had were good, right? Once
It's
they
good morning.
kind of fire off that first shot, once they're able to get there executed, once they are able to defend against the post plan, it's good. It was just a matter of getting there, but they don't have to worry about that for now because we're switching sides.
Absolutely. I mean, still, it's just such a great way to start off this matchup, start off the day. Watching the rookies coming through, watching the new additions to Global Esports showing what they've got as well. I mean, Blaze King, Russ, lightning fast even at times. It's just lovely. But here's the other thing.
Indian
Will.
or yes.
Now that we're swapping over onto attack for ZETA to
GE
Vision, what do you
is
think of their
Indian
composition?
or
They
what?
don't really have
It's the only
the
one
double
India
initiator.
player
Yeah, they might be able to
in the team.
toss in a lot of lineups with Brimstone and Viper.
Guys, am I
but
visible?
is that going to allow
Yeah,
them
I
to
don't
get
think you
to
are Mr. India.
Well,
You
yeah,
are
this
very
is
much
another
visible.
thing.
You
Because of
must
that
be.
sky change now, I think,
Invisible
they
होने
can't
वाला
really
कोई
get
आदमी है
super
नहीं अभी
right,
इस
right?
दुनिया
You
में.
just
That's all
have
you
to-
got.
You have to wait for the execute. So, I mean, if you want to be safe, you're going to have to invest maybe one of the sky smokes or something like that, or you're really going to have to utilize your toxic screen. I think it really comes down to, do they pressure that toxic screen enough so that G has to respect it every time? Because otherwise, this could
ये लोग आगे
will turn
जाके
into a
control ले रहे
let's
हैं.
go lurk and kill.
Yeah, well, okay, that too, and we know that he's capable of it. He
उससे
has
सिर्फ
taken up
B
that
का
couple
wall
times
दिया
now.
है.
But apart from that, I'm just feeling the pressure on Depth's shoulders for the time being. If they can keep
Okay.
that relaxed look up and you know try to go a little
A
bit
पे आगे
ham on
जाके
this attack
control
side,
ले रहे हैं.
then maybe
Lol और
different.
miss.
Uh-oh.
Timing off the barrier was
What the
that?
fuck? pause
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to
ये
wait.
किसने
and wait for
timing
that
है
one.
pause का?
Slight errors, I
Does-
think.
Okay, we're going through.
Okay.
Oh, start हो
Just a
गया.
bit of a
There we go.
barriers
Fixed
there.
it.
Now they're through. So, I mean, GE at the end of the day, it still works. Everyone's getting out and get two, and they corral
Guys, ये तो ऐसे तो 5v5 में होता था.
Shows their game
पहली
plan.
बार
Yeah,
देख
maybe
रही
a
हो
little bit
official
unprepared
match
for
में
that
भी हो
hit,
रहा है
but,
ऐसा.
yeah, I mean, you saw that Dizzy come out. You saw it go above the Poison Cloud, and that's just the combo that they wanted to go for.
ऐसे कौन pause करता है?
I mean, GE, they are.
Yeah,
well
Ayush,
aware that
+1 on that.
The forces could come through A short at any time. I mean, 5v3, you just have to hold your angles. Go for these
No.
beats. That's a deep jump.
Wow.
Counting his lucky stars.
Good hit from ZETA, but a little bit of damage from the paint shells too. Now just trying to suss out their positions again. But look at the discipline from Global Esports, all tucked away, all watching the off angles. Polvi gets first contact, paint shells out. Bit of a swing from that, but here's the swing from Lightning Fast in return.
Nice,
Yeah, and that's
yaar.
you just had to be ready for trades, because even if the plant did happen in some weird universe, it's not like they had all the post-plant lineups ready to go. It was already.
भाई वो
predefined.
wingman
The
देखो उधर
Vipers
shower
no
के
longer
बाहर भाग
available,
रहा है.
no Molly available for Sugar Zero either. Another Sky Smoke had been used.
भाई
over
बट देख रहे हो
on
गेको
all
कितना
lanes,
पिक
so-
हो रहा है गाइस
I mean,
VCT में.
The pistol round prep seemed pristine. Should be able to maybe.
क्या
get the
बोलते
plan.
हो
Actually,
गेको
Russ
में
is
बन जाओ
pretty quick on this one, especially with the
अच्छा
trap
I
wire,
play
can't
good
find it.
गेको.
Found it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Cypher's no Cypher's best.
pause करने का तरीका थोड़ा
Might as
casual
well,
है.
right? Take what you can get, a bit more credits, a bit more damage, or just, you know, mental fortitude.
आप किसको
But
support
still,
कर रहे
it's a
हो?
7-6. Global picks up that pistol.
One thing we may see come into fruition in this match, because this is one of those matches that a lot of people thought could very well go not only to 3 maps, but very close maps across the board. But at that point,
भाई जी
then you
holding
start
5
to
man
look
in
at
same
things
side.
like
मोहित यार देखो ये लोग का ना
how long they've had to
एक
deal
वो
with
रहता है
being on
सब
stage
टीम्स
and
का
things like
अपना
that, the
प्ले
pressure.
स्टाइल और
You look at
स्ट्रैट
Global
रहता है.
Esports' squad,
ये
these
लोग
guys have
प्रैक्टिस
been
करते हैं ना
around
फिर
for
उसमें
a
यही सब तो करते हैं
long while.
हाउ दे आर गोना प्ले. ऑल्सो सामने वाली टीम
Yeah.
क्या
I mean,
करती है
even
उसका
Polvi,
भी
right,
रीड
he's
रहता है
playing in
उसके अकॉर्डिंग
challengers,
खेलते हैं ये
out
लोग.
in EMEA, so
But that's the difference. I mean, like ZETA, you know, you got the core. Meanwhile, Global Esports is like the full team. Just
प्लांट
all
बोनस
changed
ले
up
लेना चाहिए था.
around.
कैसे लेगा भाई
So,
प्लांट? 3
it
बंदे
does
भाग
show
के आ
that
रहे हैं उस पे.
While some of the ZETA
ऐसे कैसे
players
करने
lack a
देंगे
little
वो
bit of
plan?
experience, like Huron and Huron, for example, Global Esports have enough experience and enough coordination that they can come into this match swinging.
I don't
जवाब
mind this
नहीं
so
दिया.
far from ZETA, right?
Oh,
They're on
Support
their eco, they
signs.
want to get close for these long-range duels with the couple sheriffs that they have. Obviously, a great snake bite from Lightning Fast, but they're creeping up. They're creeping up fast.
G,
and
let's
G's
go.
ready
No.
for it.
Not quite.
G fighting.
Good timing on the snake bite again. And it's just good information as well. They knew to stack up on towards B. And at this point, although the spike was down, it's safe enough for Global Esports to come into this retake with the full might and force. They're swinging together. Russ with the spray down. Blaze King with a ghost kill at the end. Minimal damage sustained.
That's
Yes, Polvi
मुझे
died,
एक
but you know,
idea आया.
got 4 guns alive. That's good.
And
मैं
you'd
मेरे
love to see
streaming
that
PC
from
में
their
गाने
enemies.
सुन
I think it was in
सकती
their
हूँ.
merge
Let's
video
stop
as
audio
well, all
mute
those team
करके.
intros that VCT
Pow.
Pacific had before kickoff began. But talking about how Polvi, he's not in it for the scoreboard, he's not in it for the kill feed, but he's in it to create space, whether it's on
मैं
attack
तो
or
आपको
defense. He's
support
in it
कर
to
रहा
play
हूँ.
for the team. He understands
Thank
the
you.
role of an entry. Now, the question is in certain compositions, you have to be more than the entry rate, you have to be an entry fragger. However, so far, I'm liking the color that I'm seeing from Polvi working alongside his teammates.
On this retake, yeah. No ego. He's like, you know, I don't care if I get kills. I create space for my team. That's all I want.
हमें भी सुनना है
That
आने दो
distraction.
copyright.
I mean, with the way that Russ is kind of fragging out so far, leading the board as
10,000
IGL
की
leads by
super chat
example.
करो
And then
फिर.
you've got, of course, other trustworthy members like Blaze King. I don't blame Polvi at all.
That's it, though. This should be a ZETA round.
Call me
Polvi
at
with the
the
Vandal
door.
now.
Break down
That
this
single
wall.
Vandal, right? Then you still got
Leave me
Spectres for the run and guns.
alone.
You've got all these trap wires. They're trying to just buy time on B side.
Okay, what is your game plan? Good
Pop
flash
flash.
in from Russ. Gets enough info, backs off.
Yeah, good discipline. And this,
Then the TP.
I mean, that's enough to shove them back. It's a double member, but oh!
Just
भाई
a good
क्या
pickup
मारा
and
उसने?
response from Lightning Fast. Death getting the opening pick, but then shut down so quickly. He delays
Oh,
for just a second
unlucky.
longer. Benkai has made it in time onto site, so this could be the linchpin for Global Esports.
They're aware of this, though, because they never quite cleared it.
Oh, good check, but Les now getting gunned down by Benkai. With that, the spike will go down, however. Benkai tries to pick up the rifle, takes a little bit of damage, but not too bad. Still tough, though. Russ trying to wrap back around from A short, only has a Sheriff. The spike is down, and ZETA is holding fast.
Yeah, this is all they need to take out potentially another weapon, though. And that's all GE wants from this. It's just more damage done. They've already caught up with the pistol round win.
Okay. That fragment's got to be used at some point.
No, I think they're just going to wait for kills. The fragment, save it for another round. Whoa. Oh, okay, using it to clear that
shot.
out.
Guys, अभी देखो मुझे बताओ.
Tap from Russ was
ये लोग शावर से पुश कर रहे थे. If they had a proper controller, वो smoke डाल के
I think
उनको
honestly,
help नहीं मिलती.
GE going to be quite happy with that one. Take away 3 of the weapons, right? You got the pistol,
Hi,
and then
Sherlock
you
from
went on to
Canada.
the
Thank
anti-eco. You won
you.
that out.
And
Of
also,
course,
Gecko
you did
मैंने
have
can
the
definitely
one
say that
vandal
Gecko is
onto
too
Polvi
powerful
this
if you
time.
master
That will be
him.
lost, but overall,
Gecko में
everyone
master
carried over
करने
those
जैसा
specters
कुछ
from the
है
previous
नहीं.
round and the Sheriff.
You
So,
just have to
all
be
things
careful
considered,
how you
GE,
use the
not
flashes
too bad.
क्योंकि
Now, the question I
डायरेक्टली
had
ऊपर
was,
फेंकने चाहिए
I mean, with
ताकि
that type
वो
of
नीचे
push
गिरे
and
और
the
तुम
trap
उठा
line on
सको.
B, it's
कभी
not like
वॉल के
Showers
इधर
was
उधर फ्लैश
very
करना हो मैं
well
वही करती हूँ.
defended, so
वो सब आता है मेरे को.
speed up from
एकदम
death.
सीधा
Yeah, the
ऊपर
whole
फेंकती
kinda
हूँ
like
वहीं गिरता है उठा
funnel
लेती हूँ
them into the
वापस.
other side.
Wow. Well, okay, not amazingly defended. I love lightning fast.
बाकी ये को तो बहुत
but
सिंपल है
this look
खेलना.
from depth, I mean, just rushing in again. I mean, it's the depth of old. It's the child of God, and with that, they have claimed the site. Lightning fast now trying to hold up around lamps.
Needs to stay
Manages
alive.
to take down Uran. Goes back in for another swing, but then shut down by Sugar Zero.
Yeah, this might
क्या
have to be
लगता
a
है?
safe
Oh,
situation. I mean,
nice.
I guess not if Blaziken gets the kill, because now it doesn't matter if they know of their positions. Try to bait out
अरे
contact.
Indonesian rifler, he comes in, but then the positions held by ZETA still good, still sharp. Up around lamps, up around Cubby, and then last from showers. They managed to take them all.
I like the early wingman attempt too, just to draw out contact so you know
I'll
where to
challenge
be
for
aiming.
chat,
But
try
there's just
to
too
make
many
Shiro
members
take name of
on
it.
that A short side, and then of course
And
Laz.
Shiro do not
Once he
take the
knows, he
name.
heard the TP, he's waiting for them. They
Boy.
hear that they've come in through showers into the site, so he wraps
Namaste,
around on a
meme
time. He would have been able to
manji.
clean out all 3 anyway,
Namaste.
without them having a chance to
आपका
turn
दिन
that
कैसा
around.
गया? मेरा
That's
दिन
such a good
अच्छे
point,
जा
Will,
रहा
because I
है.
feel like ZETA's new system, as it is, they know to take certain positions, especially in these
खाना
coast
हो गया,
plants,
of course.
because if they can hold them and if they can stay alive well enough, and they make sure that they don't expose themselves to
राउंड के बाद
anything,
कौन
they
जीता?
are able to take these fights very favorably. So now they force Global onto an
Let's
eco.
get past
Yes,
और
there are
कौन
some
जीतेगा?
ultimates,
ये
but
कैसे
that's
क्वेश्चन
not
है?
the round that you want to use them, and Euron just shoots them down. I mean, is this a firing range or what? 3 kills already. We saw that before. He's doing it again.
Thank God I
And the
woke
entire
up
site
in love
belongs to
with
ZETA.
you.
I'm going to be honest, I was impressed more with Huron during the offseason than Uran. I thought Uran was still going to have to take some time to get warmed up here at VCT Pacific. And obviously, kills like that, it was a lineup, sure, both of them kind of peeking out at the same time. He was holding the right angle. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's putting up the numbers that he needs to and more
मुझे तो लगता है
for ZETA
खत्म है.
division.
With those numbers, picks up the Viper's Pit. It's a very useful piece of utility for the next round. But apart from that, just
ये
Global
सकुरा
Esports'
बैंडल क्यों
game
लगा
plan,
रखा है इसने? Because
I guess you can say there was a bit of lineup. They were trying to
pretty.
just pick up whatever gun they could. But if you're
हीरो आपका ओनर
actually hold
शिनचैन
his
का है,
own
पता नहीं
when
है.
faced against situations like that, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, and I wasn't
तोड़ के
quite
खेला
good
जाता है.
trap of the econ either. So GE obviously had invested a bit more than I'd assumed the previous round. But now with that save, they're able to come up to that operator. Going to be a huge round because we know how important that is on bind.
And it's Polvi on the operator too. He peeks out B-Long, doesn't see anything. Seekers out onto A. It's the full execute. Can Benkai stay alive? Oh, the number trips! They are good!
Lol.
Lightning Fast is still here as well. The utility. It is happening for Global Esports. Benkai picks up 1. Now just trying to put a little bit more pressure on towards Lamps. And it forces Sugar Zero back. They can't get the spike down.
I
They have to think
identify
about
as
the teleporter.
शिनचैन. भाई ये किसकी बात होती है?
if they do,
ऐसे तो
the
मैं
numbers
बोल दूंगी
that
I
people
identify as
rotate
Mr.
here,
Beast.
they're
What
so
is this?
B.
Oh. Well, Huron just tries to press W. Push forward. Picks up
what?
another 2 kills.
ना ना ना.
And then with that
राउंड तो नहीं, राउंड नहीं आएगा, राउंड नहीं आएगा.
tap off the spike. Doesn't see anyone and calls a rotate
Okay.
over. 50 HP and
The
he's trying
blast
to do
pack.
it all.
Polvi's already here.
Paint shells is all he needs to. Oh, he goes for the tap up top of Tube. Nades out. He knows Polvi is right around the corner. What are you going to do, Huron?
plenty of time.
He continues to tap though and jumps up again, trying to play with timing off of this.
They know he's
but
weak.
it's way too
Oh,
risky.
nice.
Yep, he is weak, and it's going to be a bit of a whisper that just takes down Heroron.
Oh boy! All right.
Nice attempt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, great tripwire coming out from Benkai. Just kind of keeps that raise locked up in the sky, almost stationary at a certain point as he rubber bands back. That's a great swing out from Russ.
Cypher buffs.
Yeah, I love the Cypher buffs personally, but I mean that's swing out from Russ. Oh, look at this viewing party as well. Love to see it. I mean,
Hi,
great to see
Kitty.
so many fans gathered. Of course, you know, apologies to all the fans as they did have to wait until this new day, but they're getting to watch the Smash, and so far it is delivering.
Such a close scoreline. I mean, both teams really neck and neck. And Global, although they are catching up a little bit, you know, it's again just this is their map pick. They showed that they have a lot of game plans, a lot
Let's
of
go G. Bye
It
kitty
is
bar
kind
batao.
of
It's not let's
successful.
go
It's just that
G.
ZETA right now with
It's
their
G
rookies
fighting.
are performing a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at things much more step by step to see how many of these kills are actually high impact kills that ZETA made on their very own volition, or how much of it was simply, you know, a decent read of the defaults and things like that. But everything being told, ZETA, okay, the firepower definitely upgraded. Their pacing and their comms seem to be upgraded. Meanwhile, on GE, the benefits that I saw from this roster during offseason at Convergence are still delivering. The ideas are good, the setups are good, but it's can you get up to that starting line? When they do, they are winning quite cleanly. But if they can't get into something like the execute or something like a healthy retake, that's when things look like they're trying to just go for one more duel to equal things out, buy a little more space, and ZETA's not backing down from those firefights.
Oh, ZETA does
तक
not.
नहीं सुनना ना मेरे घर में बनता है.
Full ults on the side of GE.
Yeah, that's something they could definitely use.
I mean, this is one of those rounds I think you absolutely have to. You want to catch up. It's not about trading ults one way or another.
No man.
There.
No
Some good
man.
ults to get rid of that operator
No
on
man.
the other side as well, if they're able to just get up to it and then pit into the site, something like that for ZETA.
Every time you try to
Very
forget
least.
who I am,
Oh, what is this?
I'll be
Kobe
right
pushing
there
out
to
way
remind
too
you
far,
again.
overextended just by a second.
No man.
I mean, the push out is hard to read at that tempo from Polvi with an operator. But I think that the mistake here is ZETA, if anything, ZETA was actually prepared for more people to be pushing out. You
अगर
saw
ऐसे
that it
हारेगा
wasn't
तो
just
bleed के
Heroron
साथ है next
waiting to
match.
check for that. It was multiple people, and there wasn't the backup from GE.
आज हारेंगे तो लीड के साथ थोड़ी है ये लोग का.
Now.
Oh, you
They
can't pick
know
that
to
back
hold
up
it
now.
safe, they know to watch, but Blaze
आज
King
लीड
still
और
true.
आरआर क्यों हारी तो वो लोग
Able
का
to
आपस में होगा ना
reposition
guys.
just in time to get the shot, but then not expecting depth to show up from Hookah.
I don't know.
They have the sight. Still watching out for more players though. He tosses out a blast pack just in case.
And look at
Sky
Juret.
Smoke blocks off Benkai.
On the
I'm
minimap,
confused,
Juret is
I don't
coming
know.
all the way back around as well. I mean, ZETA just has to stay out. There is no way Benkai's ready for this.
No, sir. He's trying to find that opening. He's trying to wait for lightning fast, but it's not gonna happen. Oh my god, Cypher from Uran. It's just depth in his movement and clean mechanics. One clean tap, and then
Every
lightning
time you
fast to spray
try
through
to
with Phantom.
forget who I am,
23
I'll be
HP,
right
and he's
there to
probably gonna opt
remind
for
you
the save
again.
at this
You know
point.
me.
Way too much of a tall task.
Guys, what are your predictions? I don't have a good
The
feeling.
hold from Uran is great because if
यार
you
मैंने
think
क्या
that
किया
they
परिचय?
might have somehow regrouped in defender spawn, I don't know if
मैं
they
तो
have
पराठे
all the
खाए
right
3 महीने
ideas
हो
that
गए
like
यार.
Max
आप
is
हमारे
still over
कन्वर्सेशन
by
से
Hookah,
बाहर
but
हैं.
then you just wait
आप
for the
हमारे
exits,
खाने
right?
की
'Cause you've already
conversation से
expended that
बाहर
time.
हैं.
So I like the comms, but man, that push out from Polvi, I don't mind it as an individual move, but because ZETA was ready for it, it
13
starts to look a little
13
sloppy just because the backup wasn't there for trade. It wasn't a hard commit. And that's the thing. You had all ults, so obviously it's not a round where you would want to hard commit because you've got all the retake tools.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where it's off of a ZETA timeout, so maybe they were anticipating for ZETA to do something a little bit different, and they wanted just to check, but face check is a little bit too risky.
I mean, it's always going to be risky. Here's the thing. If you're ever
I have a
peeking
good
out, it's always
feeling
going to be
but वो
risky.
मान ही
What I
नहीं
want to
रही
see
हैं.
is the idea is good, right? It's an off timing. You got the 0 point on Hookah. You got multiple members. I don't mind it. It's just that, right, it's an operator.
Right.
It's not a jet. Sure, Raze can escape, but it takes a little bit more time. And because ZETA was ready, I'm saying it starts to look a little bit
मैंने
wonky.
खुद
So
ने
that's
अभी
credit
मटर
to
के पराठे
ZETA.
खाए.
But honestly, the idea, you had to throw something out there to shake things up.
It is true. Meanwhile, I mean, again, ZETA, Carlisle and Junior They're doing a lot for this team.
Excuse me.
Trying to poke and prod this time towards Hookah. I mean, not Hookah, towards Showers, but not quite finding all too much. So regroup with Laz, and then maybe just the execute off of the toxic screen into A.
Thank you guys.
Either way, they know they put some pressure down.
The
thing is
We're just jiggling for info.
Yeah, and they can buy a decent amount of time here with the get-go. How ready are they going to be? Trailblazer traded for that. Now a Jizzy and a Wingman still available for time. Russ is arriving. No command at the ready.
Rotates are over. Good shot from Blaze King. What an angle. But you
Nice.
still have Flash kind of looking around A short. So that teleporter play is available, and it does go through.
अच्छा
However, it's a bit of a
भाई
gamble.
शॉर्ट
If
पे
Benkai
ऑलरेडी
can
एक
hold
बंदा
his
है इनका
ground, this is going to be tough for Zeta. They've got
Trips भी है
20 seconds left.
I mean, Laz didn't
Tower
actually have
पे तो
control of
trip है,
the
bro.
site. They have to push through and fight, and now with their smokes down, the mollies are coming out. They have no way.
Plant ही नहीं कर
The Dizzy
पाएंगे
as well.
Oh, 10 seconds. It's not going to happen, is it?
Noise.
Orbital Strike, though, still committed. They want to push through. Sugar Zero getting the frag off of it. A
No.
second one in. Heron sticking the plant. And with that, 2 players left. Polvi
What?
the showstopper, though. But here come the Seekers. Blaze King, we know where you are. Polvi, we know where you
What?
are. Are you going to commit? He's got the judge.
They heard the classic too, so they know
Guys.
something's up.
Oh boy, here it comes. Opens up lamps and tries to go for even more, but Huron.
साइफर आगे नहीं जाता तो वो लोग अंदर आ ही नहीं पाते bro.
To hold from Showers.
What?
This is Zeta Division.
I almost would have thought that the orbital strike felt late at that point, but they wait. They wait for all the utility to come out. And
रुको,
guess
मुझे
what?
देखना है
This
वापस,
is-
वो
I
क्यों
wanna
आगे
point to
गया?
this round. These are the rounds that make a difference between a team looking too slow to lose and a team just looking like
देख
they know
रहे हो?
their exact timings, right? You wait for the rotate.
उस पे
and then you
Brimant
say that you
आया,
can draw it on
and
this
they don't
utility,
have
And
smokes.
then when it ends, you still have your ultimate, and you know that you can force it through because
Cypher
that
का
ult
mistake
kind
है.
of acts like a wall that's going to protect
Not
you
really.
on that spike plant.
That is
Smokes ही
true.
नहीं है.
I mean, I think GE probably feels a little shaken up after that previous round.
They probably weren't expecting this Zeta form. And honestly, I'm not
और
as
क्या
well.
कर सकता था but वो?
felt really shaky to me. I mean, towards the end of that, you can feel the pressure running out of time, but still knowing exactly what their game plan was, sticking to it, and making it work. So I don't know what Global Esports can pull off with this timeout. They need 4 more rounds to tie things up, and I mean, just thinking about them playing on the defense, you know,
मैंने बोला
with
ना
a
guys,
composition like this, double initiator,
बाइट पे
clearly
वाइपर सिंगल
retakes were
कंट्रोलर
meant to be
भाई
strong, but it's not quite happening
ना हो
just
पाए
yet.
भाई. स्मोक्स तो
Well,
चाहिए.
the timeout to try to save this map, take it to overtime. The null command still sitting there for a couple of rounds now, and surely something that they have discussed. But right now, it's going to be a push out. It's been a couple of rounds since they've done this. It's an all-in from GE.
We just, okay, full commit. They did it in the first round. It kind of works for the time being. Oh, but the trade's just as good from Zeta.
पर ये
Russ
तो आगे
still deep
जाके ही
in
मार
position,
दिए.
able to gun down the player from the left. Tosses out a flash to try to stay alive. Rotates coming through, but it's not in
Nah,
time.
फंस
Benkai
गया यार
all the way from the
उधर.
back of Halls. Now back sight.
This is all up to
Oh.
Blaze King. So this was the entire idea, and Zeta is aware of this, right? They know they spent way too much time trapped up in a short. Oh, he gets one. Now he knows that they were potentially looking for the rotate. He just has to hold.
Oh no! He did hold, but then got swung upon by
Yeah,
Sugar
but you-
Zero.
Look
You
at how
can
close Benkai
flash.
is.
You can get the
I
info.
don't know if Sugar Hero would have heard him.
The timings though. And he just goes so
Oh.
close to it. Benkai a
भाई
little bit more
क्या
prepared, a
है?
little bit better,
इतना
and
close.
sharper. Keeps Global Esports alive for one more round.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Benkai just creeping up right close enough that it's so hard to tell.
यार
And
आयुष
that's good
सिंगल
timings,
स्मोक
right,
कर
on the
ब्रिम
plays,
होता है ना
one way or
it
another,
works.
ping-ponging
It
back
works
and forth,
fine.
Coming out
Single
from
smoker
GE.
वाइपर on
I
bind
mean, this
does
round just
not
came
work.
down to all these micro timings. I mean, it was an all-out brawl to start. You can feel the tension and the pressure. The fans wanting to watch Global Esports win. And with Blaze King holding up from Market, it actually happened. Now back into the next round though, and Zeta tries to pick up the pace. A little bit more control in the Showers, but congestion coming out from Global Esports as well. The
भाई
teleporter
क्या टीपी पे
play,
टीपी आया है भाई
Polvi
पीछे
with the
से.
double kill.
Spike down.
दो लोग
A
टीपी
great
करके आए
read
भाई.
from GE. A lot of people said they're absolutely going to have the brains for VCT Pacific. And this is one of those rounds. The
लॉल भाई कितना मॉली डाल दिया उस
Does
पे
flush Lightning out of position, but the main thing still is that the spike is down. You don't have Shower's control. But I'm a little bit curious to see what Laz's game plan is.
But looking at where those tripwires are on the minimap, I don't think there's a way for him to be able to. Well, now they're spotted as well.
Ooh, whoa, okay. I guess mechanics are still just as good. Orbital flush him out of the corner. Sugar Zero picks up the quad, but
Bro,
then
फिर से 1v1 पे आ गया.
Laz and Benkai 1-on-1.
My God.
And Laz wanted to find a timing. He eats his own teammate's orbital strike to try to come through.
Benkai is just playing this so safe.
Is he gonna wrap all the way around?
Bro,
'Cause that
no.
would be one
No.
way to play this round.
No.
So big brain. Benkai.
Bro, he's expecting you.
Benkai.
No.
Laz is ready for this.
No way.
Is he ready for this?
No way.
It just comes down to it. Whoever fires that trigger first, whoever spots each other out first, they know what each other is thinking.
He has the cam to check, but he has to stick the plan.
Pressure is on Laz. 10 seconds and the timer is counting down. 5, 4, 3, and here comes Benkai with the swing. Tap the a swift kill, and 12-10 global esports. 2 rounds away from overtime.
The craziest part is Laz suspected it, but Benkai waits so long. He creeps the entire time, so Laz says, I have to plant at some point. So Laz did have a read, but what a 1v1. Benkai back in his own natural habitat.
भाई but बीच में वो उसको expect भी कर रहा था bro. वो था scary moment तो. He was actually expecting him to wrap around.
Timeout being called by ZETA Division. How do we right the ship? How do we secure that last round?
Well, you had a couple rounds, right, where the aggression comes out from GE, so...
भाई high patience ना देखे हाँ यार please
okay, slow things down. See if they push out, right? We hold the default, get ready for contact. The problem being, now that may funnel them back into their old habits, because if you're spending the first 20 seconds to not take any positions, then
यार Brim is good on this map. मैं तो खुद Brim खेलती हूँ यार bind पे और Brim पे मारती भी हूँ मैं हमेशा. मेरे 15-20 kill रहते हैं हमेशा.
You never know where those trips are going to be, and it's Benkai playing it as well. So I mean, sure they had that one rotate with the orbital strike and it worked out, but I don't remember the exact ult situation. But orbital strike was just used. So they're not going to have that for a last-minute execute.
Not to mention economy as well. And you're always thinking, you know, you only have...
Let's go G fighting!
So with this bit of a half buy...
Omen better than Brim. No,
really
not on this map. Sorry.
As much info as
this map is for Brim. मैं खुद भाई मैंने Brim... मुझे Brim खेलना नहीं आता था. मैंने legit bind पे सीखा है. क्योंकि मुझे पता है कितनी ज़रूरत पड़ती थी जब fill करना पड़ता था ना. Then I actually learned how to play Brim.
Okay, Dizzy does give
now I'm actually good with it.
So they are just flushing straight through Hookah. Russ is ready to receive. Pops off the null command and just wants to stay alive. But then right up around behind from 2.
वो animation में ही मर गया.
This is the site already. The retakes at this point are too slow, too late. It cannot happen on time. 5 per spin as well. Are you kidding me? Dip with the showstopper. Benkai just trying to do what he can. But at this point, oh my God, Will, it feels bad.
This is, again, one of those situations where GE just wanted to check a little too much. You had entire B main control, and you wanted to check in front of Showers as well.
Well, Benkai's still going to try, though. Timer is ticking. HP is slowly draining and running away. And then
Guys,
just one bullet
but
is
इतना
all
close गया है. I think ये लोग double controller गए होते ना जीत जाते.
ZETA Division still and Dep still
जीत जाते.
up around and coming.
I mean, Dep
13-10 ZETA बोला था.
He always has.
Good
Some
prediction.
people might have forgotten. A lot of people seem to go back into their memory bank during the offseason and remember that he was fragging out in 2023. So it's
Next
great to
map,
see upgrades across the board for ZETA Division. I will say, GE,
Icebox.
I mean, I think they showed enough for people to at least stop doubting them.
Icebox.
But it's also that ZETA looked just as strong, if not better, upgraded. And now going over to ZETA's pick on Icebox next, another map where you're going to have some good ideas on how to utilize it, because it's very tough to utilize all parts of it, especially mid, even with the map changes. So the question becomes, GE, did they even suspect that the Icebox would be picked?
Oh my goodness, that is another question. And then
Please
Sunset
don't
Fergus,
trash
I
talk
mean,
the
if she is
teams.
not prepared for Icebox.
Mods thoda
and
dekh
this,
lo.
you know, it's just going to be a 2-0. And it feels, emotionally speaking, very similar to yesterday's Gen G and RRQ match. But here goes, back to the desk.
Hello! We were like kind of dancing because, oh my gosh, how spicy is Pacific at the kickoff? It's been insane. And you know what? I really like how that was being played. Obviously, ZETA bagged that first map win, but not before Benkai had a little bit of something to say.
Icebox
Cypher,
G
like
jayega.
them
Let's
pointing
see.
at each other with lads.
Yeah.
The Cypher moment.
They kept clashing. They were always playing around the same spot. We saw, you know, on the defending side there from ZETA, Laz trying to hold down the showers, Benkai trying to push in, trying to get control of those showers. So there's a constant back and forth there, and some nice clutches from Benkai at the end to keep Global in this one. But ZETA managing to come out on top, and this is a little bit concerning because this was, again, Global
Icebox G ka ghar hai?
given that it was a
Aap
very
par
weak
rahe
map in
ho.
the past for ZETA Division, but clearly work has been done.
They are trying to be aggressive. Aggressive is not the problem, but मेरे को तो गाइस मतलब इट्स जस्ट माय ओपिनियन मुझे तो प्रॉब्लम वही लगा कि वाइपर था दे डिड नॉट हैव स्मोक्स आधे राउंड तुम लोग ने देखा नहीं कि वो लोग प्रॉपर उन लोग को होल्ड नहीं कर पा रहे थे बिकॉज जहाँ से पुश आ रहे हैं वहाँ स्मोक्स ही नहीं है
they're undoing here for ZETA. And Global, they did have a nice rally back. They get up to 10, but I thought that was going to be their win condition, being able to get those 5 rounds initially.
नेक्स्ट मैच कितनी देर में स्टार्ट होगा हो जाएगा अभी जल्दी हो जाएगा ज़्यादा ये लोग नहीं लंबा रुकते
They were struggling in just trying to get control in terms of the rounds, but after a few more, they start to get their groove on, and it really translated into showcasing what Polvi can do as that sole entry fragger here for Global Esports, and that's why we're seeing them be so close to ZETA in that 13-10 end.
And we can see right here, MVPs, we got the gods facing off just as we were hoping for, and Depth is just so amazing, isn't he, Achilles?
Yeah, and I mean, this is a known quantity. For me, honestly, obviously the ACS not going to reflect it fully, but Yoran was a huge factor in them being able to get those initial wins coming through. This guy was looking ever so clutch. Great moments there with the Sheriff as well from Yoran. So honestly, a fantastic VCT debut for him. But Depth just continuing
lunch
to
कर लिया क्या? No, I had
now, what has been really
breakfast.
interesting,
I'll
we're
have
talking about
lunch
this in the
late.
green room just now. ZETA was infamous for being so slow, but we saw a different sort of pacing. You were talking about possibly influence from the coaching staff. Changing things up for ZETA.
Yeah, I mean, for Carlisle, when you come over from a Brazilian squad, one thing that you can certainly inject into your new team is going to be some aggression, some higher tempo. And while we did see, ZETA slowing things down, especially.
वह भी तुमने देखा सिंगल कंट्रोलर बाइंड पे वाइपर समझ नहीं आया मुझे ESL देख रहे हो क्या? नो 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 मैटर में से क्या ऑर्डर करूँ? नथिंग
And I love to see this because they were that
nothing,
team that
thank you.
20 seconds, take the
मेरा
side, and then they
ब्रेकफास्ट
went
अभी
right
हो
to
रहा है.
execute. And
Enjoy.
not, especially in the LCQ, they were getting away with it, but that is not a style of play that is going to be sustainable.
Yeah. Also, one thing I just wanted to add with how ZETA has been actually playing here is more times than not, the way that they kind of look around how their rotation and their opponents.
ये भी अनलकी था ब्रो. अल्ट के एनिमेशन में ये लोग प्रिपेयर्ड ही नहीं थे. अल्ट के एनिमेशन में मर गया वो. आता था ये भी.
More times than them just being kind of slow to think about that or slow to rotate, which has been very helpful in the rounds that they played.
Now, you were noting, Asteray, how Global Esports is probably a bit more free-flowing in the way the team dynamic is, and it definitely seems so, but is it working?
From going
I think it is. The big problem
crazy.
was
लगता है मेंबर बनना पड़ेगा.
literally just a couple of
मैंने
minutes
बोला
ago,
कि नहीं
is
देख
the
रही.
Benkai versus Laz. They need
सुनाई
some
कम
extra
देता है
moments
क्या?
where they can choose to go elsewhere on the map, but because Benkai has been losing in that fight, they cannot force the issue
किसको
elsewhere.
support
So they
कर
have
रहे हो?
to commit
Science.
to this fight. The problem is the setup for ZETA, whether it's on defense or attacking, has been a little bit difficult. What at least has been
यार सिंगल कंट्रोलर ब्रिम होता तो चलता ना. तुम खुद बताओ. बाइंड पे वाइपर सिंगल कंट्रोलर कैसे वर्क करेगा?
Follow the speed that he is going at it, so it creates this kind of rift where he's already there, he's great plays, but the rest of
हॉरर मूवी नहीं है तुम्हारी लाइफ सार्थक. डोंट वरी.
What do you make of that, Kilios?
I mean, I widely do agree. We saw just some
ये सब छोड़ो, सेन को सिखाओ थोड़ा अच्छा से खेलना, बोलो तुम ही अभी कुछ कर सकते हो शिरो। What the fuck?
With that ebb and flow from ZETA, like one of the rounds that we saw was they slowed things way down after
Rep,
playing
I
aggressively.
think they needed a brimstone main like me.
Ends up getting caught, and that's
ऐसा
gonna
ए
be
शॉट
awkward
पे
and out.
बनवे डाल के ऐसा
Coolest player.
चुपके से आगे जाके स्टिंगर लेके बैठ जाता।
A couple of these moments here where they're deciding to go aggressive, take some space, but they have no information as far as player placement on the side of ZETA is concerned. That's something that they need to be accountable for. So they need to make sure that they know that they're pushing into somewhere a little bit safer. And if they don't know that it's safer, they need to be a little bit faster on those reactions.
Now the second map is going to be Icebox, and this is ZETA division.
Bro, I'm liking this thing about this VCT. ब्रेक ज्यादा नहीं है मैप्स के बीच में।
Icebox out of the rotation does account for a large portion of this, but we haven't seen them play this map since the grand final versus Northeption, where Northeption bested ZETA division to then go on to Masters Copenhagen in 2020.
क्या सब बोलती हो अभी, बात करती हूँ।
So we have not seen this team in a very long time.
But I'm okay as long as you keep me from going crazy.
Keep
me from going crazy.
Yeah.
Who's going to be cooking harder?
My guess with
Hi,
this one
Craig
is
Gaming.
because of the changes on Icebox, and you kind of see this a lot with
Can I
Teams
not
4.
think?
The only play that you could do on
Will
mid before the
you
changes
love
was
this
the
part
rush
of me?
underneath orange
My
and then just kind
lover
of see where that
is
takes you.
a
But
day
because
I
there's a
can't
window now
forget.
coming into kitchen, there's a
Good
lot
morning.
there's the changes on the orange boxes where there's only one avenue, you're not
Further
to do any
in
more
my
of the split.
distance
There's a lot more I
from
think that you can try
you.
to do there, and I think that's where ZETA is hoping that they can outpace Global here. That seems like what Global was doing on Bind in some of the rounds that they were successful on was getting those quick contacts on the smaller corridors. And since Icebox even
बस तो छा गया, वो हमेशा से ही छाया हुआ है।
pretty open with again these
Korean
changes,
cuties.
something that again
True
ZETA
यार,
could
plus
use,
one.
but again this is just me guessing what could happen.
This map actually falls into ZETA's older play style really well now thinking about it.
I
Because
had
this is
it,
one of those maps where a lot of times you do see that poking and prodding
मॉड
and
दे दो
settling
शिरो,
on
अभी
what
देती
site you
हूँ।
wanna go
हाइड्रा
to.
जरा
So
दीप
for
के पास
ZETA
जाना,
to
उसको मॉड
to do
चाहिए।
that, they absolutely could just poke and prod around green, maybe even inch up towards yellow. Oh, I'm getting racy here with that
That's welcome to bot fam. Congrats यार, you are officially a bot.
Make an appearance over on this side of the map and then opt to go to the other
For
one.
the
You don't like what you
sponsor.
see or what you don't see on that side. So I'm curious. if
फिर
that's
वाला
where
मोबाइल
the
आएगा तो
it's
कौन
the
सी
fan
ट्राई
side there
करोगे?
saying rush B.
No.
That isn't exactly their MO, but as we take a look at it, it's going to be the Harbor coming through.
Ooh, I like this. Harbor, I think, is so underrated. I
लड़की
think
को
I've
बोला
said this
cutie.
way back, maybe in
यार,
VCT
Koreans
Philippines, that
cute तो
he
होते
does
हैं
the
यार।
job of both Viper and the Sage because of the Cove. It gives you a little bit of that safety, even though there are the changes that happen on the B side, even before this current change. You still have to have some form of safety.
I like
when
this
that's fine, and
comp.
if you don't have a
I
Cove,
like this
you need
comp.
something to keep that planter safe, and the Cove is one of those abilities that just does that.
Still sticking in with the
It's
KO,
an honor to
but
be watching you,
it seems
भाई।
like they're really gonna be
भाई,
relying on this
don't
one.
be
I'm
so
curious to see if
nice
West's gonna be able to
हाँ?
pile into more success
मुझे
here.
आदत नहीं है।
All right, let's go into the Arctic Icebox. We're going to over Caster's Quack and
Better than
William.
that.
Who's it gonna be?
I'm gonna show you I wanna show
Thank
you
you very much, Chubby Ninja, Asteria, Achilleos. I
Uh,
have no idea who it's going to be. It does feel a
वाले
little bit
मोबाइल
chilly though,
कब
because
आएगा?
ZETA's looking cold today. But yeah, I am wondering about the
आएगा।
KO.
Yeah, GE seems to
21st
really want to
century में।
focus on the double initiator.
जहाँ
I
तक
know
मुझे
we're just two
information
maps
आई
in,
है।
but I get
Secret
it. It does seem
information।
to suit what they want to do, right? Get the info, then go.
Hero
for the
bots
ball,
होगा
then
हम
have
लोग
these
का
set
नाम।
plays. That's a nice idea, but if everyone else is still going for double controllers on some of these maps, and especially a map
और
like
रेसिस्ट भी
Icebox,
होते हैं, देखो
curious
रेसिस्ट
how
हर
severe
जगह
it's
है।
gonna be.
इंडिया में भी बहुत रेसिस्ट लोग हैं, कोरिया में भी है, सिंगापुर में भी है, इंडोनेशिया, हर जगह है। हर के लोग हैं गाइस, हर जगह। तुम एक बंदे या कुछ लोग की वजह से सबको वो चीज का टैग नहीं दे सकते। That's how it is, guys. इंडिया में भी बहुत रेसिस्ट है ऐसे तो।
Russ is kind of tagged up by the decay of the toxic screen. But wow, we're just setting up for retakes. We're trying to use the lineup, but it doesn't quite connect.
मैं भी रेसिस्ट हूँ भाई, ये तो सबसे बड़ा है भाई। मुझे बोलता रहता था पहले, मैं तो तुमसे गोरा हूँ बहुत, तुम तो काले हो, ऐसे बोलता था मुझे। मजाक भी नहीं कर रही, गंदा।
Then it holds Zeta off for just another second. Laz, though, up around the rafters side. He goes back down and picks off Russ. And here comes Step from the top now. Sugar Zero landing some shots. A bit of a distraction. It allows for the rest of Zeta to corral and push up into the site. Blaze King able to get one, but not for long.
सच है देख लो guys देख लो racism देख लो इधर.
Over from Depp is one thing, but something else you're noticing here on that retake. So Zeta commits to the retake early on.
Valentino Rossi is my favorite
Once the
racist.
flank is up, then Laz suddenly says, you know what, we don't want to push in from Rasters just yet because they're going to consider pushing out, especially once Polvi gets the first kill. So he just wants to stay alive. Now it's the main force that pushes back in, makes an opening for Laz. Lots of good bouncing back and forth, and of course, clean shots from Sugar Zero as well. Another pistol on the board here in the very first round for Zeta.
Very nice and tempered kind of aggression. But Polvi with the outlaw now, wow.
Another force.
Well, let's see what he can do with it. I mean, I don't mind a force if it works, right? So,
yeah, you got the plant, you got the outlaw. I mean, that's another weapon you have to consider for force buys now. Doesn't want to show that he has it, and
well, a bit of noise.
Oh, shot!
Laz think for a second. Did they go under the
What
two?
a shot, man!
It's gonna be Polvi with a shot into Laz instead. Clean head tap, and that weakens
Force
mid.
buy.
With that now,
Can they win this
rotation
force
pulled
buy?
over from Hiroron, and it's going to be Global Esports slowly creeping up towards A.
yeah, the thing is now you don't have the killjoy either, so a lot of that retake capability of clearing out corners with something like the Nano Swarm no longer.
ना डरे ना जिम ना डॉक्टर परिचय वो देता हीरो को हाँ
Let them have the sight.
Huh?
Trying to spray, but still Spike plant goes down.
what the fuck.
Fast is watching the flank.
I
It's a
wanna
force
show
buy,
you
Zeta
off.
knows that, so the
I
weapon
wanna
rate
show you
not
off.
necessarily in their favor.
Although
Yeah,
is
I
still
wanna show you
favoring
off.
this outlaw. Third shot, fourth.
Oh,
A blind
bhai,
tries to
round
hop
winning
over to
flash,
stay
bhai.
alive, but then Russ just guns him down with a stinger.
4 shots, 4 kills for Polvi with the new weapon, the Outlaw. Doesn't need to fire twice to get a shot if it's always a headshot. Great showing.
मैं भी जब
Duelist pick up
अटैक में ऐसे you know
Dude, that's crazy.
फोर्स बाय करके ऐसे आउटलॉ खरीदते हैं ना
Angle from the window.
तो ऐसे चार मार के राउंड जिताते हैं ये नहीं कि आउटलॉ खरीद के जाके मार्शल वाले को पिक करके मर जाओ सीखो कुछ प्लीज
That is
learn something.
lovely. As we move forward into the next round now, of course, economy for Zeta not going to look too great. Polvi just looking to sound off even more shots. A bit of information being retrieved by Blaze King, and it pushes Zeta back.
Honestly, I think this is the best gun to give off warning shots in
Tries to grab
Valorant.
traps.
It's very loud.
ये
Base is very
पे
deep.
बैठा है ऊपर देख रहा है
And
ऐसे
it just instills fear. I
Yeah.
mean, look at how
और
much
मुझे
space
बड़ी
they got
एंजाइटी
off of
होती है
that
ऐसे
warning
बैठने में
shot.
It's almost scarier than an operator when you just listen to it.
I didn't
Welcome
want
to the Wild West,
to
buddy.
forget
Eddie Young has
I
to yell.
thought of everything I never
Anyway,
regret.
toxic
A
screen
little
down,
time
and
that
it's going to
there
be
was
Global
all
Esports just
that
trying
I
to play it safe
could.
because they know that any of these pistols
Outlaw
could
से
be
ace
lurking
करूँगा
right
आज
around the
देखना
corner. Benkai getting caught out by
Duelist तो मैं
Tap.
खेल रही हूँ how will you
What would
ace
have happened?
excuse me
Step picks up that Spectre.
Yeah, with that snake bite down, they know that Russ not quite waiting in the
Outlaw तो मैं
position.
चलाऊंगा जेट
That's a
तो
great
मैं
shot, and so
खेलूंगा
is your enemy.
रेस
You're
भी
all
मैं
picking at the
खेलूंगा
same time. 1 shot, 1 kill.
I need to see their POV on that one. Now it's going to be lightning fast with nothing but a stinger, 4 barrels staring down right at him.
30 seconds left.
Goes in for a bit of a quick peek, takes down the first player.
by E-code
Comes back around, 20 seconds remaining, and he has to kind of either go in for, well,
इन्हीं
at this
पे
point, he's
outlaw.
gotta go for all the kills.
हेलो
And
बाय
this
बाय
is
मैं नहीं
one
आ
of
रही
those
बाय
situations where, I mean, sure,
Bye.
you had 1 outlaw, but you've got these stingers in hand.
I'm out
And when it comes to the B site, I mean, you're not the one with the harbor. Those sheriffs are going to be just as strong, if not stronger. The problem being, Benkai, I believe, was also picked off in the middle of the round, so not much of a chance to rotate to A. And things fall apart. They already had to commit.
शिरो
to the
एक
plant.
पीछे
They
से
faded
चार
off the
जन
snake by
खेलेगा एक
trying
मैच
to
में
draw them out into closer range. And they're just
Excuse me.
prepared. Wow.
मत खेलो
I think
नहीं
this
खेल रही
just
बाय
about shuts
I'm
down
out
everything. This is why they commit to the B side. The peaks right
उससे
as the
T-Con
screens
कहाँ
go
मारा
down.
था
Very well done.
that they
from
could
Zeta
not
Division.
even break it और
Just
by
to give you an
almost
idea of
दिख
what
रहे
both teams are capable of. Benkai sometimes looking for these lurks, but at the same time, my goodness.
एक
those
शिरो
peaks
जैसा
from
दोस्त
Zeta
तो मैं भी
Division.
डिजर्व करता हूँ
So Eco
Nice,
off
yeah.
of Eco,
Nice.
we got the thrifty win right back
Nice.
in. And now Zeta's got the rifles, and is that an outlaw on Hero Ron? It's going to
That
be a
look
full
just
buy
like
from Global Esports, though.
me.
But some half armor.
Yeah, so Zeta's trying to make this back into their bonus, right? Picking up the weapons that their opponents dropped in that last round. We'll see. I mean, because they have the capabilities.
Oh, just a bit of a swing, though.
Tagged up.
Even
Bye,
more attacks, and now
Golu
Lightning
OP
Fast
in the chat.
proving that he is that dreamer from
Guys,
South
Golu
Asia.
OP in the chat,
Picks up the
please.
triple, and all of a sudden Zeta Division are left wanting more.
And this type of turning
Excuse
up
me,
the
Vamshi,
tempo,
I will
this is going to
ban you,
benefit GE
okay?
a lot, right? Because
Okay.
given their compositions, given their tendencies, a lot of
Don't
people are gonna
borrow the
start to
can of
assume,
my duo,
okay,
please.
You're going to wait to creep up, go for a set play. It's things like these deep lurks, and these other ideas, the different tempos that really start to play a macro game of Valorant against your opponents.
Yeah, because it's just like you had a bit of pressure towards B from earlier on, and then you also always thinking Benkai might lurk around corners sometimes, and we can't just always leave Depp to deal with him. Meanwhile, on the other hand,
I
off
listen
of the
to
next
your
round,
storms.
Global
Now
Esports
listen
just goes
to
in for that
mine.
mid play, and that's something that Zeta, hasn't really
They're
defended
saving
all
by.
too well. Remember the
Yes,
previous
though,
round,
by what
Global
is the
picked up that
saving
quad kill.
behavior?
So, Zeta has a bit of thinking to do.
And I like that Lightning Fast just commits early towards screens as well, right? Because you can't really lurk as efficiently into Kitchen anymore with that window available. His team already creeping up into the site. They make the call, of course, as they're jumping in with the drone that, okay, site is empty. So Lightning Fast knows
That was John
means...
Big behavior, okay? That was John Big behavior.
Yeah?
Oh, right. I mean, it was a
That was what
quite
behavior मुझे
a
समझा
pistol
नहीं.
that we're looking at, but it was
Chat
a great
बताना.
lurk there. Gets the triple for himself.
That was what behavior?
Very nicely done. Now we've got Pulvy on the Blade Storm. And they're looking to open things up towards A. Zeta definitely wanting to back off of this. But what's curiouser is Lightning Fast with this lurk.
Dr. Anil, hi, namaste.
He's buying so much time in Benkai.
Oh no.
Benkai with the backup comes out from the other side
Jumpy
of the map.
behavior.
Things just start to fall apart for Zeta Division. Not getting the right reads, peeking into lurks, and at the same time not quite able to make this retake happen just yet. I think they're opting for that save, but while you're going for that,
I'll
Lightning
never be
Fast
alone
is trying to hunt you
again.
down.
Cause
Wow,
it doesn't
okay,
happen
that's
every
John Wick
day.
behavior.
He's going deep. He's going on a solo mission, just pick up frags.
Bro, saving part 2?
If he gets one and dies, he's
Really?
Viper's Pit as well. It's not a bad
good
shot.
Saving part 2?
It's one.
Golu hunting?
Damage already done.
Just falls
What
back.
is
Allows
happening?
Pulvy, who is on the Blade Storm, to go for a little bit more. Just now playing off of the teammate to check. They want to take those guns
Okay.
away. All right, now we've lost a plot. It's time to save.
मुझे तो आपका सोवा गेम प्ले
Yeah, we
पसंद है.
got mighty
मैं
close,
सबका
to
सोवा
that
गेम प्ले के
lockdown
बारे में ही
class
बोलते
as
हैं.
well, but hey,
That's others. मुझे
done.
कल मैच भी यही कह रहा था.
Viper's Pit also picked up by Lightning Fast. I think you see it on his face, like, okay, maybe that was a little bit too
Don't
much,
pick
right?
behavior.
We're gonna get the counter peak, but the teammates are there as well, and that's something they're going to notice with Global Esports. Is that obviously
Talon
this
night
team
stream करो
bombs
यार,
are
I'm
good.
sleep
They're all
deprived यार,
players who are
Saurabh.
used to calling and sharing
asleep.
ideas, leading the team in one way or another. Lightning Fast, enjoying the time on the stage. He talked about how he wanted to be part of the main roster. He wanted his chance on the stage consistently. The team has now put the trust in him to be that representative here for Global Esports, for South Asia. You're going to be part of the main roster. You're on stage every single time. How long can you help extend the tournament life in a setting like KICKOFF?
I think he's going to extend it pretty well. I mean, off of this map, off of that performance from round 2 and so on and so forth, he is definitely showing us that he is
Guys, I will sleep यार. आजकल अच्छे मैचेस है.
time, though, for Zeta,
कल
it just
PRX
was their
का
match.
मैच है,
The
and उसके
start
बाद
is
bleed
not
का भी मैच है,
great.
guys.
It just feels as though, although this is a different map, the ideas from the previous one definitely stay intact.
सुबह से
And
है ना?
Global Esports are really trying to
We
figure
are
out how to play
God
off
for
that.
you.
Yeah, I mean, this is Global Esports just getting a good read on the first couple rounds and Zeta's tendencies, right? They leave A side open, then they go for the retake. It's a pretty heavy flank coming out from B side. GE starting to get very well aware of that. Of course, the force buy helped kind of even out the rounds early on as well. So I like this timeout
Bot Rico.
because now Zeta should have some other ideas in the works, and it's going to be a push out down tube.
Something different.
भाई कल सुबह भी अच्छे मैचेस है, कल रात को भी अच्छे मैचेस है. क्या सीन है?
Hidden well enough to make it happen. Global Esports may be anticipating such a push as well, so
die for
just
you.
creeping up onto A site. The 0 point
Baby,
clears
I
out the
would
entire
die for
thing. Nobody's here.
you.
We get a free plant.
Yeah, now you know. Okay, site's empty again. Surely it's another retake coming in from both sides of the site.
सार्थक आज आई एम नॉट श्योर. देखो मैं मेनली जी के मैच के लिए आई हूँ. उसके बाद वाले मैचेस का लेट्स decide later.
Yes, that's where Laz wants to be.
And Zeta, this time they're not flanking early, right? They're just putting
भाई लेकिन कल सुबह भी अच्छे मैचेस है, रात को भी अच्छा मैच है. मैं क्या करूँ?
But still, Polvi holds his ground. Manages to gun down two. A bit of a
जल्दी उठूंगी.
not quite for long. Lightning
रात को मैं 9 बजे सो जाऊंगी.
comes Euron from the front.
Best.
Null command sussed out position.
Best.
But then you see
आज भी मैं जल्दी सो जाऊंगी.
Benkai and Lightning Fast. I don't
Easy.
know how much the Cove can do because they haven't quite tapped the spike.
भाई मैं तो बैक टू मेरा कॉलेज वाला रूटीन हो गया गाइस. 9 बजे सोना, 5 बजे से भी पहले उठ रही हूँ. 3 बजे उठना, 9 बजे सोना.
Holding on to the rifle. It's Global Esports 4-2.
Yeah, and the KO utility coming in handy as well.
मुझे तो शिरो का शेरिफ गेम प्ले पसंद है.
Activate their abilities for a long time. They had to fight.
मुझे लगा मेरे शेरिफ वन टैप की बात हो रही है.
Something like a Cove stick the half and pressure a little bit further against the attacking team. I mean, Polvi getting those first 2 kills as well. You love the energy from this team. I mean, surely they will continue to release some comms throughout the year.
DRX versus Gen, yeah. उसके बाद लीड का भी मैच है.
2 names really stand out right now. Lightning Fast and Polvi. The snake bite, the opening frags. What more could you want? Zeta is the one that has to catch up to it. And right now they're trying to put up the roadblock up around pipes. Laz able to get the first one, but not for long until Heroron arrives. Guns down with a bit of a lineup on towards Rust. And then picks up the third onto Lightning Fast. Blaze King cannot do all too much now as he's up on top of Nest.
I mean, this crazy aggression from Zeta. Laz pushing out all the way up front, and then Depp just trying to bounce around and draw all eyes on him. He dashes out, and they just do not suspect yet another member like Huron hiding right around the corner. Able to hold his aim for a triple. That should stabilize things. That's a 4th kill as well for Huron. Climbing right back into the game. Hunter's Fury available for him to counter out. Maybe push them back out in the next round, too.
Now we can play retake. Still though.
I mean, this is just they got a sight of him, but at that point it was a little too late. He was so ready for it too. I mean, the first double kill.
तुम्हारा UPSC
Very good discipline. And these are the moments we saw from him in just a couple rounds during the offseason as well. Very sharp shooting.
Yeah, I think you should study, yaar.
That's what we need to see from Zeta as well. I mean, you got to fight fire with fire sometimes, and maybe the answer was just to really get a good read for where Global would push out and then to peek off against that. But here it comes now. Off of those wins from before, Global picks up the operator. Polvi is in a damn good position.
I have respect for people जो सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए पढ़ाई करते हैं, ब्रो. बहुत मुश्किल काम है. मेरा भाई भी कर रहा है ना.
We've still got utility from Killjoy to get information to hold a little bit of time. B, you still got the double controllers. The patience coming in handy, but problem being, they haven't ever retaken under tube or into tube. So this is something that Zeta will have to keep in mind of the entire time.
ये लोग ये रीटेक पे छोड़ रखे हैं ना. केजल भी उन पे.
They don't want to give out too much. And meanwhile, for Global Esports,
कैसे खेलेंगे अगर
they've managed to get
एपिक एजेंट को काउंटर कैसे करेंगे? फाइट करना पड़ेगा.
pull some of these defenses away, but this time
बट उन पे कितने अल्ट है भाई, कैसे फाइट करेंगे?
Definitely looking for. They're going to take a little bit of time. There's 30 seconds left, Will.
Yeah, they have to go, and there's the alarm bot. Now you know what's coming through.
Kilo के ब्रदर का नाम क्या है? निखिलेश.
You have enough time to rotate if you go now, but they're not going to.
Gotta commit, and it is time, but Les just stops you in the nick of time as well. Here comes Depp with an operator of his own, and guess what? The reckoning committed to 13 seconds, and this has to be a save.
10 seconds left.
Wish I could just stop by and live by your
Yeah, keep
side.
up that operator. Build towards that blade storm as well, because you're not looking too healthy.
क्या बात है यार रिको, congrats यार.
I mean, you got
That
trapped
is
in
so
mid.
nice.
And then at that point, this really comes down, I think, to Zeta
क्या
also.
predictions है यार? मतलब देखो अभी तक जितना देख रहा है मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि या तो ये वाली टीम या फिर वो जो दूसरी ये वाली टीम है, इनमें से कोई जीत सकता है. बाकी अभी देखते हैं, पता नहीं.
multiple members watching different angles in mid. You've got Killjoy and Harvey Utility blocking off the main entrances. And then they say, as soon as the alarm
Yeah, I
goes,
like
send
your
them out, and
confidence
they don't have
more.
enough time, because if they're rotating, we still have members still anchoring down on B. And Global, good timeout. It's trying to say, okay, this mid pressure, unless we get the first pick, it's not working. How else do we adapt from that?
Hence the timeout. So it's going to have to be a bit of a question for Coach Spin and Big Time. But apart from that, at the same
Guys, इतनी तारीफ मत करो, मुझे शर्म आती है.
I like their composition. It's one piece of utility, but the Reckoning does so much. And now with Laz's kills coming through, you're cycling through some ultimates. He's got another lockdown for a good retake or two. It might be ZETA coming on the up and up.
Yeah, there's a reason this was the comp that started to really rise up once a couple teams showed it off.
यार उधर से एक Red Bull निकाल के पास कर रही हूँ.
Because it's basically the harbor for the
Excuse
seas,
me.
right? But now you have a little bit more
Excuse me.
flexibility. It's not just
भाई
force
ignore
the
कर रहा है
plant, then
मुझे.
hold for post-plant lineups.
कोई
You've got
बात
a
नहीं, मैं
little
पानी
more
पी
of a
लूँगा.
different way to inch forward, take the map over piece by piece. And GE, they're the ones who are experimenting today. We'll see if they have finally figured out the answer.
Wish I could stop and maybe say hi. Wish I could just stop by and lay by your side. Wish I could just stop by and maybe say hi.
And now rears his sights towards.
और Phaser bot क्या हाल है?
Okay. Recon doesn't find much, but it does bait out a bit.
Red Bull गंदी होती है, छी छी छी. +1 अभी माथुर.
Yeah, clear around that.
Don't want to push.
I don't like energy drinks. मैं energy drinks पता है सिर्फ कब पीती हूँ जब हम लोग कई इवेंट्स में जाते हैं ना और तब मुझे कॉफी नहीं मिलती है अच्छी and मैं obviously हमेशा sleep deprived होती हूँ तो तब मैं वहाँ पे हमेशा Red Bull available रहती है तो फिर मैं Red Bull पी लेती हूँ. Else मुझे पसंद नहीं है but just for the caffeine मैं पी लेती हूँ क्योंकि कॉफी जब भी बाहर जाती हूँ मुझे कॉफी नहीं मिलती है so problem होता है.
And Benkai as well. Surely this gives the call over to focus onto yellow.
Yeah, they're like, that's the lurker. We can rotate now. That's what they're doing. Snake Bites out from Euron. A bit of a jiggle, and that assesses out Polvy's position. They know exactly what's about to happen. Nicole trying to play off the shorty of the swing, but not quite the shots to make it work. Blaze King, Polvy, they are gunning down ZETA. Laz, however,
बेचारा ओपन में फंस गया भाई वो. Keep fighting.
Hunter's Fury being committed, but ooh, the ultimate's not really well timed enough, and still aiming down his sights. One shot through the engine block. Global Esports 5-4.
I mean, a great round coming out from GE. You bait out the first piece, couple pieces of utility, then you cut all contact. You had the turret watching for
this
mid
or that
as well.
Icebox,
So
yes,
it gets
yes,
contact. You don't see it get broken right away. There's no further push, so you have
Bro,
to presume.
तुम्हारा question is like
well, that it's going to be the operator coming
कि
through.
breathing और living.
Lurk on A. You're making sure that ZETA gets split up.
Excuse me,
It's a good
allowed
read.
नहीं है bro,
Trying to
allowed
readjust
नहीं है.
to what ZETA's doing. So
Question
now
में
ZETA a new look.
foul
It's
है.
going to be the stack onto A.
Yeah, the split is good. I also do feel like it's a little bit of like Euron and Huron maybe.
No.
I mean, it's tough for them to hold, and now Polvy feeling
जाओ
that much more
और आगे
confident,
जाओ
perhaps
और आगे
trying
जाओ.
to, you know, cause a bit of mayhem, but it's not quite going to happen.
I don't know if they can suspect Benkai here. They have some inkling. They heard Polvy drop, but that's why they're a little scared because surely. Okay! Nice peek around out of the
Kino
nest.
भेजे मैं वालो.
Very quick, but now has to back up. Meanwhile, the rest of Global's forces are actually trying to suss out the positioning towards B. Toxic Screen gives them
ये
that
तो
much
मैं
more
भी
space to
था
work with.
यार मेरे मन में वही आया बट मैंने कहा नहीं बोलती हूँ रहने देती हूँ बोलेगा मेरी तो बुराई होती रहती है पूरा टाइम बट अब तुम बोल रहे हो सार्थक then I cannot do anything. I'm sorry, not my mistake.
Just trying to slow things down.
Also with Huron and the angle around mid too. So
ऐसे ही जाते हैं वो एटीट्यूड में ऑफ लेके मैं बेल्ट पुश करूंगा. I'm pushing belt guys.
kind of position themselves around the site. Now that it's surrounded, now that it's a little bit more clear, Euron goes in for the quick peek, takes down Lightning fast.
And they're still aware of Benkai as well. They haven't spotted this Killjoy.
Oh, Laz is watching too.
Yeah, they're waiting for it, but now they know they have the numbers advantage, trying to force the defuse.
Oh, how is he spotted? Here comes Ben. Oh no. And Laz just turns around at the right time. Defuse comes in. Let's get it over to Hiroron.
यार ये लोग बी रीटेक कैसे कर लेते हैं इतना effortlessly? मेरे को तो समझ ही
On
नहीं
a
आता.
tightrope, both these teams bouncing back and forth across the two maps. And quite frankly, neither of them looking dominant on their own map pick either. Of course, GE lost their pick of Bind. You know, had another double
मतलब
on that first map.
आदित्य मतलब ऐसे से करना ही पड़ा तो yeah, of course.
I mean, are you cooking or are you just dawdling around in the kitchen? Because so far we're not finding the answer. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to shift metas, and a lot of times the frags have to follow up. Now, this time, I would say they're starting to fire up. Povey leading the scoreboard in the server, but it's not enough just yet.
Always that challenge of like old and new ideas. Old spice or new spice?
आइडा का मैसेज किसी को दिखाई दे रहा है गाइस मुझे नहीं दिख रहा
Will is absolutely
हाँ
right.
वो पूछ रहा है कि तुम्हारा वैलेंटाइंस डे कैसा गया
To see that dominant lead. Because it isn't that dominant lead, both teams are actually adjusting to each other really well, and we're seeing how they play back and forth in terms of space.
Forever
We still
good.
have Euron as well as Sugar Zero defending that B site. These walls are doing so much.
You have so much time right now. You still know that no one's pushed out from mid or A, not too far at the very least. Oh, if he gets this kill. Oh, still loses control of Snowman though. If they held control of Snowman, either you plant the lurk there or you try to force your way all the way around the pit. But now, Depp, very well focused.
Yes,
yeah,
Mohit.
Always holding his own out towards the A side, especially
Guys, जरा फेजर को प्रसाद देना सब मुझे फ्लाइंग चप्पल दे रहा है वो मुझे इतनी मत
Snowman. 30 seconds left. That's kind of the idea. And now with that space, that repositions, tries to land the shot. Not quite connecting though. This might allow for Global Esports to get that spike down.
And both teams are so aware of the potential lurks as well. I mean, they've kind of bitten each other in the back a couple times in this first half.
अगर ये लोग ने आगे आके वाइपर अल्ट मार दी इससे जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी वाइपर अल्ट की ओके अगर अभी भी मार दी नहीं यार वहीं रुकना था आई थिंक बट रुक के भी यार वो कितना ही रुकता
Now you're aware that Blaze King is up on top of Belt. Good peek though, but not quite enough to gun down the second target. So ZETA goes up ahead.
Yeah, and देखो chat में देखो. From the box as well. So Blaze King just trying to think that it's through the screen. He can't see them already posted up into the top of the site. But unfortunately, it's just
भाई सार्थक को टाइम दो सार्थक को टाइम दो.
You gotta watch out for that beanie. You gotta make sure it's pressed all the way down on your head.
Yeah, flushed all the way.
Yeah, you don't get fashion points in Valorant.
It's not just fashion. It peeks out over the top of some obstacles or some ponytails. Nah, not really. 6 to 5. That's the main thing. And again, it's just how they play back and forth in terms of space. Global tries to pull some of the attention away onto the other parts of the map, trying to divide ZETA. But ZETA stays united. And back into the A site. A sudden change in pace. A quick execute off of the null command. Russ picks up his value. Povey now with that space goes in and finds another frag. This is Povey not just creating space, he is actually fragging out. Oh no, but lined up! They hesitated for a second.
The comms just break down, the cloudburst comes out, but now of course you get the detain.
Okay, it allows for Benkai to go a little bit greedy. Picks up one, knows to pull back. Spike planted.
hunting,
How do
bro.
you retake ZETA?
Cove and double cascade at the ready. Now you got double shotgun and nanostorm as well, but GE not backing out.
Wow, they're not using util. Setting up a bit of a crossfire.
Sarthak beta.
In the boxes. They know where Laz is. Here comes that
Cove.
And he's so good on these timed peaks. Benkai off of it as well, just to watch his friends back. We tie things up 6-6 at the end of the half.
Yeah, the nanostorm already being there.
Yeah, that's not in my hands.
Gets them that passive info if they do shoot it. He shoots it, and Blaze King actually moves around.
I can't come live and play BGMI solo, bro. I don't enjoy that game solo.
Okay, surely it's a fake, because if not, I've got my teammate Benkai able to swing out on a timing on the 4 seconds, hides away, sees the Cove come back up, and then he walks right back in. Blaze King, this is why he gets a lot of those clutches that he's always had in SEA.
Exactly on Boom Esports. Now on Global Esports, showing us what he's capable of. A lot of Indonesian talents in VCT Pacific, and Blaze King is just one of them. I mean, he's definitely earned his spot, and it always shows true in a lot of these like tiny micro decision-making moments. Knowing to push whenever the spike is tapped. And sometimes, you know, it's also a bit of confidence. It makes you think, like, yeah, a bit of hesitation from Polvi or with a Cloudburst.
BGMI खेलोगे तो watching बढ़ेगी. यार उत्कर्ष, if you talk about watching, then there are so many things that a person can do to get high watching, but उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो सब चीजें करेगा.
So at some point you're going to want to at
I'm
least
not someone who will do
so
things just for watching.
But the problem is if you're pushing out with your initiators, unless you're getting some sort of contact or really just closing the map into half, that utility just it doesn't feel like
मुझे मुंह नहीं खोलना है इस बारे में.
So yeah, I mean, I'm curious what they're going to do. Obviously, in the pistol, it's going to be a stack.
Mod बैक लोग slow delete करने में. मेरे पढ़ने के बाद delete करोगे तो फिर मैंने तो पढ़ लिया ना. मैं undo बटन तो दबा नहीं सकती.
Gather a bit more information from them and then try to, you know, make guesses off of that. Obviously, not the
Watching
safest.
is not everything.
Sure,
See,
but
for
that's
some
the
people
point,
it
right?
is,
You can
but
sit back,
not
then
for
you
me.
retake. If you go for all the flashes and they just hang back, then you just got to deal with the post plan. So it's this rock paper scissors, but Blaze King still on fire from the first half.
Definitely throwing a rock on that first one. Here comes Hiroron up towards screens, and ZETA has found their opening. Has to gun down Blaze King, turning back around because of depth.
Shut down ही
That
कर
is that
दिया
double kill
भाई
that gives them
एकदम.
the sight. Lightning Fast tries to wrap back around, checks in, but doesn't expect Laz up by the window. Man, that new spot up by Icebox is just showing us so much today.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple good looks around it. I think teams around the world starting to show us there's multiple ways to work that.
सिर्फ मेरे को टाइम आउट देने के लिए राजधानी से फास्ट आते हैं.
Makes it a little harder to dig.
मैंने दिया था, मैंने.
But then you can still hold from under the window on different angles. There's a lot of ways you can use that to just plant, you know, the seed of doubt into the opponent into the future rounds.
Especially for attacking teams too, I think.
हाँ nightmare is so funny यार. बहुत जल्दी आ रही है यार. मत यार please यार इतना मत हंसाओ यार. पेट दुख जाएगा मेरा.
Invest a player to watch that spot. On the other hand, though, right now with the buys, no force from Global. In fact, they're just kind of playing these unorthodox, really close range positions. They heard something and they peeked out.
भाई क्या फुलाट पड़ी है.
The stack gets knocked down. Sugar Zero, Hiroron picking up more kills. It's all down again to Benkai.
It's an eco. You do what you have to do. Those are the plays that either it turns into greatness or you get lined up.
I don't know, like maybe you just don't peek or like hide or.
Well, you have to go for a timing, right? Because
Yeah.
I think if you're waiting, unless you have like all Buckies and such, they're gonna check. There's no way, right?
Of course.
And I mean, sometimes some teams don't, and they pay for it. But I don't mind the peek. Here's the thing: you're not supposed to win that round, so you have to throw. If you're going to commit to something like a stack like that, you got to throw a curveball. You got to go for the wild card. And yeah, it looks silly, but sometimes it looks genius. And there's a fine line. There's a fine line, but it's not a round you were supposed to win. So I think those are the times where I don't mind it. You know, you let it pass. Now you got your rifles in hand. These are where GE can start to showcase what do their defaults look like. It's going to be the two initiators on one side, the Killjoy and Viper on the other side of the map to anchor.
When you're right, Will. And here comes Polvi.
Oh, bro, almost.
Pick off and backs off with the
Almost dash GG लगा मुझे.
I mean, you already have the numbers advantage.
भाई वो walk करके वहाँ तक पहुँच गया. Oh, bro, timing कर दिया. Nice.
Steps, gets the timing on the peak. Sugar Zero continuing to push up front, manages to catch Russ, but how long can that really work out until Euron? What is the...
What just
I
happened?
can't see that. We managed to find shots with a Guardian of all things. Here come the rest of the players from Raptors though, and they are still peeking a little bit too fast, a little bit too much. It allows for Euron to pick up yet another double. 2 + 2, that equals 4.
Buddy, why are you
A
here?
great
Don't you
4K,
check the
and you see him
WhatsApps?
slowly getting that energy up.
Tell you.
Quick max.
Yeah, on
Yo.
the stage. I'll leave that
You
up to
don't
you.
check a
Not going to
WhatsApp
do any of my own
messages?
maths here.
What?
But a great round.
Oh, नहीं
from
देखा
Euron.
मैंने.
Oh, Depth smiling
मेरे
as well.
Discord
We
में
often
उधर
see him just
ये
kind of
left
being
था ना?
zoned in no matter
Oh,
what.
आओ
But the
उधर.
vibes on ZETA are
नहीं
good.
वो चले गया.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just a wraparound from
वापस
both
आएगा
teams,
तो मैं
right?
उधर
And
लेके
that's
जाते
good
हैं, ठीक है?
movement from
ठीक है.
Euron because you note that GE is trying to play around your double controllers.
यार ये राउंड कैसे नहीं आया?
They're trying to
मुझे
find
तो लगा था आ गया।
your smokes.
हाँ,
So
वो
Uran says, well, I
वाइपर उधर
gotta
निकल के
counteract
मारा
that
ना।
by
वही ना।
continuing to take over space. Once you back up, if you've already
गेम साउंड
gone for
कम
the
करना
SQ,
है। अरे
and then
अभी
you
कोई
stop
बोल
the
रहा था
momentum,
बढ़ाने
you lose
तो
control over
बढ़ाया
the
था।
entire site. You have to commit at that point, and it's good that he goes for it. You know, maybe the taunt was an overheat. We'll find out after this timeout.
Hopefully. But it's also like kind of nice to see, I mean not last, but Zeta Division taunting a little.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, I don't think it also wasn't anything too crazy. I like that he's riding the momentum. Both sides, the coaching staff.
Re-dieting भाई क्या लिख रहे हो?
यार Sherlock मुझे ZETA division के players के बाल देख के टकला feel हो रहा है।
How to adapt.
हैं?
Because it's always that
क्यों
push
भाई?
and pull again. You pull on one
उनके
side,
बाल देख
another
यार।
side gets a little bit more open, and
उनको
sometimes
notice
that,
नहीं किया यार
ना ये
मैंने।
sugar zero
But at
अभी मैं
least
बताऊँ
for
कि
this
कैमरा
round,
में दिखेगा ना
we can
नीचे।
say with
ठीक है।
absolute certainty it
Right.
should
I
be
feel
Zeta's
fault.
pickup. So the timeout being called, invested into future rounds.
Yeah, and GE, they have enough creds on Polvi to go for that operator in the next round as well. So that's something they're going for, right? Even if it's the half armor. Once you get that operator, things get a little easier.
It makes you think, right? Is this Marshall position up on top of yellow something that they want to condition Zeta into thinking? But the shot was already picked off, and the cascade just gives Zeta that much more security.
He's trying to just get one.
Whoa.
All right, just a quick reaction to that recon.
Yeah, they're trying to push off of it, distract him.
ये देख इसका बाल
Enough
देख।
investment, they've pulled the rotations over. Laz might have...
ये
Normal
इसका तो देख
तो
भाई
हाँ
ये देख।
इसका यार
This is,
थोड़ा
yeah, and this is just good timing from Laz, right? Is that you can at least secure that you'll be ready for the execute.
Oh, Ben.
And if they already did shift over, it's not like they're going to have time to flood the
ये
site
और
without
sugar
checking
zero का भी
everything.
देखना
And they
क्या
really got
होगा तो।
nothing.
But you know, you
ये
can't move
देख
from GE's
भाई।
position. I mean, I don't
यार
blame GE. This is just
normal
Laz making a
तो
great
है।
call
Yeah, it is.
from Zeta, right? You saw
नहीं,
them marching,
ऐसे
you
वो
saw them
बड़े
back up,
वाले
you saw
कैम
him
में
shoot out
दिखते
the
ना,
recon, which tells you that they want to hide information, they want to
good
try to stay
quality.
on the B site.
seconds
And now, it's just the site free.
That's exactly what I mean. Everything orchestrated perfectly to the mastermind of Carlisle or Junior
this
or
plan
Laz.
is very
The
GG.
call from it. You're on with the timing on the poison cloud towards mid
ये
as
तो
well, so that
impossible
Ben doesn't
retake
see
वो भी
देख
anything
लिया
पे
उसने
on the
डेप्थ में
crossing.
उसके छोटे
And they
छोटे
managed
पैर।
to cut noise just enough to clear out the entire site. Now,
So
a
guys,
full pistol
Raptors
plus one
are
Marshall
in, though.
retake. It is near impossible, virtually impossible for Global Esports to win. Well, even with a Reckoning too? We
you-
really want double digits, don't we?
Yeah, you have the lead. I don't mind this at all. Sure, it can seem a little crazy, but this is also a different Zeta division.
मैं सर्च नहीं
Continue the
करते तो
lead
भी
when you
इनका ही
can.
राउंड
We've
था
seen so many teams
हाँ
in
मतलब
Pacific
पूरा
last
सब
year
classics
that try
ये
to
सब
save
है।
भाई
it for the match point, save it for the grand win, and it just never happens. So why not just extend that lead just a bit further?
So decisive.
सब बॉक्स
This, again, I gotta say it. Brand new Zeta
कोई नहीं
division.
अभी अपना बाय आएगा अभी हम
Global
मारेंगे
Esports
टाइम आउट लेके
dying to
अच्छा
get that
स्टैंड
round
बनाया
loss
हम
bonus.
अच्छा बात किए हैं
But it does, again,
ऑप
extend
से
that gap,
निकालने पड़ेंगे
4-round
पॉल्वी को
differential.
पिक्स
How do we claw our way back into this? Those
Ah.
timeouts have been spent.
Well, operator is going to be surely the biggest factor, and it does look like he's going to be a B hold, whether it's on top or below. That's up to him, and I don't think Zeta's going to be too concerned one way or the other. You're going to have to check that entire lane if you want to put any pressure. The thing Zeta did in the past round, though, is that while it's smart and it's a good round to do
ये
it,
वाले
they
मरे
planted
थे
that
do
threat
not
of
give
the flank, right,
orbs
to rotate late. So now GE
the
always has to have
opponents they die
someone
to the
anchoring,
bomb
if they want to go for a stack mid-round.
Well, a bit of a guessing game this time. Zeta not able to retrieve all too much.
This is I mean, it's a great angle to hold on that far angle, but if they're coming out of garage, yeah, that flick is not an easy one. So Polvi's really playing for maximum contact and maximum info.
I don't know if Zeta's going to push all too deep into B yet, though. They're kind of guessing as to the previous rotations, the previous positions that Global Esports held. So without finding all too much this time, they're kind of assuming and setting up for that execute into A. I don't know if it's the wisest decision.
Yeah, the high tide doesn't cover all of rafters. They have to be aware of that.
मुझे लगा था ये लोग ए फेक करने वाले हैं बट इधर ही आ गए
That's good. Yura just walks up and
Nice
takes down Rush.
trade.
Lightning fast answers back though. But look at the position of the depth. He's already made it.
पहले
up on
वॉल
top
था
of
ना आई थिंक
screen.
उसके पीछे दिखाने
And
वो
with that, Sugar Zero conceals the plant, gets it through. A bit of a wall
Oh,
bang.
nice.
Doesn't quite connect, but Huron still just as good on the Guardian. Similar to Huron from before.
Surely you save. I mean, it
He's
feels
gonna-
bad,
he's
but,
gonna get
yeah,
a
but it
vandal
feels
and
bad,
for
but
the
you
round.
need this op to make anything happen in the future rounds.
Oh, he's
Left
going for
close
it.
उसको
Doesn't
पता ही
know
नहीं है।
the angle from below.
ये wall भी तो देखो कैसी
Blink
है।
spotted. Okay, now we
नहीं।
जा
see.
रहे हैं सेव करने हाँ
I mean, I
तो
think
ट्राई करता हूँ
Zeta
मैं
chase.
ठीक है चले
You
जाता
got so many creds. Trap him in.
Colby tried to
Wall
pull
ही
us.
बड़ी annoying से बनाई
I
थी
mean,
यार।
this is a Zeta who is on the hunt. They are out for blood. They find
एक
the
तो ये
shot.
ऐसा ऊपर वाला
Huron's
प्लान
already
करके भाई कोई
here.
कैसे ही जीतेगा
Oh, he heard him.
रीटेक
Nope.
में। Oh,
Well, he was ready for it, but he just wants to run away. Just wants to buy time.
bro, what the
Oh.
fuck? क्या timing हुई है?
हाँ ना वो
greatest
उस तरफ
escape.
गया ये इस तरफ गया
भाई बच्चा adjust बचा
Well, can't do
barely।
anything. It's the one ray of hope that
6-11.
G has now.
यार गोलू क्या हो गया wake up again John Wick behavior where
I
is
mean,
it
do you push out with it or?
यार बट बाइट पे मुझे इनका
It's an
समझा
option,
नहीं
but I think
सिंगल
it's an
कंट्रोलर
obvious.
वाइपर।
And I think there's got to be some sort of stack, some sort of
जीत
push
जाता है
out,
आराम से
because
डबल कंट्रोलर
even if
होता।
it's just there. Okay, they will just buy up with half armors as well. So the operator's still there. So that just means you're still able to hold this one angle. You are going to push
रस है ना
out
सक्षम
onto pipes, under actually, an over-under setup here with Russ. And at a certain point,
Let's go,
surely
Golu.
shift the weight.
Team
Very greedy
Get
from
up.
GE with Lightning Fast pushed up this far.
Oh,
No one's going to watch this back.
just hold the angle, maybe.
But he has no escape. He's going to get one. He gets the spike at the very least.
Good heads up duel, good information. The rotation's coming through,
No,
but
now the
Zeta
smokes
being
are
able to
down.
anticipate these movements is just so good. And now with that spike goes down, Blaze King tries to hold it off with the shock darts,
oh
but out in the open gets cut off by Deb, who I will not mention with the Blaze Storm. Moving forward now, still the retake's underway. You've got mid.
Oh
you've got
my
Saksham,
Silver,
thank you
not
for the
Snowman any
2000।
longer,
सॉरी जी
just
सुबह की
mid.
स्ट्रीम पे नहीं आ
Benkai
पाया।
tries to open things
मुझे
up.
बॉट
The
बना दो
Viper's
गंदा में से
been
जाने से
committed
पहले
to
डिलीट
secure
कर दूंगा।
match point.
मेरा साबुन भी स्लो नहीं है
Still
मैं
a
लाइव
good
पर
reward
यूज
to
करता
save. I mean,
हूँ।
so much to
ठीक है भाई
consider.
मॉड्स देख लो भाई।
It's this or
थैंक
match
यू
point.
सक्षम
No
थैंक यू
matter
सो
what,
मच।
you're not going to have a great round the next one, but you're not finding the early
एंड इट्स
wins.
ओके यार सुबह वाला स्ट्रीम वैसे भी थोड़ा ऑफ टाइम पे था मुझे वो तो पता ही था कम लोग ही आने वाले हैं।
Hold on to this operator. Zeta can definitely chase.
ब्रो फिर से
He should be all right. Should
हम
have
लोग
it
को ही हो
going
रहा है
off here
भाई।
soon. So the operator stays alive, and Benkai sacrifices himself for a shot at that lockdown, and he'll fill it up. But now you bought up those rifles. Obviously you had to, because otherwise it's a guaranteed match point. But it's not looking like a great round. You have the lockdown. I mean, as obvious as it can be, yeah, maybe a push out with the operator, go for a lockdown retake.
I think that's the thing. I mean, with the operator, if you're playing defensively and you don't find contact, it just kind of becomes diminishing returns, right?
They had just enough to
KJ
round
ult।
they had just enough to sacrifice a couple utility as well. Just go for the half armors. You got the Hunter's Fury too.
दिख गया
So trying to set
Nice.
the play, trying to push through, get info,
Too late.
and then fall back, set up for the retake. It's a bit risky, a little bit gambly. Rush tries to stay a second longer to find that tag, but
भाई
Not
टैग
quite
हो
able
गया
to make it
वाइलेबल
happen.
हो गया
Zeta
सब
very
होके पीछे
controlled.
भेजा इसको
getting pinged and then just holding back for a second. Laz now watching mid for any crosses. This is
देखना लास्ट का पोजीशन
this is Zeta on a
टैरेट से
whole
बच
new
के
look,
बैठा है वो
whole new
टीम
level.
में
Laz is on the move. Lightning Fast heard him.
नाइस
Gets him on the
गोलू
flank as well.
good pickup
Oh.
and then depth to come back in. The spike is
so
down. They
much
know they're
aware
good.
bro।
Everyone's in position. Not to mention Euron, who is holding such an angle.
नाइस
But good
रश
swing off
नाइस
of
Oh,
the
nice
Blaze
shot,
King
bro।
and Russ managed to shoot them down.
Ayo.
Russ trying to dance
Oh.
back and forth. The spike still
not
being
there.
defused and held.
Bro
हो गया हो गया
ब्रो
what the-
इमेजिन वो
All the way
0.1
through.
सेकंड पहले आता तो
There's a
भाई
backspace
जीजी
for
था।
Russ and Blaze King.
Okay,
भाई
so
लोग
get the round, but at what
क्या
हाँ ना
cost?
बहुत इंटेंस चल रहा है हाँ वो
dropping
तो
all
है
the
मस्त वाला।
weapons all the way to the end.
Did you buy up on the?
Oh, I mean, you have to buy whatever you can every single round now, but
I mean,
भाई
you can't
यार
afford
बहुत
full-
क्लोज
full
जा
buy,
रहा
is
है।
what I mean.
no, you can't. I mean, because you barely bought up half armor with
KO
four
ult है
rifles.
अभी ये
Now,
लोग
sure,
पे
they'll get bulldogs and
रीटेक
guardians,
में
but it's one shock dart, no fragment on Russ. Some very crucial things that
Oh.
they would want on a retake.
Well, you do have the Null Command and the Viper's Pit, but how long can you really extend this map? That is the question. 12-7 right now. All Zeta needs is 1. And they are looking mighty decisive. Depp 1 point away from the Blade Storm. Goes in to take that space up around yellow. Timing peak off of the Recon. Clears out the early half of the site.
सुन लिया उसने last का उधर.
Yeah.
So Polvi's aware that Alert
है
is
वो.
still
Alert
on the
लेके
A
ही
site. It's
आऊंगा
either him
मैं.
or Lightning Fast that can hold that. Polvi's going to leave it up to his teammate, regroup on
वो
B.
timing देखा ये पीछे आया वो अभी peek ले रहा है.
Shock darts to clear out utility or just to fend them off.
Nice Polvi.
Oh, Polvi he was ready
लूर
for it.
कर dead.
Last wanted to make it happen though. If he did,
देखा
then there
Jet पीछे
may have
देख रहा
been
है.
some
Jet
rotations.
backstab
But
देख
here
रहा है.
comes
वो
Polvi and Lightning
मेरे को
Fast
डर
now.
लग रहा है.
I don't know if Depp suspects that this is going to be a
अच्छा,
double.
देख लिया
Oh,
उसने.
Lightning just a jiggle. I don't mind it. Doesn't greed for the kill.
Oh,
But that means they're trapped in B.
exactly.
Defense knows.
They have to push up front.
पूरा
And as
info
long
है
as
तो.
Russ, Benkai, and Blaze King can defend B well enough,
Alt
they're
करके.
going to run out of time. The pressure is on.
No,
And off the
oh,
cat, and they push up.
bro,
Hero
what?
and Hero. How do they make it
भाई ये
happen?
hero round क्या
All three
देखा?
players
Yeah.
down. Depp now coming through. All that's left is Lightning
भाई ये
Fast.
तो.
And a Russ that is running out of
Ow.
battery, running out of juice.
Get out of my
Finds the angle, finds the shot, but oh
Nah,
god, Blaze Storm now
bro.
propped up. That's a tough target
ओ
to
दो
hit.
दो बार
Okay.
miss किया ये बंदा अभी.
Just a bit of a whip here and there, and then you're on
मुझे
to
लगा अब तो
secure
पूरा
the
info
final
है,
nail.
चारों आ गए, easy round.
13-7.
वो चारों वहीं
Zeta
stuck थे
division
यार.
clears this out 2-0.
उसने मार दिया.
One of the teams that just did not budge
Ah,
to make Russ
nice
for
try.
so long.
NTGE.
But they start the
Yeah.
first chapter of a story about building up talent in your own region throughout your own academy roster. I mean, today was a story of Euron and Huron. They topped the board on this map as
GG.
well.
Nah,
Both
Huron
of
तो
them
बहुत
performing quite
insane
well
बात है.
throughout this entire series. We all knew, okay, firepower upgrade for sure, but are they ready for tier 1? And Zeta says, why do you think we put them on our academy roster to begin with?
Yeah, chat. Why do you think? And this map just says it all. You saw it a
Mr.
little bit
Popo.
on Bind, but this one even more so because Yuran and Hiroran just absolutely held down their own on sites. When they pushed, they did so much. Not to mention Depp and Lazlo, who are still
He
firing.
lost so that Shiro can sleep. भाई I'm not gonna sleep. रात को सोऊंगी मैं.
They don't
सीधा.
have to hard carry every single map, and that's what a lot of people that have been cheering for the Japanese squad have hoped for. A great first showing, still a long way to go, but
Oh,
quite a
paid
convincing one
cosplay.
for Zeta Division.
Man, pressure not that hard.
Damn.
This is the new relaxed, loose, more aggressive Zeta, and it feels good. Meanwhile, for Global Esports, I mean, it's still
पोल निकाल दो अरे हाँ.
Colby, Lightning Fast.
ओ भाई पोल में guys G supporters तो
And
थे.
they can perform
Nice.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning Fast, he wanted that spot onto the main roster. He got it. He had some good moments. You call out
Hero
Polvi as
haters
well.
को
I would
block
say Russ
करके भी
actually
चुभ रहे हैं
first
what
step.
to do.
Quite a few good shots, but
हैं जी
they'll
कौन
have to
से
wait for another
haters?
day. Now it's time for an interview with our winners.
First winner for
communicate what we're actually thinking, and they
Bro, nice
understand what
shoes.
we're,
I like his
tell them a lot
shoes.
more. And especially the new kids are really strong when we're shooting each other in small numbers. So they're really good in close fights, and it was really good.
네, 개인적으로도 이 두 선수가 보이는 전략이 매우 강하고 전 팀보다 좀 더 소통이 아주 활발하고 더 이야기가 많이 되고 있어서 조금 더 쉽게 게임이 풀리지 않았나
네.
싶다고 답을 했는데요. 그러면 또 이번에 또 새로운 전략을 봤어요. 좀 차분했던 제타 디비전이 이번에는 좀 기다릴 땐 기다리고 아주 매서울 땐 또 매서운 전략을 가져갔거든요. 어떠한 변화가 있었는지 알아보겠습니다. We are seeing like new strats, you being more aggressive, also controlling the pace of the whole team. So what changes are going on your team?
今までにない作戦だったり動きみたいなのがたくさん見れたかなと思うんですけど、チーム内でどんな感じでの、作戦になったり練習が行われているんですか？
そうですね、カルラコーチが知識を持ってきてくれたり、あとはアイスボックスのリワーク入ったりして、どう戦ってくるか分かんないっていうところで、どのチームがどう戦ってくるか分かんないっていうのもがあるので、自分たちでいろいろ試しながら、強い戦い方っていうのを見つけて、この本番でうまく出せたなっていう感じですかね。
So because we have a new coach, Carlisle, he takes a lot of he brought a lot of new insight to our team, and as well, especially for Icebox, we've got Yuran doing moves that we haven't had before. And because in the situation right now, we don't know what other teams are doing at the moment because we've got no stats. But we were able to sort of figure out how to be strong on our own and figure out a way that we could become stronger without relying on the data that we don't have yet.
네, 아직 팀에 이제 막 시작
Next match
경기에
कितनी देर में
정보가
होगा?
없어서 조금 더 차분하면은 거기에서 나오는 것 같고 또 코치님이 새로 오시면서 팀 내에서 많은 영감을 주고 있기 때문에 전략도 새롭게 바뀌면서 좀 더 공격적인 면도 나오지 않았나 싶습니다. So thank you for the
अब समझ आ रहा है
interview.
मुझे.
We have the special wingman present for the fans. 네, 이제 인터뷰에 맞춰서 이제 선물을 또 팬분들에게 전할 건데요. Can you do a little sign?
Sign?
Yeah, I got a
윙만プレゼントなのでサインをお願いしますということで。
भाई मुझे भी तो ऐसे एक्सक्यूरेट का साइन करा के
You can do it wherever you want. Maybe in the
मैनू भी चाहिए है
Yeah, right there.
बेचारे समझ ही नहीं आ रहा किधर साइन करे
Oh, okay, on the back. Nice signature. And then
यार
two
गाइस तो क्या हो
bags.
गया यार मेकअप कर दिया
We have one right there. Can we
क्या
hear a shout?
मर्जी यार स्पर्श का
I
नहीं
think that
चाहिए
part is the most interesting.
एक्सक्यूरेट का
And from the
चाहिए
back also.
आसपास का चाहिए टैरिक
It's
का
up to you.
चाहिए
Yeah, you can throw it to the
どこ
fans.
に投げていい
और
好きなところや
सेकंड
る
का चाहिए
Who gets the present for last? The winner's present goes to fans in the back. Oh yeah, you can throw it to the fans. Yes.
This
Okay,
is what we
Laz was kind enough to go to the bag and give it to the fans. Okay, thank you for the interview. Wish the best luck.
नैट्स का चाहिए भाई नैट्स खो गया है भाई पता नहीं क्यों है वो लिक्विड में मतलब लिक्विड में है ठीक है अच्छे प्लेयर्स के साथ टीम बनाना ब्रो इतना इतना अच्छा प्लेयर भाई ऐसा ऐसा अच्छा नहीं
Yes, we
लगता
are now
मुझे देख के
going to
इतना
look at the
अच्छा
viewing
प्लेयर
party.
ऐसी टीम में है
Yes, there are many fans watching here and outside of Seoul.
टेंस का चाहिए ना I'm not a Tens fan. I like his gameplay, but like होता ना favorite
हाँ,
वाला
Sherlock,
fan
इन लोग
वाला.
में
Yes, for the viewing party, we
कोरियन
What?
can
एंड
see
जापानीज
fans all
दोनों
around
इतने
the
सॉफ्ट
world.
स्पोकन एंड ऐसे है दोनों एकदम अच्छा तू भाई बोल रहा है मैं भाई बोलूं अच्छा अब मैं चल के जाऊं तू पहले जा
Here's
रहा
a
है
look at fans in India, Mumbai for Global
Too
Esports.
sweet.
And the fans in South Korea.
भाई but host भी कितनी cute है.
हाँ ना कल भी बहुत क्यूट थी जेन ली ना
We can all hear shouting way back in India. It's a nice vibe y'all got having. Yes, thank you fans. And for the second match of the day, we are waiting for TS and Talon.
कल उन लोग को ये दिया था ना कल जो लेट नाइट तक रुके थे उनको पिज्जा दिया था ना इन लोग ने
Ah, क्या?
You know, the global esports
भाई,
fans,
सही
I
है।
love them. They've got so much
उनके
energy
वापस
and they just
140 हुआ
keep
जब खत्म
powering
हुआ
through no
event।
matter what
जी,
the
जी,
result.
भाई।
And honestly, global esports has some really
मैंने
good
भी
players
वो वाला
that
मैच
just
पूरा
that
नहीं देखा था, मैं
harness
चली गई थी।
energy
हाँ क्या?
and that
मैं
power
पूरा
they
देखी
have,
थी
especially
रात
with
तक।
Polvi on the team.
क्योंकि
And
मुझे
Uber,
रात
they're
को
still in the
देखना
game.
था
It's not over for
सेंटिनल्स
them
और
yet. They're
वो
just moving to the lower bracket.
हाँ नहीं
But
मैंने
Zeta
रात वाले
appears
नहीं
in a
देखे कोई भी
2-0 in this
सो जा रही 2
game
बजे
against
तक
global esports.
मैं
Comms has
10:30
clearly
बजे
been a
सो रही
huge
हूँ और
change
2:30
for
बजे उठ
Zeta
रही हूँ।
division. And
यही
that
कर रही हूँ
young
आजकल।
energy they have with the new players, that new dynamic they have there, we're seeing a fresher
भाई
Zeta.
बट बहुत
They
मस्त मैच
absolutely
थे
are.
रात
I mean,
वाले।
any concerns that we
मजा आ
had,
गया।
we were talking about at the start of the day, you know, how are they going to
मेरे
feel
को
coming
ट्विटर
out
पे
here
अपडेट्स
onto the
लेना
stage?
पड़ेगा वो
Now it's the
मैचेस
big
का
leagues. It's
क्योंकि
no
मैं
longer
सिर्फ
show
पैसिफिक
matches.
ही
It's
देख
not
रही हूँ
off-season events. Hero,
भाई
good
लाउड ने
God,
2
what
हराया
performances from them.
सेंटिनल्स
Hero,
को।
especially in
हाँ
that
क्या?
बहुत
second
मस्त
map,
खेले,
just
बहुत
coming out
मस्त।
swinging with that solo.
मुझे यही देखना था कि
Star-studded
आसपास
performance
के
from him
बिना
the
कैसा
entire way.
खेलेंगे
And
बट
seeing
भाई
Zeta
क्या स्ट्रॉन्ग खेला है।
oftentimes were
उनका नया
disadvantaged.
डुलिस
These
भी
are
अच्छा है, अच्छा खेल
DRX,
रहा
you know,
था।
last year's DRX level statistics where they're giving up these first kills, but they're still managing to clutch out the rounds in these 4v5, these 3v5s, whatever the statistic may be.
अभी
They
जी
manage
के और
to
मैचेस
come
है क्या?
out.
अभी
A
तो
lot
हो
of it
गया,
does
अभी
boil down to
नेक्स्ट
clear
उनका बाद में
communication.
होगा।
Yeah, and it just again, just kind of add to that from Huron's perspective as well. A lot of
लूजर
the
ब्रैकेट का रहेगा ना
highlights that
नेक्स्ट
he's
बाद
gotten as
में
well
होगा।
was off of just his teammates being very confident in him making that. They were baiting for him a lot. Like Depp would just go in with his blades, try to get as much impact as he can, and if he cannot, Huron is there to pick up the slack, and he does that multiple times.
मैंने तो
throughout
शर्लक
this
का
Icebox
फोटो
match.
निकाला है बट
Absolutely,
ऑटोग्राफ नहीं
totally
है
covered for Depth as well.
यार।
They
आई
played
थिंक
off
फोटो
each
इज
other
बेटर।
really, really well. Polvi,
मेरे
I
ऑटोग्राफ
mean,
को
we
क्या
gotta
करोगे
mention
यार?
that one
मैं तो
round in the very beginning.
मैं तो मामूली
Yeah, I mean,
इंसान
a
हूँ।
risky play. Global deciding to go for that force buy once
Just
again
watch
after
आसपास
dropping
रहना
yet another
highlight।
pistol, but that one it absolutely paid off. Polvi looking phenomenal when it comes down to the sniping. That that outlaw in his hand, being able to pick up the 4K was really good, and it seemed like okay, this is going to be Global rallying back. They have a solid read of how this Icebox is going to be played by Zeta, and they should be able to take the win here to try to tie things up. But that feeling unfortunately didn't last very long. Zeta, they came out swinging as soon as we swapped sides. It was just complete and utter dominance the entire way through, just basically riding that wave all the way into that 13 scoreline to be able to take it home. This was really good comfort to see from Zeta, because again, this is not a map that they have played it in a very long time, not since 2022. And
Sugar 077 Thala for a reason.
this to the forefront in a considerable amount of time, and clearly they've been workshopping it a hell of a lot. Sugar Zero as
इनका
well,
नेक्स्ट
props
मैच
to
कब
him.
है?
The
कल
scoreline
रात
might
को।
not really tell the whole
कल
picture, but
सेंटिनल्स
highlights some of the
वर्सेस
setups he's been
100
going through. Clearly,
थीव्स
he's
है
been putting some time
गाइस।
into learning this harbor, which is something that I think he's only played twice.
कल
in any
सेंटिनल्स
sort of
वर्सेस
time
100
capacity
थीव्स
coming
है
into this
हाँ।
series. So this is his third showing on that.
और लाउड वर्सेस लेवियाथन है बट वो अभी नहीं है, वो आई थिंक 3-4 दिन बाद है शायद, लंबा ब्रेक है।
With that cove, again, either to plant the spike or defuse the spike, whether it's attacking or defending.
ब्रो कल PRX का भी
They
मैच
played
है।
around that so well that you saw how pressed Global Esports was just to kind of counteract that, and it still didn't pan out for them.
I'm really excited to see the matchup between Bleed and GE now, because I think
अच्छा
both
T1
teams
का
are
Zeta के
ones
साथ
that show
होगा।
that there is a
Oh.
foundation here, but it needs to be built up more. So who can have a faster construction job here, I guess is kind of the question. Is it going to be Bleed? Can they get things together? Can they find those pop-offs from Ye? Are they going to pivot their strategy? And Global, can they continue to build
अरे
up
तुम
what we just
नहीं
saw?
देखा ना
Because I think
शर्लॉक कल
if they fine-tune
रात वाला
all
जो
of the
सेकंड
things that
मैच
we're
था
seeing,
ना,
they absolutely can have
तो
success. One of the things that I'm
उसमें
going to be curious
उन
to
लोग
track is
वो
do they
टॉयज ऐसे दे रहे
continue
थे ना साइन
trying to
करके,
run this
तो
solo Viper controller
रात
that
को
we
ना
now
एकदम ज्यादा
see
लोग
for
थे
2
ना,
maps
वो
in a row?
पीछे
Is it
जहाँ
going to
लास्ट
be
ने भी
Russ
दिया ना,
continuing
उधर एक
to
क्राउड
run
था
this KO
और
where other
सबसे
teams
आगे में ना
still
2
are
लड़कियां
kind of
बैठी थी,
straying
ठीक है,
over
तो
towards
उसको बोला
Divers?
वो टॉय देने के लिए, पीछे वाला ग्रुप फुल ये वो करके चिल्ला रहे, ये जाके सामने वाले 2 लड़कियों को टॉय
क्या बुरा लगा होगा भाई।
We're like, I keep saying in any of these matches, it's just super exciting.
ऐसे ही होता है।
Zeta, you already
मैं बोला यार थोड़ा तो मतलब रात को 2 बजे तक बेचारी लड़कियां रुकी है, उनको थोड़ा टॉय कुछ पर्क्स तो होती है यार लाइफ में, एंजॉय करने दो।
सही बात है। एलियाब्लो वर्सेस जी वर्सेस ब्लीड है भाई। अच्छी फीलिंग नहीं आ रही है।
really big showing in that first series.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I would love to see, because I think both teams are very happy to play on the map, is Lotus. But after seeing
नेक्स्ट मैप कौन सा है?
apart Bleed yesterday, Is that something that you still feel comfortable on? Does this identity of ZETA
चलो भाई लड़के भी रुके थे,
नेक्स्ट
उनके लिए
मैप
सुबह
कौन?
थोड़ी ना हुई थी.
हाँ
नेक्स्ट
तो मैं
मैप.
वही बोली ना कि कुछ पर्क्स होते हैं, पर्क्स ऑफ
हाँ.
मतलब उसने देखा कि 2 लड़कियां सामने बैठी है, उनको टॉय दे के आता हूँ, तो वो कुछ पर्क्स होती है लाइफ में, एंजॉय करने दो यार. लाज ने दिया ना अभी पीछे जाके, पीछे वाले ग्रुप को. दैट इज लाइक बैक स्टेज फॉर देम. ये स्टेज ना इस तरफ फेसिंग है, तो उधर जो क्राउड बैठा है ना, दैट इज लाइक पीछे का तरफ. तो अभी हम जिस तरफ से देख रहे हैं ना, लाइक वी आर द मेन ऑडियंस. सामने जो मेन क्राउड बैठा है ना, वो वाले
उधर
सीट्स
से
लाइक
है.
बैक सीट टाइप सीट्स. हाँ
नाइस. ये अंकी है ना. हाँ ये फनी था भाई, फुल फ्लैश में वो ऐसा कूद रहा है. फिर कितने टाइम में मैच स्टार्ट होगा? और दूसरा टीम का है ना, अभी तो लगेगा आई थिंक 10 मिनट्स. 10 मिनट्स भी नहीं, अभी तो हो गया काफी देर. हाईलाइट्स दिखा रहे हैं ना 5-7 मिनट्स.
सोच के पॉली उधर स्मोक डाला रिवाइव करने को केओ को. इतने में उसने पीक लेके सारे उड़ा दिए.
Yeah, master please. I don't think I can comment on that. Do. 6 मिनट. यार अभी पता है, पहले DRX का होना चाहिए था. मुझे DRX का मैच देखना था. टीम सीक्रेट में और कौन है जेरेमी के अलावा? मुझे याद ही नहीं आ रहा है टैलन और इसका रोस्टर. माई कैट लेला क्यूटर देन VCT एंकर. ठीक है. भाई मन कर रहा है ऐसे मस्त लेट जाओ. ही.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings. फिर एक माउस गिफ्ट हो जाता तो यार. देखो सार्थक मेरे पे है, वैसे तो मुझे जरूरत नहीं है, बट तुम्हें फिर भी करना है तो ओके. अब मैं मना तो नहीं कर सकती ना. ठीक. हाय वैभव वाईटी.
Red Bull gives you wings.
कब आ रहा है मेरा गिफ्ट? आई विल वेट. ये क्या देखना पड़ रहा है यार इनको? वैसे तो एड बोलते हैं.
Hello VCT fans, I'm
आपको नहीं पता है तो.
excited to introduce Valorant Champions Tour Pacific 2024. Last Last year's VCT Pacific run was amazing, with our players showing their unreal potential on the global stage. This year, there are big exciting changes coming up.
Okay.
Here are the updates and everything you need to know about VCT Pacific 2024.
This is loud. Why you crying? Don't cry. यार तब तक कुछ और देखते हैं यार, बोर हो रहा है। फिर करी फिर से आ गया। अच्छा नहीं, शायद सुबह से ही बैठा था।
February 17th in Seoul. VCT Pacific is split into 3 stages: Kickoff, Stage 1, and Stage 2. 2 Masters events are held in between each stage, and champions will begin in
Guys, कुछ
August.
सजेस्ट करो ना देखने के लिए।
VCT Pacific Kickoff will be split into 3 phases. The first phase is a GSL format where teams are separated into 3 groups.
Why
and the
model
team
is
to
the
come out in the
finest
first stage
share?
group goes straight to the playoffs.
Oh
3
yeah.
teams who finish second will play in a
9
single
minute
round
का
robin
video।
where the winner joins the playoffs in a single elimination format. After the intense battle during VCT Pacific
कल
Kickoff,
सैन
2
हार
teams
जीत
will
का
advance to
या
Valorant Masters Madrid. Now let's look at
चलो
VCT
साल तक
Pacific
अस्सी का
Stage
चूहा
1.
ना भेज दे भाई, मैं केस कर
Team will be
दूंगी।
split into 2 groups of 5 alpha teams and 6 omega teams. Alpha teams will fight against the omega teams in a single round robin. The top 3 teams who emerge from each group advance to the playoffs and will play in a double elimination bracket. Here, the top 3 teams will be
भाई
punching
पूरे
it
फील्ड में
to
सबसे अच्छा
Valorant.
भाई ये दिख रहा है भाई, सबसे अच्छा भाई एक ही दिख रहा है।
VCT Pacific Stage 2 has the same format as Stage 1, but this time the alpha teams will compete against each other in their own group. Same goes for the omega teams. The top 6 teams with the best performance over the course of Stage 1 and Stage 2 will make it through to the VCT Pacific Stage 2 playoffs. The top 3 teams in playoffs and the 1 team with the highest championship points will earn their
Red Bull
ticket to
gives you
Valorant Champions.
wings, Red Bull gives
Championship
you
points are a fresh addition
wings।
to the VCT
यार कुछ अच्छे
ecosystem in
दिख ही नहीं रहा है।
2024. Teams will earn championship points to qualify for Valorant Champions at the
यार
end of the
कुछ
year.
सजेस्ट करो
Teams
ने,
earn 1 point whenever they win a match
कुछ
during Stage
सजेस्ट
1 and
करो
Stage 2.
ने।
They earn 3 points if they win Kickoff or Stage 1. Teams will also earn 3 points whenever they win a Masters event.
फिर भाई का विंगमैन लिस्ट देखा हुआ
Who
है।
have been the most consistent throughout the year.
अच्छा विंगमैन हाँ देखा तो हुआ
The
है।
best of the best will come out on top. The tide is rising and teams will collide and define their destiny in Valorant Champions Tour Pacific 2024. We'll see you all in Seoul, South Korea.
लिक्विड वर्सेस फनाटिक 1v1 चैलेंज ये कब हुआ? Oh shit, I'll watch this later. अब खेल लिया था यार रात को ही। रहेगा 24 hours saying yes। पता है ये सेम वीडियो मैं अभी 1-1.5 महीने पहले भाई को बोली थी कि भैया saying yes चैलेंज करेंगे, बस कंफ्यूज हूँ कि आपके साथ करूँ या मम्मा के साथ। फिर मेरा भाई दिल्ली चला गया, वो वीडियो ही नहीं हो पाया।
सो हे गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज हम करने वाले एक नया वीडियो, नया चैलेंजिंग वीडियो, क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है मेरे लिए। अपनी बहनों को हाँ बोलना। चाय बना रहा हूँ मैं आपके लिए। चाय की शक्ल देख के मुझे लगा देखिए एक बार। देख रहे हो आंटी क्या करा रही है?
सुन सुन सुन, तेरे को वहाँ बोलना है टेबल फॉर 3 स्पेशली 1 फॉर क्वीन अमीशा।
दही खाना कैसे लगा?
वो ऐसे ना फिंगर है, तुम हाथ करना भाई।
दीदी यार आप क्यों यस बोल रही है? मेरे को यस बोलना है। अंदर आए। मैंने सोचा दीदी मैंने तेरे को शायद आज तक तंग नहीं करा। हाँ? तो देख दीदी अभी के 1-1:30 बज रहे हैं, तो मैं कल तेरे को 1-1:30 बजे तक हाँ बोलता।
जो मर्जी बोल।
हाँ तेरे को जो मर्जी मेरे से कराना है, मेरे को रोड पे लिटवा दे।
मैं रोड पे लिटवा दूं।
खुद ही आइडियाज दे रहा है।
यार ऐसे तो मत कर। नहीं फिर वीडियो कैंसिल।
नहीं ठीक है, बाय।
यार देख कर लेंगे यार, डांस वांस नहीं करेंगे।
मैंने सोचा हुआ है क्योंकि मुझे कल वो नेल पेंट नेल्स बहुत पता नहीं कैसे से हो गए। हाँ क्या, और एक तो मूठियाँ भी खाली लगी, तेरे को लग रहा कि कम लग रही है
अंगूठियाँ? हाँ तो आपका हाँ बोलने वाला हूँ 24 घंटे तक, ठीक है? आप अपना प्लान पूरा दिन का प्लान आउट करने।
चाय बना ले पहले तो।
वो अलग है परिचय, वो भी मैंने सोचा है करने।
चाय तो पीती हूँ, चाय बना।
यार 1 बज गए दीदी।
मैंने अपने
मैं से चाय बनाऊँ ना?
नहीं, पहली बात मेरी चाय में चाय पत्ती बहुत नहीं होनी चाहिए और पानी नहीं होना चाहिए और चीनी ज्यादा।
पानी नहीं होनी चाहिए तो चाय कैसे बनेगी?
ये ठीक कर दे।
नहीं खराब तो जानबूझ से करा गया।
अरे
ये खराब जानबूझ से करा गया है। आप अगर ऐसे में से काम,
मैं सोई थी ऐसे हो गया भाई, ठीक कर उसको।
मेरा क्या है बता देना, ठीक लगे तो।
हाँ मिलो देख तो ठीक से।
हाँ
लिप बाम दे दे फिर चाय बना ले लियो। थैंक यू।
अभी कहीं जाना है, लिप बाम लगाने?
हाँ, चाय पीने से पहले लिप ड्राई।
चाय बनाऊंगा।
और सुन,
हाँ।
सही नहीं होगी तो मैं पीऊंगी।
गजब बेइज्जती। अच्छी बनाता हूँ मैं चाय। आगे चाय बनता है इसमें। इसमें बनने के लिए हमें चाहिए दूध। पहले हम डालेंगे पानी।
आपको मालूम है कितना डालना है?
क्या पानी कौन डालता है?
मैं चाय बना रहा हूँ, आपको पीनी है?
क्या?
एक्चुअली मेरे को वैसे है।
चाय बनाने के लिए पहले पानी लेते हैं ना, फिर उसमें अदरक डालते हैं, चाय पत्ती डालते हैं, फिर उसको उबालते हैं, फिर उसमें दूध डालते हैं, फिर उबालते हैं, फिर एंड में चीनी डालते हैं। ऐसे तो बनती है चाय।
बेटा कि सब में कोई ऐसी बोले। अरे को तो गिर गया।
मत पकड़ो मम्मी, आप तुम्हारा बेटा बनाएगा उनको।
तो बहुत टाइम लगा रहा है यार।
नहीं सॉरी,
मैं पीनी नहीं।
कर रहा हूँ बना रहा हूँ। अरे नहीं अच्छी बनेगी यार।
इतने टाइम में नहीं पीनी है मेरे को। सिला जलाना है दूध की। आग में लगा दी भाई।
थोड़ी देर के लिए दूध गर्म करना है ना।
फिर चाय पत्ती डाल दियो, ठीक है? हैं? और बता दूं? और फिर ऐसे छान दियो।
तो दो पत्थर, 2 स्पून।
नहीं 4 कप है ना?
हाँ। पापा चाय पियोगे? टोपी पहनो, कान ढके नहीं हो।
1 से थोड़ी ज्यादा डाल दो।
4 डाल दो।
हाय कुछ
4 डाल दी।
चीनी ना?
हाँ। चाय पत्ती
नहीं
दबाना था।
ये योगान से जो तुम लिख रहे हो मुझे नहीं पता ही क्या है, किसका वीडियो है। सो या
हाँ? चाय पत्ती 4 पी।
टाइम लगेगा।
नहीं ला रहा हूँ आपके लिए बस।
कितने देर से बन रही है? 10 मिनट हो गए यार।
अभी 2 मिनट पहले खोला ना।
तू डिले कर रहा है, फिर बाकी चीजें जो मुझे
डिले नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं।
डरा नहीं डिले।
चीनी पूछ रहा है यार।
तुम्हें चीनी चाय पागल पगला तो 2 कप पी ले। 2 कप पी ले।
वीडियो कॉल रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है।
ऐसी चाय बना दो, ऐसा हो जाएगा। ये वाला
नहीं होगा ऐसा।
चाय बन गई है आपकी।
तेरी चाय की शक्ल देख के मुझे लग रहा है, देखिए एक बार मुझे ठीक लग रही है यार।
तो ये चाय मैंने मम्मी से डलवाई है नीचे, वरना गिर जाती तो बहुत दिक्कत होती।
मैंने दूसरे कप में।
भाई जस्ट लाइक मी फॉर रियल। मैं चाय बना भी देती हूँ ना, मैं भैया मम्मी को बोलती हूँ कि चाय छान दो, मुझसे गिर जाएगी। ये गैस ही है।
अरे गेस्ट आएंगे घर में।
चल लेने कोई नहीं। भाई हो गया पर्व। पी ली भाई।
आप कैसी बनी है चाय?
अच्छी
ठीक है। अभी
गाड़ी
आप
है।
समझ रहे हैं?
नहीं मेरे पे गाड़ी पता है।
हाँ।
वो धुलनी नहीं है। 4 दिन हो गए। 4 दिन हो गए, रोज जाती हूँ देखती हूँ मिट्टी। तो फिर चलो 4 दिन से चिड़िया कम बीट।
ये फंस गया।
तो योगान I don't know that person, no, I cannot watch his content.
कर लो ना। प्रेशर दे रही है आप मेरे को।
ऐसा नहीं होता कि पहले पानी फेंकते हैं फिर साफ करते हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता।
देख रहे हो आंटी क्या करा रही है?
मेरी टायर में ना कल गोबर लग गया था, मैं छोड़ बिहार गई थी। पर अगर एक भी स्क्रैच लगा ना, वीडियो में हट के बोल रही हूँ।
नहीं ला दूंगा। भाई साहब पत्थर डाले हुए इसमें किसी ने। जंगल में जाती थी क्या? फिर बोलते साफ करने
अरे
के
भाई काम कर।
बस इतना अमीर बनना है कि गाड़ी पे स्क्रैच आ जाए गलती से साफ करते हुए तो नई गाड़ी गिफ्ट कर दूं ऐसे। बस
करने वाले इतना बोलते नहीं है, ठीक है? काम कर रहे हैं, मन से कर।
यार इतनी गंदी गाड़ी कर रखी थी, देखने में लग रही है साफ थी। चिड़ियाओं ने ना। गाइस आप लोगों को चाहिए पार्ट 2 सेइंग यस टू माय ब्रदर।
हां वैसे सार्थक नहीं हुई ना साफ। चल ठीक है।
उठा ले रे देवा। ये कोलगेट थूका किसी ने?
हां कर दो ना ऊपर।
कल चिड़िया वापस आएंगी।
अरे पानी मेरे में पड़ रहा है।
सॉरी।
मेरी गाड़ी साफ हो चुकी है, मतलब अभी नहीं हुई उस हिसाब से, बट अब मैं इतना रहम करूंगी क्योंकि मुझे अगला भी काम देना है। पड़ा हमको। ओह नो। क्या करा तूने? सॉरी बोल।
सॉरी यार वो
चलो।
आपकी गाड़ी साफ, खुश हैं आप?
हाँ
ठीक है। अब आपको कुछ और चाहिए?
अब मेरे को चलना है, हमें चलना है मॉल। तो कपड़े डिसाइड करियो, बैठ जाओ। ब्लैक पहन लो।
मैं हाँ पहन। हाँ जैकेट। हाँ
जैकेट है। जैकेट तो प्रेस करने की नीड नहीं है, जीन्स आप प्रेस कर दो।
मैम प्रेस लेकर। ये लाइट जल रही है मतलब और है ना। अब सर पे बैठी ना तो प्रेशर।
किस चीज का?
कि मेरे से कुछ गलती हो तो आप देख लेंगे।
कहाँ बैठूं?
चली जाए। मतलब बैठी नहीं।
तमीज है नहीं। पर ये तूने क्या किया?
कर रहा हूँ ना, आप जाएं।
फिर कैसे जलने की बदबू आ रही है यार?
वो आप जल रही है मेरी वीडियो।
यार ऐसे प्रेस कोई नहीं।
भाई आप चली जाएंगी यार, मेरे को प्रेशर हो रहा है। अभी आपको कहीं जीन्स में दिख रही है?
नहीं कहीं दिख रही।
तो अभी आप इसको पहन लें।
आप चेंज कर लो, मैं चेंज कर लेती हूँ, फिर मेकअप कर। हो गया रेडी?
हाँ।
प्लेसेस कहाँ?
मैं तो ऐसे ही बोलने वाला हूँ आपको।
मैं थोड़ा इसको तो निकाल, इतने भी नॉलेज नहीं है। ठीक है मैं रेडी हो गई हूँ। अपना कोई पर्स कैरी नहीं करना, ठीक है? लिपस्टिक भी मिल गया। चलो थैंक यू।
चले।
Do you wanna come round now? Say around 5:30. Stay until the morning, then I carry on and live my hollow life. Did you really take my soul? And then you left a hole. Shot me in the late night, bleeding out in plain sight.
शॉपिंग करी पर पहले तो मैंने तुम लिपस्टिक दिया जरा दियो मुझे
ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ दीदी यार तेरा
ये ऑटोमेटिक आ रही है ना कौन सी गियर चेंज करनी है
अरे भैया स्टीयरिंग व्हील तो पकड़ना होता है टेस्ला थोड़ी देर लाया था मैं
अभी मेरे को भूख लगी है चल तो ऊपर देख
पहले प्रमोशन दे
अरे प्लीज बोल ले एक बार
प्लीज मेरे को एक बार फोन लेना है और वो फोन
ठीक लेसेस खुल गए टाइट बांधना पहले बांधो और टाइट से खुलते ही नहीं
Did you really take my soul? And then you left a hole. Shot me in the late night, bleeding out in plain sight, running with the heart you stole.
मेरे को
कौन से में से खाना है
ऊपर चल के डिसाइड करता जाओ फॉलो मी तो अभी हम सोशल चल रहे हैं तू मत बता कहाँ चल रहा है सुन तेरे को वहाँ बोलना है टेबल फॉर 3 स्पेशली 1 फॉर क्वीन अमीशा
मारेंगे ना
नहीं
टेबल फॉर 3 स्पेशली फॉर क्वीन अमीशा चाहिए स्पेशली फॉर क्वीन अमीशा आपको डेस्पेक्ट क्वीन अमीशा
यस
आप क्वीन से पूछ लीजिए मैं
यार वो उसकी शक्ल ऐसी थी
आपका आ चुका खाना भैया
सब कर दिया
हाँ जी स्पाइसी आ रही है तो गाइस खाते हैं इसके बाद कुछ प्लान है आपने कुछ सोचा मन में
टाइम जोन शॉपिंग
भाई इस वीडियो में जो सब हो रहा है वो तो मेरा भाई नॉर्मली करता है मेरे लिए व्हाट इज दिस
क्वीन से पूछते हैं क्वीन को पूछिए हमारी क्वीन है
मतलब ये क्वीन नहीं भाई ये
आप इनसे पूछिए जो भी आएगी ना क्वीन से ही पूछना है हमारी आज की क्वीन तो गाइस हम आ चुके हैं टाइम जोन में दीदी आपको
खाना सर्व करना लेसेस बांधना
आपको टिकट लेना सबसे
मिनिमम
तो पहले कौन सा गेम खेलना है
पहले वो टेडी बियर वाला ओए ऐसे पकड़ के तेरे को मार दूं फिर सर पे बोलो गलती से लग गया एक भी नहीं जाएगा पता है
आराम
नेक्स्ट
से
टाइम टेबल फॉर क्वीन शर्लॉक
मारना एक बार मैं करूं मैं क्या एम करूं सही में एम क्या करूं इसमें
एक क्या कर और एक ला दे बस
मार आराम से एक करके मार एक करके मार इसको हल्का सा भी रुके नहीं है कि इसने इतना गंदा खोला है इसको कुछ परवाह नहीं है चली गई है ना हम क्या बोले कहाँ जा रही है
कुछ नहीं करवाती खुद से करता है
ये तो कतई नहीं होने वाला कतई नहीं होने वाला हाथ मार दिया रिस्की था ये भी जीत गए हम लोग
नहीं अब शॉपिंग करना तो
ये लो भैया तो इसको मॉल के अंदर नहीं जाना भैया की दुकान देगी मॉल के बाहर ही
मजा नहीं आया
मजा नहीं आया तो मजा नहीं आया
मजा नहीं आया मतलब वैसे कुछ पसंद नहीं आया
तो अभी
ज़्यादा चलते हैं फिर घर चलते
टेबल रानी शिरोमती व्हाट द फक
वो कुछ पसंद नहीं आया यहाँ पे मैं आगे बैग देख रही हूँ
अच्छा।
MK दिख रहा है अरे पता करना भाई हेल्प करना
हाँ अरे मैं कर रहा हूँ अच्छा वो थोड़े बहुत पैसे बच गए बैग भी नहीं मिले मैं वैसे ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ
यार हमेशा दी ने ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करवाया यार
तू तो ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर कर ले आ जाए यार पहुँच गई हैं आप आराम से सोया आपने सो लिया ऑर्डर कर लिया
अभी तो कुछ पसंद नहीं आया वहाँ पे भी पैर में दर्द हो रहा है यार पता नहीं क्या हो गया बिल्कुल ना सुबह से घूमते
उम्र हो गई है यार
तो बस आज का मैं लास्ट टास्क दूंगी हम बाहर से आ गए हैं चेंज कर लिया है उसके बाद ये चैलेंज हम कंप्लीट कर लेंगे चैलेंज बहुत अच्छा गया पूरा दिन बहुत अच्छा गया पर पैर बहुत दर्द हो रहा है
पैर आप
वो ऐसे ना फिंगर है मसाज करना भाई असली तोड़ देगा यार थैंक यू सो मच
आपने नहीं 24 घंटे कल दोपहर तक बचे हुए
2 बजे तक
हाँ, हाँ।
1 बजे तक ठीक है भाई पर नहीं हो गया इनफ था सुबह चाय और पिला दियो बस और नाश्ता खिला दियो ठीक है
मेरे को बता देना मैं सामने रूम में हूँ मेरे को जो काम बोलेगी मैं फटाफट पट करके आ जाऊँगा
A few moments later.
देखा woke up at 2 PM ये था भाई सबसे रियल पार्ट पूरे वीडियो का वेरी रियलिस्टिक
그래서 이번에
헬로 브로.
탈론과 TS가 다시 대결을 하게 됐는데요. 어떤 감정이 드는지 묻겠습니다. 왜냐면 저번 시즌에는 첫 경기에서 이제 TS가 이겼거든요.
Bro, start karo bro.
whole different team, a whole new staff, whole new everything. So we're just focused.
ये क्लॉ मशीन से एक बार मैंने 100 उड़ा के 10 की डेयरी मिल्क निकाली थी मैंने उसमें से बहुत क्यूट टॉय निकाला था
때문에 더욱더 재미난 경기를 할 수 있을 것 같다고 답변을 들었습니다.
Which car you have? यार मेरी पर्सनल कार तो मैंने अभी तक ली नहीं है I would like to say I don't have
I
one
think it's really unfortunate for me because I was formerly GM. I hired Warbirds. I have a lot of love for Warbirds and the players, me and Jesse Vash. I love the ownership of Warbirds.
Continue कर रहे हो एक बात देखते हैं
So it's unfortunate that my first matchup have the same people I like.
Ramesh Pal Singh रहेगा being a good boy.
감독과 개인적으로
जा.
친분이 있고 전에도 함께 있었기 때문에
भाई मैं वो वीडियो बना रही थी ना और मैंने भैया को बताया, भैया की शक्ल पे जो यू ऐसे चमकी है उसकी शक्ल खुशी के मारे कि पूरी कसर निकालूंगा तेरे से तो मैं काम करवा के। खुश हो गया था वो एकदम, बट वो वीडियो ही नहीं बना पाई मैं, वो चला गया दिल्ली।
Yep, so a lot of it was just focusing on ourselves. There's new
मैं तो इमेजिन कर करके ही डर गई थी कि ये क्या क्या करवाएगा मुझसे।
on us and trying to draw what little we can from like solo queue and stuff like that.
새롭게 바뀐 맵과 전략들이 많기 때문에 우리 팀 자체에 집중하는 것에 더 핵심으로 삼았다고.
मैंने आज तक बस डेयरी मिल्क निकाली है, छोटा था तब बहुत मनाया कि मम्मी को बोलता था।
I had a little bit of an advantage because I'm so close with them. So for our perspective, we basically just focus.
वो वीडियो तो बनती है ना, वो थोड़े ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए वापस आए इधर तब बनाऊंगी।
Trying to be a little bit more tricky than normal, so I'm very curious to see if you can
Which
figure
car
this
your
out.
father have?
네, 월버드 감독과 좀 친분이
Bento and
좀더 맥픽에 집중을 했는데요.
Nexon.
좀 다양한 맥픽에 대해서 TS가 어떻게 반응할지 또 TS는 어떤 걸 준비했을지 좀 궁금하다는 답변을 받았습니다. Yeah, we're all excited for the upcoming match, but do you have anything to say to each other?
यार गर्मी लग रही है आज फिर से।
You are still the homie.
Be right back guys, बहुत गर्मी लग रही है।
Today's not your day.
네, 좀 친한 친구지만 오늘만큼은 좀 어려울 것 같다고 경고를 했는데요. And for Warburgs?
Yeah, I love a lot of the people on the team, but I'm sorry we got to take it today.
I respect it.
네, 저 친분은 인정하지만 오늘만큼은 아닐 것 같다고 두 팀이 이제 피스트 펌프과 함께 경고를 날렸네요. Thanks for the interview, both coaches. The best of luck
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
team.
अब तो फूफू करो। यार मैंने शॉर्ट पहन लिया, मैंने वार्मर पहन रखा था पहले।
I'm really excited for this. That was so cute. The little banter between the coaches. I didn't realize how close they were. But of course.
This is like when you are in like a minor
Come on,
baseball
bhai.
league and your brothers on the other team.
Start pro,
and
start
play against
pro.
each other. That's kind of what the vibes felt like between that one. I think I need to get in there and maybe coach both of them on their smack talk, because some of that was a little bit weak. But I think maybe they're trying to be.
ये लोग क्या बीमार है क्या?
But you know, all's fair in love and war. But I'm really curious to see how this one's going to go down, because I mean, like Frost was kind of alluding to there, it says that we have.
वो लोग वहीं से खेल रहे हैं।
As long as that's not triple duelist nonsense, then I'm all for it. I'm very curious to see what kind of tricks they do have prepared, if they have a solid read on Team Secret.
Yeah, at least for me, I'm just doing another one of my guesses where I feel like how I mentioned about how Envy's going to be the big star player here for Team Secret. It's going to be
इधर मैं इतना big AC हूँ फिर भी करने
Talon, when
लगे
I saw
हैं।
them in Clash of Nations, and thankfully I was
Hater हो ना
one of
तुम।
the talents that was covering that. They really put a lot of emphasis on Governor. Granted, that was a couple of months ago, so it might have changed within that span of time. But they really put a lot of emphasis on how very aggressive this import from North America is, and could be playing through that strength coming into this one, because again, I don't really feel
I'm
like
good,
Sherlock
yaar,
has really
Mani.
proven
Don't
himself
worry.
from last year specifically.
Whoa. Sorry.
I was just going to say a little bit bold. I mean, I don't necessarily fully disagree with you, but I mean, Jeremy did also have plenty of highlight moments. I mean, one of the, maybe the fastest A's of all time with that play on Haven, which, of course, with the draft coming up, we should mention, of course, the Haven is not in the pool anymore for Secret.
True.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we were talking about this, Haven being such an incredible map for Team Secret. What kind of maps are we expecting this time around?
Which team is
Again, I'm just
winning?
looking at my memory on
The
what Team
team
Secret was known for before
whose
Haven. It was
name
buy
starts
and
with
split.
T.
So if they can maybe gravitate towards that, but again,
Will
with the
win
addition of
this
NTG,
match.
them being a 5-man roster now, there's so many other things that they can focus on that maybe they have another, some different maps. I did remember the last tournament that Team Secret did play, and this is the reason why I am still kind of up in the air about what statistics I have for them in terms of maps, is they only played Haven in that one particular tournament, only Haven. And when it went into a best of 3, that's when they only changed up, because, you know, there were more maps to play.
Yeah, well, maybe it was on purpose.
It
right?
probably was.
It was last month or weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they would make such a decision.
I think this Haven, you know, Haven being out of the pool.
अरे आयुष मुझे लगा स्टार्ट हो रहा है अब तो हो रहा है ना
The cruise especially comes to mind. Also take place on Haven.
प्लेयर्स तो आ गए ना
Sneaking around out of A main, gets himself into window and just mows
होने
down
वाला है
three
अब
people in
स्टार्ट
B. That was also a fairly comfortable map for them, but I think widely, I'm not sure what to expect whatsoever from Talon because as far as I'm concerned, the slate is wiped clean. Last year, I don't think it's harsh of me or unfair of me to say was a bit
on a
spotted.
mission to reach Champions 2024. Here to take the winner's ticket, it's Team Secret.
ओ बोलकुम भी है बोल देती एनडीजी जेस Hi Alam Gamer.
Unique strategies and witty techniques. The Pacific Jesters are back with reinforcements. Ladies and gentlemen, Talon Esports.
Crow ban governor. Governor Talon. मेरे को नहीं पता भाई गवर्नर टालन में पहले से था मेरे को पता ही नहीं था ये चीज डेली शॉर्ट्स तो आ रहे हैं यार क्या बात कर रहे हो
As both teams are here, we'll begin the map veto for the second match of today.
फन था ना पहले
We'll be doing a
अरे हाँ सर्फ होता था ना इसमें तो सर्फ कहाँ है
Heads will be Talon and tails will be Team Secret. So it's going to be tails.
Team Secret जीत गया
Get into this one. See where exactly we're going to end up. Talon does have the first ban. A lot of curiosity about this because, as I was saying before the walkouts came through, I think widely the slate from last year should be wiped clean because it's a very different team, very different coaching staff, and a very different identity here. So Icebox does get taken away. And you were referencing, Asarai, that split might be a comfort pickup here for the side of Team Secret, but they're actually banning it away.
Yeah, now that I've actually gone and checked my notes, Team Secret's, yeah, there we go. Last year's most highest win rate map for them during Pacific League was actually a set. It was the only map where every single time they played it for like 5-7 games ever since has been all wins. So makes a lot of sense and happy to see it's there. But
आज फाइनली हमें सनसेट देखने मिलेगा यार 2-0 होने वाला है
spread out this
you know ये सल देख रहे हो नो यार I'm watching VCT
this map in a long time so everything is up in the air for this one.
The Lotus is another one I'm a little bit surprised to see Secret ban away because they did have some very solid proficiency and you know Jesse Bash's just him opting to run that Sova on that map every single time was catching teams off guard a lot of times when it came down to his timings of the darts and whatnot. And not everybody really understood his timings nor his lineups that he was going to have on that. They take it away to leaves Sunset out in the open for them. So it would be a debut for both of the teams on that map here in VCT. So if this one ends up going the distance, which I have a strong feeling that it very well could, and then we'll get to see how
मेरी साइडर मैप में हर बार सनसेट क्यों है? कोई बैन नहीं कर रहा, कोई पिक नहीं कर रहा।
going back to Ascent is, again, this is where we would see
पर अभी तक सनसेट हुआ नहीं ना ये वाले VCT में।
So what is the comfort going to look like for Jeremy now?
I don't think I've ever seen him op as well, so that's
हुआ क्या guys एक भी मैच सनसेट?
definitely see if he's picked up the sniper or he's just
मैंने जितने मैचेस देखे अभी तक तो नहीं हुआ।
A raise, and then there's some kind of iteration that's different from what we saw last year that they're going to be bringing into Ascent. Another thing I just wanted to add real quick on
स्प्लिट भी नहीं हुआ। अब भी स्प्लिट हो तो गया पागल, तली लाउड ने खेला है।
How big of a map that is, and he's going to be maybe soloing sites as that Sentinel. They could be looking at to spread him thin and try to make him the weak.
Sorry लाउड ने नहीं।
On that breeze back.
But I mean, it is just another one.
लाउड अरे लाउड ने भी खेला है और लेवियाथन ने भी खेला है।
You know, outlaw, whatever it may be, having that long-range, scoped-in gun, it's going to find value for you almost no matter what. So, Secret need to be prepared to try to pilot around that one because you can be damn sure that we are going to be seeing that very likely in his hands as well.
बहुत देर हो गई थी ना।
Well, the first
खाया तुमने lunch?
map is going to be Breeze.
नहीं, मैंने
I mean,
breakfast
like you
किया
guys
था।
said, what I'm very curious about the team comms is Team Secret going to lean heavily into the comfort picks. I expect Jesse to remain, you know, the Sova king as he is.
Especially on this map,
कल
you
second
pretty
game
much have to go for that one. The Sova still finds
अच्छा।
an immense amount of value. I mean, even just
अच्छा हाँ जेनजी वाला
we had
सनसेट था यप
Breeze
यप।
is the opening map between Bleed and T1. We saw those Sovas on either side from the likes of Crazy Guy and Carpe. So I think that it would be the most shocking thing if we go into Breeze and Jesse Vesh is not playing that Sova. But it's more about what is going to be going alongside it. Is it going to be Jet? How many other teams have been fooling around with trying to make this Yoru work?
Hello,
We
bro,
also saw an immense
finally.
amount of impact yesterday from Izu. Is that something that Talon have up their sleeve? They said that they have been messing around with some stuff. They've got some tricks that they're going to bring out here onto the stage to try to really mess with Team Secret. Is that Yoru a part of the formula?
And of course, we're always also very curious about stylistically how Talon's going to end up performing. I'm expecting a lot more aggression and a lot more cohesion coming from this team this year around.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that they need. Everything that you could list was basically lacking from Talon last season. But again, there was that foundation. It was just the decision-making from coaching staff, whatever it may be, to try.
Wow.
Okay.
Yoru,
Well, screw what I was about to say, because it's not important anymore. All right, we have
Interesting guys।
a big old blend coming through here. Talon bringing in the Harbor Vipers to the double controller. The Sova,
No
of course, is going to
Sentinel,
be there.
double controller
They're
initiator,
going for
double
the Neon
duelist.
Yoru, combining what we saw from T1
पर फाइनली अब जाके
yesterday.
ब्रीज पे साइफर देखने मिल रहा है। कोई टीम नहीं ले रही
That
साइफर।
is a
हाँ, कल भी नहीं लिया था ना
coming
किसी
out
ने।
on the defense. Imagine how little map control they have because they don't have the Sentinel. They're going to have to
टीम
move
सीक्रेट
around
का
the
तो
map
पूरा
to
रैंड वाला
alleviate
कॉम्प
the
है।
lack
ये लोग का बड़ा
of
टेढ़ा कॉम्प
Sentinel
है।
control. That being said, there's also the nifty combo between the Yoru and the Sova that we'll probably see later on when they have their ultimates, but yeah.
And they have 3 walls to slice up the map as they
Also
like. I mean, there are different ways that they're definitely cooking something. And we're going to start. Let's go over the casters. Will and Quack are going to take us through all the action.
Thank you very much, Chubby, Ninja, Asteroid, Achilles. Yes, this is one heck of a mix-up of a composition for Talon, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and if this was the same roster as last year, we'd start to have our questions, but this is their first showing. They're here to prove something. And honestly, they touched upon some of the hints, the ingredients, right? We've seen why some of the agents individually have been picked up on Breeze so far in kickoff. See if it comes all together into one nice dish.
Still, I mean, what Asteroid said definitely makes sense because on the defensive side, especially with halls being opened up, if you're not watching that with the Sentinel, how are you going to make it happen? I guess with just gunshots peeking into shop, they managed to start things off with a double kill.
हाँ कल भी यही था ना
Way to
नियॉन हार्बर
open
A कंट्रोल
your
ले रहे थे
debut
उधर।
in VCT
बट
Pacific.
उसने वॉल के थ्रू
Governor,
मार
a
दिया
lot of
है।
people had questions about the pickup, but trying to silence the doubters from the pistol
Ayo.
round in the very first match.
Already finding something, but still Ban kind of over-aggressing a little bit too much, does get fallen down by Borkum. So with that, a little bit more space, Team Secret gets to recover for just a second, maybe setting up for that A-split push.
Yeah, good back out from Governor. Of course, a bit of a mishap coming down from Halls, but I mean, they should still be able to find some good shots. Cruz will eventually clean up that kill, and that makes things a lot easier. The door open is a good sign for Governor as well, and just Jesse Vash left spotted. Okay, Com's a little delayed, but Governor will find the headshot.
That's just a quick start already. I mean, we're thinking about Governor, and I think that's one of the main things that this entire roster is built around. Asarai mentioned it a little bit as well in their ESL Clash of Nations games, that this entire roster was built around him. They want to support him. He's the duelist, and he's here to frag. And this first round says it all.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Emerge video, Lenny talks about how he was actually impressed with the playmaking and kind of the smart decisions that Governor is able to make. Now on the Neon, some extra utility to work around as well with things like the fast lane and the relay bolt. We saw that from Ye yesterday, who had a decent opening match in terms of his own performance. Governor another kill here in A main, trying to say this is my home for the first half on the defense.
All right, supported by Cruz as well with that cascade. I mean, it's just starting things off. You're already picking up the Phantom round 2. You're just looking to hold on to that thing to maybe secure the bonus round as well. It's just so much going into this. Lenny tries to hold up Tunnel, able to take down one. It's information enough for Talon.
Yeah, and only the Ghost as well. I don't mind it at all. In fact, I like it, right? They're very aware of the fact that, okay, you're the one with a pistol. You could push out a bit. Yeah, you might have questions about its Sova, etc., but at the end of the day, this is an anti-eco. What matters is you win the round and that you're not giving away any extra weapons. You want to carry over these long-range rifles into the bonus. And good shot from long range. NDG staying alive behind the wall. This deep dig in from
Governor new
he's
edition
already
है
all
ना
the way
guys,
through
पता है
Nest.
किसी
I don't think they're going to suspect the timing here.
पहले थोड़ी था
However, he's
ये
only got a
इसमें।
classic,
Yeah.
so you gotta close in the distance. You gotta be able to, you know, get a quick double tap in or something. Because if not, Envy might not be able to do all too much. High Tide blocks off so much. Governor spots him out. Easy cleanup. Easy second round win for Talon.
Yeah, if he had a Sheriff, I think we'd get a lot more excited for the potential there, but also gets spotted right at the end. Doesn't have the long-range weaponry, and things go as planned. Dropping just the Marshal by, so the importance with the Phantoms, and then you actually have the overdrive on Governor now as well. You pass over the rifle, you have some good capabilities to push out even with the overdrive. Really tighten up the map here on a bonus.
पीछे गया वापस इधर आया
Lenny was holding onto a ghost. I mean, economy just looks
वहीं पे तो मारा था
great
उसको
for Talon
बॉक्स
in
पे
round 3 to maybe potentially carry this over into a bonus. So the question is for Team Secret, I mean, what is their game plan so far out on the attack? It hasn't worked out so well, especially when Governor continues to push out into A shop.
Revealing area.
They're not going to push out right away. I like the patience from Talon. Wait for some early contact. You
हर
know
round जा रहे हैं
that the opponents have to play a bit slow. They don't want to take any big risks just yet.
यही फायदा है डबल कंट्रोलर में।
Yeah, they've adapted to this already.
Oh, and look at this. They pull back. I mean, second cascade used, maybe a bit of an extra investment in terms of utility, but the point is they pressured and they let them know that it's a Neon there with a relay bolt. Now they're trying to really just funnel them into A main.
Just checking around. Nobody's here though. Team
भाई तो
Secret
बिना
just
इन्फो राइट खोल के चल गया।
Yes, you picked up the overdrive.
जरूरत ही नहीं थी।
क्लियर है बट तुम लोग पीछे होल्ड कर रहे थे अभी ए पे ही आ रहे हैं बी पे कोई
I
नहीं है
think कहीं हिट होता फिर अल्ट करके जाता सही
Sensible to make
रहता।
a move. Ban, however, seeing that they made a move, takes one out, tries to look for another, gets gunned down by Envy instead. A little bit sharper, and with that, maybe a bit of an opening. Cruz hiding inside of the cove though, turns back around, doesn't expect to play for calls. Here comes Governor, picks up the Vandal, tries to wall bang, can't quite find all too much.
Already a lot of damage done, and if Talon very easily could get at least another kill with Jeremy so low. Still a very doable round for Talon, trying to lead with a dominant 3-0 half. The comms just not there about Jeremy potentially still being around the switch.
Just a bit of that mix-up of a 50-50 angle or something. I'm not too sure, but whatever it is, it's all down to Governor's shoulders right now, and with a 1-on-3, even with a Kuronami Vandal, it's just a little bit too much.
Yeah, we don't want to read into things too much too early, but of course, I mean, they've talked about how, obviously, great credit to JetBoys, who is the one who mainly has to try to catch up to this language barrier as they've switched to a primary English calling. Everyone else has experience calling in English and communicating, so it could be part of that, but just something about it, maybe being pressed for time, bit of a mishap, but at the end of the day, bonus round, you're still getting away with a Vandal. So Talon, the result is not poor, but we'll see if those kind of hiccups start to show throughout the map.
On the other hand, for Team Secret too, I mean, what a way for Envy to really break open this site. It was some trades going off back and forth, but at the same time,
just a clear idea of how to set up this split. And that's the other thing too, because although it's great early round aggression from Talon on their defensive side, they leave a lot open, and you can see that Jeremy exploited just right that on A-Halls.
Yeah, a very aggressive dig into Halls as well. Of course, now opened back up. So props to Jeremy. A big risk you take as that primary jet. Oh, it's a little too high. He sent it up from a little too far. NDG, welcome to VCT.
भाई
क्या था?
मस्त slowly चल के
Gonna have to
गया
reconsider how he sets up those tripwires from long
ऊपर है
range.
सही है
That's a
भाई
rude awakening.
ठीक
Team
है।
Secret just trying to find ways still, but feeling some of these old patterns, they're not quite able to find all too much unless they get the information that they need. And with so many early aggressive plays coming out from Talon, they're starting to feel that heat. So just trying to escape that for a second. I mean, they keep holding back, but Talon's just going to keep pushing out.
Yeah, and Talon has the read now, right? They've pushed out. They knew it was the Cypher. They didn't see any other further info from mid or on B main. Good shots from Lenny as well. Nowhere to go for Team Secret.
Yeah, Recon just confirms even more, so they know it's very much so an investment into the A site. As long as everyone here stays tucked in, it's probably good enough. However, with the Owl Drone being committed, it's an easy frag kill for Envy. With the pushes out though, yeah, it's just way too much. Ben coming up from behind too. This round is over.
And Ban's been this guy who's just walking out every round up to a certain point.
भाई अभी तो ऐसा लग रहा है इनको पता ही नहीं चल क्या रहा है।
Almost just like a deadly drone.
हाँ,
And
थोड़ा
so far,
lost
I would
लग
say
रहा है ना?
successful, even if he doesn't get contact on a map like Breeze. If you're able to dig deep and
ये
then
ऐसे
deep
क्यों
crash
बैठा है
back,
बोल के
वही
कुछ
कुछ
हुआ है क्या issue?
प्लीज मेरे को भी वही लग रहा है।
works very well in
That
timing
pause
with Governor's
incoming,
push
guys.
outs in these first kills as well.
I knew it. I think round हम लोग ये
plan that
करेंगे ना
Talon had,
री नहीं
it
अगर
has been working
पहले
out.
हुआ होगा स्टार्टिंग में
वो तो फिर वो लोग को फाइट वाइट नहीं लेना था ना
हाँ
ऐसा
फाइट
कुछ
लेके
रहता
फिर
था।
नहीं हो सकता
Hopefully. Yeah, it did look a little bit weird, but whatever it is, still, I mean, the kills were kills, and you can definitely see that this is the game plan that Talon has brought to this map.
Yeah,
this is why they picked it.
And the desk talked about it, right? You have to play it. I totally agree. You even have the double controller. The Harbor can help with push-outs as well. And that's the only way you're going to feel comfortable at your defaults on a wide map like Breeze. And so far, it's working. Now the question is, you still have something like the Cypher. Now, obviously, you got to be careful how you put up your tripwires. But Team Secret, they do have tools to answer to this, you know, one way or another. Whether it's you always go in as 5 and you start to rush and make sure that they can't just comfortably push out, have a good post plant, or do you always wait for the early picks? And that's up to you to decide. Obviously, they can't discuss it here, as we do have a tech pause on a timeout.
भूख नहीं लगी अरे मैंने ब्रेकफास्ट किया आज हैवी अभी खाना थोड़ा लेट खाऊंगी
the first rounds of this match.
Yeah, you really got to find those gaps to really exploit this game plan that
फिर
Talon
से
has, because although you are pushing out a lot, although it can be
अरे
really
हाँ वो एक प्लेयर का कुछ दिक्कत था ना वो दीवार में घुसा हुआ था यार
still
वाइपर
leaves a little bit more for Talon to exploit, and we saw that in round 3.
Hi, Cognito.
Despite the good ideas.
मुझे वो जितना न्यू सैंटिया को बड़ी भाई मुझे कभी चांस मिलेगा तो ना क्या इतने हवा में बातें क्यों कर रहे हो भाई
And then I want to see what the next page looks like.
क्या खाया दही पराठा अचार
We have some good ideas on how Talon expects to play around it, and that'll come down to execution. Of course, the Yoru can continue to kind of poke and prod, kind of mess up the Cypher setups as well, and then the Neon's still there available for the actual execute with things like the fast lane. But on this defensive side, if they keep getting away with these, and I wouldn't say it's for free either. I would say a couple of these, I mean, Team Secret's ready, and Governor's just getting the first kill.
मैं जा रहा हूँ मेरे बर्थडे पे वाया क्यों कराएंगे?
I mean, repeated so many times. This map could be over that quick. So of course, you know, there might be some issues here and there. There are a lot of Team Secret supporters.
Are you Madrid fan? Like not anymore.
But you love to see it. Obviously, a very passionate group of fans that we've come to know and love.
Facecam सही तो है क्या सीन है?
They were so close, and not necessarily in terms of scoreline at the very last match that always mattered, but they always got to the match that mattered to get to Masters, to get to Champions, and then they just weren't.
यार I hope ये ज़्यादा देर का ना हो tech pause.
Now they say we don't think our ideas were wrong. All we need
that is not fun.
Just, shore up a little bit more firepower, just one change on the roster. And then we want to push in. We want to make it to those international stages and how we see how we do against a lot tougher competition.
It really makes you think, like, is that one change enough, though? I mean, we're all banking a lot on this first kickoff match. There might be a lot that changes up. There are some snacks in the crowd because of our awesome pop-up booths at this entire event.
Yeah, there's pizza at the pub downstairs. So if you are here and for some reason listening to us on your phone here at the venue, definitely go down, grab a slice, grab a drink.
Grab me a slice, Will.
Me? I mean, sure, if you want to solo cast for a little bit, especially during this pause, I'm all for it. Trial by fire, let's go for it. I've done my share in my past years, so.
Sure enough, and then I get rewarded with pizza. I think that's a pretty good deal, right? Right? Okay.
And listen, your standards, it's up to you, man. that's not quite what I'm looking
Watch
for.
party में इधर ही रखते हैं.
But I mean, main thing is still, yeah, is it going to be enough for Team Secret? There's so much at stake. I mean, there's that team revamp storyline. Is it just enough for Team Secret to pick up one new player, or is it still their old ideas? Or, you know, on the other hand, for Talon, is this whole new team revamp enough for them to kind of show us a new performance? Because we have a new coach. We got Lenny, who used to be with Team Secret. I mean, how much can change around?
Yeah, I'm curious. And again, it is still early on in the half that Team Secret can't answer back. And we're starting to see a lot of teams experiment. I'm pretty convinced that no team should be too surprised by the Euros anymore, right? Surely if multiple teams are experimenting with this, you've seen it in some scrims here or there. We've even seen it during the offseason from multiple teams as well across different tournaments around the world. So the comp itself shouldn't be too shocking, but perhaps, of course, the combination with Neon, you know, a little bit of extra blue here on Breeze. Not something we're used to seeing.
Breezy blue, I don't know. It looks really good.
Sounds like an ice cream flavor, honestly. Yeah, or Blue Breeze.
Blue Breeze. Okay, Blue Breeze sounds nicer, actually.
Come on, bro.
I'm not great at giving out names. Look at what I named myself. All right, but I mean, yeah.
Guys, क्या लगता है कितनी देर का tech pause है?
What we're seeing with the aggressive plays that they
Repeat होगा कि क्या लगता है? You mean round restart? यार, actually नहीं होगा. वो लोग सब fight ले लेते ना, या तो वो लोग fight ना लेते, पहले ही बोल देते एक issue का, तो हो जाता.
We saw it in round 3.
Yeah.
तो चांसेस रहते हैं फिर भी. बाकी पता नहीं क्या हुआ है, वो तो ये लोग को ही पता है. मैं कैसे बताऊं? ये वाले मैच का क्या हुआ? हार गए यार.
But again, I'm just very curious because again, Secret is a fairly known value, sure. You know,
3 years पागल हो क्या?
Supposedly more firepower, things like that, but they've even
You
said
look like Sonakshi Sharma.
our color, our philosophy wasn't wrong. We just want to carry through with it. So now the question is once they answer back, because they often have decent round reads, right, and some good mid-rounding as well. Talon, the new comp, the new players, how do they gel together? Lenny's calling as an IGL now on Talon.
That is definitely a new thing.
How does that respond to Jesse's first answer? And I mean, Lenny's been watching Jesse for the whole year last year. He's been sitting behind him.
I think it's a really interesting thing.
It was for 4 hours. I think it's starting in
that much is true. We don't
15
know
seconds.
what he plays or what he's capable of. But coming from the Malaysia-Singapore scene, I can tell you that Lenny is a very strong Sova player. Back when he was playing for Bleed, back when he was with Darian and Juicy
Just
and the
remind
boys.
me, like, what year, what patch
This
are we
is
talking
like
about?
Really long ago, 2022.
Okay, because if we were allowed to talk about that, I'm allowed to talk about the time Jemkin outfracked something, you know, back in like patch 4.11 or whatever it was. So.
I mean, I'm just saying because we haven't
Guys,
really seen too much
देखा
of
the
him.
accuracy.
Those, you know, skills, those
It's okay, guys. Please ज़्यादा तारीफ मत करना,
I
please.
mean, Lenny's toolkit.
I'm used to it.
At the same time,
I'm
having
used to
been
it
studying
now.
under Team Secret, under Warbirds, under Jesse Vash, he could definitely have picked up quite a bit.
All right, well, we are back.
Da, da,
Ladies and
da,
gentlemen,
da.
don't worry. No deja vu. We don't like to live in the past here, and it's going to be round 4. Rifles still in hand for Team Secret, and of course, Talon now buying up after that bonus in the previous one.
Ayla Zadu.
Composition. Now they've started to
Ayla
make things a little
Zadu.
bit more slow as we move forward into the next round. Team Secret trying to set up for that execute. Cloud burst in. Jeremy dashes right
Oh
through.
भाई साहब वो full flash में भी survive कर गया. दोनों flash हो गए थे.
Huge wall right in front of Team Secret. They cannot break past B.
Beautiful relay
यार
ball.
but honestly
You could
Team
just tell
Secret
Jeremy
seems
wasn't
too
quite
lost
expecting
right
that
now.
one. Not really sure where to hold his angle because he's not going to be able to swivel on a beat, which he's very well
राहुल
known for.
जिंक्स अलग चीज है अभी
taking
मुझे पता
control
था
as
कि
well,
चालू होने
and
वाला है
DG just can't find a
वो
beat
वो
against
मैं
the
अलग
duelist of
तरीके से
Talon.
बोलती हूँ ना तब वो जिंक्स
Two
होता है
players left.
You guys don't know
Star duelists
only I know
looking to line up even more heads.
ये भी पीक लेके मरेगा
To get that quad, and he does.
I mean, combating that wide swing as well, just the reset. Doesn't hold for the spray. Knows that it's still Jesse Vash going for the
यार
wide
इस
peak.
मैच में तभी तक देख के तो Talon Esports का ही विन लग रहा है यार
0-2 in his debut.
भाई गवर्नर इज 10-0
Not just some pickup from NA, not just some tier 2 guy, whatever. He's here, and he's definitely fitting in on Talon Esports.
Over 2 kills per round so far. Sure, only 4 rounds, but 0 deaths to that as well. He's taking fights and taking names away from Team Secret.
I think that's the other thing too. Right? He's not overheating all too much. He could have, pushed even
What the
more
fuck,
into the
Rahul?
lead, but he just held his ground and then
Excuse
back
me?
out towards elbow.
You
Now
want
the
to
next
use my
Jeremy
powers
tries
for
to do the
money?
same thing towards a different site, but still leaves all too much sauce.
Bro,
all
खत्म
too
है
much
यार
for Team Talon to
यार
take them
मजा
down.
नहीं
2
आ रहा
points,
यार
and
ये
he's
क्या
finding a
वन
double of their
साइडेड
own.
चल क्या रहेगा इस
Sure, a weaker round from Team Secret, but if your weak round by the way, it's not that late into the game. We're only on to round 6 for that one, or round 5, and if your answer is, well, Hail Marion, see if it works. I mean, sure, you kept note of Governor's previous position, but we're not starting to see Team Secret try to dig for solutions here. But no timeout, so clearly Warbirds has faith that they're able to figure this out.
What they gonna do this round?
They're going to have to try something different at some point or another. They've got the full buy now. They have to make it work. Just a
Okay, finally bro ऐसे आ रहे bro punish करो ऐसे आके कोई कैसे मार के जा सकता है bro रैंक नहीं है अभी किया ना punish उसको वाह खुद भी हो गया थोड़ा weird game चल रहा है यार मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है I'm watching SG ranked game legit ऐसा लग रहा है
waiting for it to drop down. Meanwhile, the rest of Team Secret just holding their angles. They haven't been exposed all too much.
Bro.
NDG jumps up, and that reveals
What?
a little bit more. Snake bite,
good
however.
snake bite.
And that means Borkamaster kind of
finally.
repositioned. However, timer is ticking. And given what Team Secret has, it's just a little bit more.
Ban! Oh, this guy. He's
What?
been waiting to get back to be able to play the roles and agency loves, and even here, Governor still giving them
भाई
primary
legit
duelist
SG rank
position.
चल रहा है
But playing with
मेरी
confidence.
टीम सीक्रेट है सामने वाली Talon Esports है नियॉन स्मर्फ कर रहा है SG rank
Playing off of his teammates'
क्या
contacts,
है
he managed just to find all those frags. I mean, we saw him on T1 last year. He was very capable as a duelist.
सोवा ने जैसा
flexing off the different agents.
पीक लिया ना उधर
But
सीटी
maybe
पे भाई
freed
वो
up to do a
weird
little
था
more
ऐसे
on
कौन
this Talon
जाता है
Esports roster.
Yeah, I mean, playing to his role strength.
Time out.
You're there to scout, but once you're on the retake, Governor.
क्या time out के बाद
you're
कुछ
the one who's
बदलेगा?
there for the trades. You're the one who wants to go in and finish the job.
Let's see. They
And
need
now
it.
the timeout does come out. Warbird saying he's not liking the answers he's finding. Now that previous one, I mean, they were prepared for it. They heard the cascade, so they go for the wide peek, the double swing. Yeah, in these micro situations, the answers are there. But then the retake. I thought even the repositioning after in the post plant was a good idea, but Talon with a clean retake, one by one, eliminating angles and always making sure that they have a trade member ready.
Yeah, now that it's down to 5-1 as well, it's just...
क्या लगता है ये
You're
मैच
going to be stuck playing catch-up, so a lot needs to be changed up. And
क्या
what we're
होगा?
seeing from Team Secret, that blind kind of diving in from Jeremy, it just doesn't quite work out. And Governor is just such a huge issue. Looking at how Frost is communicating with the team as well, it feels as though Talon has a trick up their sleeve, like they're anticipating something more.
What
Yeah,
they
and
do
if you ever watched Coach Frost in any of the previous teams
do
he's
they
been on
have
during the offseason, like he will always have a lot to share. He's just ready to
in
just
their
pump out the
minds?
information any chance he gets
Talon
for the
जीतेगा
players. The question always becomes, can they
वो तो
digest
लग ही
it?
रहा है
But it seems like they have a lot of faith in each other for kickoff.
Well, we're seeing another outlaw. Oh my goodness!
Roses are red, violets are blue. I am opening YouTube only for you.
Relay bolt now just
Wow,
keeps them at
Sahil.
bay, and he still taps
Tell
away on that
Juta.
overdrive. It does tag up Borkum for a little second. He's down to half HP. The rest of them all pinned down and stuck inside of this cave.
I mean, if you watch the video that VCT Pacific put out, Benkai tried to tell him he's not the governor around here, but I think Talon's governor is here to stay.
Oh.
Yeah, he looked pretty menacing in that video.
Governor's a pretty decent actor. That's what I found out in all these extra content. If you look at the Surf announcement video from Talon, Governor's shocked face is like legitimate shock.
Yeah, not to mention the one where we go through like all of Talon's roles, the hacker, the big brain, everything. I mean, the mastermind.
Has
yeah, but so far, he's not going to need that backup plan for his career because this is a great first showing and a good call on the Outlaw buy as well. You have so many creds, but yet you want to make sure you're really snowballing the economy. You know that they don't have full buys this round.
Yeah, also just a good call. Like previous rounds, you know, Team Secret went B. It doesn't work out there, execute. So probably they're going to go A, and it's a good call. It connects onto a third. Jesse Bash now trying to go for the close range duel, but
Bye, what the
swapped over the shorty. You can still shoot me for
I
days.
reload karte shot ही निकाल के मार दिया.
2 shots. We'll just add 2 more to the shorty. That's 4 shots always at the ready for Governor.
This is not right.
Too. A little bit of a theme today. Oh man, that collab hurts. I mean,
especially for the player behind.
Yeah, this is just what a read from Talon.
जी का मैच में कौन जीता? GE नहीं जीता.
I mean, if you really want to dig all the way to the micromanagement of it.
One side हो रहा है ना वही यार. मजा भी नहीं आ रहा इतना देखने में one sided ऐसा.
0 KD, 7 rounds into his first match in VCT Pacific.
वही ना गाइस ये मैप देखते हैं ऐसा ही चलेगा तो मैं तो निकलने वाली हूँ. मुझे वैसे भी हेडेक हो रहा है. I think I'm gonna go to salon for head massage.
Potential Viper's pits.
It's a good hold.
I like tapping the.
होता है अपनी टीम को हारते हुए नहीं देखा जाता.
But it allows for Jeremy to find an opening pick.
Love.
And then the trade.
Yeah, answer right back. And Jeremy was trying to
G
get ready
lost
for it too.
या
Bands just
अब वो लोग का कल ब्लीड के अगेंस्ट मैच है. कल ही है ना?
Lost your head. Team Secret.
अरे हाँ.
It's gonna be that much more.
कल दोनों अच्छे मैचेस है गाइस. PRX का भी है. और PRX तो वन साइडेड जीतने वाली है जेएनजी के अगेंस्ट है बट उसके बाद ब्लीड वर्सेस जीई भी है. मजा आएगा कल. ब्लीड के अगेंस्ट तो कोई बात नहीं यार. वी विल स्टिल सपोर्ट यार. मजा आएगा देखने में. ऐसे अच्छे मैचेस देखने में मजा आता है यार. फिर कोई भी टीम हारे जीते.
There it is. Flash out. Oh, but the top.
अरे भाई उसको तो वॉल के थ्रू ही भाई.
Allows for Governor to tap away, and he just finds them through that green curtain.
Yeah, by the way, no extra shots from Cruz on that because there's no assist, so it was just Governor getting envy right through the top screen. He's like,
ठीक है बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है bro अभी.
That went a little bit too haywire. Borkum managing to bring things back under Team Secret's
आज
control.
डालते जाओगे नहीं यार.
Players, they picked up the spike, but here comes Ban. Oh, dimensional drift. What is this quick switch up?
Bro, they are literally playing ranked.
The veteran, the experienced
चलो finally
player,
भाई
and he's still
6-2.
here to frag. Cruz though tries to fight back with the op, has to reload. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough. Recon just makes him think about the other angle for just a second. Swapped over to the Vendel, a simple burst, closes things out.
Never mind.
Jesse Vash's reactions,
Never
not quite enough
mind.
up against Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz, a good read in
नहीं
the
हो रहा है
very
लोग
last
से.
second. Expects the possibility of Jesse Vash trying to get ahead of that cascade. He wins the 1v1.
भाई मैं कोई जिंक्स विंक्स नहीं लगाती हूँ. सब आके पूछते रहते हैं. मेरी कोई गलती नहीं है. Excuse me. मैं तो इसलिए मुंह बंद ही रखती हूँ.
Good shots from Governor and the decision from Ban. The quick swap over for the operator over to Cruz, immediately ults and then just comes
Talon
out of it,
playing
goes
rank,
to the shorty,
legit
and
rank चल रहा है
still there
भाई.
for the trade.
रैंक जैसे ही खेल रहे हैं वो लोग.
Definitely makes your opponents feel a lot of
नहीं
pressure.
शुभांशु.
Because you're not expecting him to come out of the dimensional drift that quick.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that this team is very vocal, all individually. I've heard that they are always ready to speak their mind. They talk about it in their own videos as well, and that can always go 2 ways, right? I mean, you could really gel, but you could all really start to get in each other's ears, and the chemistry's not there. But so far, they are in sync. This new Talon roster.
Yeah, and look at these ideas too. Viper's pit, Cruz hiding inside of it. It's a little bit risky given the owl throw now. He tries to back out of it, but still lands a shot onto Envy anyway.
But that's the problem, isn't it? It wasn't the Viper. The pit's still up. But oftentimes, the Viper gets a little greedy, pushes out, you take them out, and then you think you're able to push through, but just another sentry there to get one kill. And Ban now in mid. I mean, look at Talon's movement. Neon's all the way out in A main. They have full control of this map.
भाई वो लोग ट्रेड्स ही नहीं ले पा रहे हैं यार, एकदम ट्रेड ही नहीं ले पा रहे। एक पिक लेके मरता है, दूसरा भी स्विंग करके मर जा रहा है। ऐसा लग नहीं रहा कि आई एम वाचिंग टूर्नामेंट का मैच।
And the thing is Team Secret also doesn't know that this would have been the Neon pushing all the way out, but now they say we don't really have a choice. Yup.
There we go.
Spotted him as well.
Now it's a 3-on-1. Jesse Vash might be able to get the spike plant, but that's about it.
So he needs to hide from the operator. He needs to get the plant.
Oh, it's because it's Neon too.
Yeah, he's trying to get the first pick. He's crouching down, but it's not enough.
Look, because he was watching the angle towards the entrance of Cave. He had no idea that Governor was already onto the other side. The high gear sprint just kind of throws off the timing for a second. So 8-1. Talon has not dropped a single round since round 4.
No.
An incredible streak from Talon Esports. Now, some Talon fans, you know, this might be a little deja vu from last year where they also had a great showing at Lock-In, and we had high hopes, but I would say...
Insane.
I mean, yeah, you are insane.
You're
I agree.
insane.
These guys are looking so sharp in their aim.
Why 18-2 है bro?
18-2
Governor
keeps going up for Governor.
Governor Smurf कर
I mean, the buck just doesn't stop.
It just keeps bucking. I gotta really think about what this could mean for the future, because you know in their group they might have to play against DRX, and still they're now suddenly dropping thanks to the pacing from Team Secret. Morgan going up on the aggressive. Jeremy trying to go up front, shut down by Cruz thanks to the recon, but then Envy on the trade. Numbers advantage has been gained.
Finally.
Secret
I think 9-3 के towards बढ़ रहे हैं लोग.
Okay, we'll drive it up to 11 as well. And this time it pays off. Jeremy not getting picked off right on the entry. He's able to jiggle out and gets the first pick in return. And that's a good answer. Maybe a little late, but if they can chain that into 4, still a solid shot on Breeze.
Just getting an idea.
I think I'm just watching this this map.
I mean, because
I'll
some
go after
rounds,
this.
especially the first part of the map, they start to go really aggressive. Now they start to slow down a little bit, and Team Secret sees that as an opening, and it works.
Of course, we've got viewing parties from
That's nice for that.
people. Yes, that was a lot of people. And hopefully, of course, the teams are able to deliver on their expectations. But Secret so far, a shaky start, but
Leviathan and Loud.
Again, 4 rounds, I don't think that's too bad. They have the Cypher on the defense.
Of course, always very useful, especially up against players like Governor and Ban. But right now, Talon switching things up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Still got that off on both
get
sides.
Head massage.
Yeah. And
What?
Secret also used an early drone to see. Oh,
that's big and
barrel. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, at least a position of 1. So you know how to just target that guy. Oh, man, nice try, Jeremy.
And all of a sudden, Lenny tucks away.
Try.
Just jiggling for info outside mid, but here comes Ban to do that job instead. Lenny is relieved to go in for the Hunter's Fury in towards B instead.
यार, when you dash on side, तुम left देखोगे ना?
Backup's all here.
Ban just trying to
Technically,
hold
मतलब उसको left देखना चाहिए.
But just as good, plays for the recon instead. He waits for his teammates to arrive on the scene. Cruz getting a bit of a trade, and then comes Governor. Numbers game prevails, and Talon continues to win.
फिर watch party करते-करते थक गई.
Too quick. And of course, I think honestly, some incredible info gathering on the side of Talon. That previous round as well, and this one, he gets some solid pings onto Envy. And Envy tries to pop flash around. He's still tagged, gets shot through the smoke. Backup already there. Governor wrapping all the way around the back of sight.
Easy peasy.
Talon's comms
बहुत ज़्यादा one-sided, मतलब ना वो मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है वाले मैच में मुझे
all the concerns
देखने
that
में.
I personally had about how does this team gonna gel in the very beginning of the year, they've thrown that right on the bin.
ये कब आ रहा रिकॉर्ड डिश पे डिश भाई ये तो भाई अंदर आते आते बेचारे की एचपी चली गई पूरी
Oh my god, even
Oh
alone,
my
I mean, Borkum and
God.
DG all the way from B main, they managed to gun down so many of these players. Going up
बोला
fast
था ना
is
guys
just what
9-3
Talon did not expect, and all of a sudden it's down to Governor.
9-3 it is.
Utility, but no ultimate.
The way he's playing today, I say you hold your breath.
Okay.
Peekaboo.
Good reposition for Jesse. His back is covered by Jeremy as well.
I know what
Beta
to do.
with that fast lane.
Peekaboo.
Doesn't have
I
that much
see
time, maybe like
you.
25 seconds left. If he wants to wrap back around to B main, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's just too many.
यार जब नहीं तुमने मेन मैच तो भाई देखा ही नहीं ब्रो लेवियाथन 100 टीम्स मस्त मैच था दोनों टीम्स बहुत अच्छा खेली मजा आया वो मैच देखने में
Still a good half nonetheless, but great recovery from Team Secret towards the end.
हाफ टाइम 9-3
Talon, we talked about the positives they
guys
showed.
9-3 कर्स होगा
I think a big part of it is that they weren't
comeback
quite
होगा
sure how to deal with Governor being so
या फिर
hot
कर्स
right
काम
off the
नहीं
rip.
करेगा
I mean, obviously in the pistol, it's just a kill through the smoke, and another time it was another kill through the smoke on A main, getting these first kills, and then the fast
around
rotation both
28
the Neon and
hours.
the Yoru. It seemed like they just didn't have quite an answer for that. The couple times they went
अच्छा
for the execute,
28 hours में
I mean, we
18
saw it in
hours
the
shoot
last round
कर
as
लिया
well, but
मैंने
what I
खूब
will say is
पर
that
that
last
is too
round,
much
the Reckoning comes out, and
I
they
did not
they
even
recognize
realize.
if we don't just pile through right
Let's
now,
play with me.
Jeremy's
No.
dead. He's on an island in the side, all on his own. So
Sen
they
भी
go
बहुत
in and
अच्छा
they say,
खेली
forget getting worried about getting stunned. If we kill and move forward, we won't be in the same position for the Reckoning. So let's
Of
just
course
pile
यार
through.
सेन तो
And that gets them
बोला
that
ना मैंने अच्छा ही
so
खेल रहे हैं
precious third round win.
Yeah, just trying to adapt.
सेन दोनों टीम्स अच्छा ही खेली बस लाउड थोड़ा ज्यादा अच्छा खेल गई वो सादाक ने जो कूद के मारा है स्काई पे खत्म करने के लिए भाई क्रेजी था वो तो इट वाज लाइक भाई मुझे अभी खत्म करना है ये मैप अभी के अभी खत्म करना है निपटाना है गलत मारा था उसने
See if Governor can do the same thing on attack. 19-4-5.
I mean, I think attack is where the Neon fast lane can provide that much more value. And on top of that, you've got Crews, you've got Jit Boys, 2 more walls to work with.
बताओ गाइस कर्स होने वाला है या नहीं
So again, Governor has been our MVP for this entire match. Ben a close second, everyone else following up on it. And you're just wondering how much more they can do if they are to close out this map.
King Crash out there ready to join his teammates. Takes out the cam, and that's what the Euro can do, right? You can really start to toy with the Cypher setups, usually on the B side. Put the pressure. That draws out at least one more member, right? Cypher not as safe, can't get as much info without either one trip,
I
one
feel the
spike,
same,
things
यार
like that.
I think ये लोग खत्म कर लेंगे जिस हिसाब से खेल रहे हैं ना Talon
In case anyone does peek out, or if he wants to try to find Van. A little bit faster, and then Ben rendezvous with his team. Setting up for that A execute now. They think they've managed to buy enough time away from B site. If they can pinch down onto Envy, that would be great.
Bro,
Envy.
that was good.
And he gets Governor 2 kills. A bit of a trade, and then Jesse finds one more. Borkum, however, feeling the pressure, has to back off, tries to find a better position. Close range duel with the classic, tries to right click.
Okay,
but you know what?
pistol
It
तो
doesn't even
गियो
matter because only Lenny is left.
Pistol तो
And with the
गियो
IGL not able to frag out, it's going to be Team Secret picking up the pistol in the second half.
These are the clips we remember from 23, Envy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the 180 headshot as well. Lets the Neon pass, then walks out on a timing through.
भाई ये कितना अच्छा था इसका play
Good mind games around the Neon.
That was nice.
So controlled. I mean, like, oh yeah, throw all your utility. I mean, I'm not bothered by
भाई
it
इसने
whatsoever.
कौन सा ये knife लगा रखा है भाई एकदम अच्छा नहीं है
Jesse finding shots too all the way from the back of bridge. That's what
Let's
you need from Team
go
Secret. Now they've got the outlaw at the hands of Jeremy, and they can definitely dish out more damage.
Let's go Team Secret. Let's go. Let's
He has to now
go.
play primary duelist. He has to play primary offer, and you know, of course the outlaw and things like that. See if it comes to fruition, but not on the A side just yet. We'll have to give up the plan.
Bro उन्होंने
Oh, sees him.
3B क्यों start किया इको में वो B तो साइफर की साइड पे तो क्यों ही आएंगे
Talon scrambling for safety.
Not a good
Playing
treat
around the toxic screens too, though. It just gives up a lot more space, and with some blind shots being fired,
और they left
finds one. Borkum not able to do all too much, but
Plant
just
भी
a
मिल
setup
गया
for
उनको
Jeremy to find a little bit more. Envy coming up from behind too, and that's Talon just burned to a crisp.
I'm telling you, it's it's far from over. Obviously, they're able to carry over the 4 weapons that they did purchase into the bonus. Now, not all the greatest, but you got to remember, again, this is a different comp. They've got the Cypher. They can really try to anchor around the site, work around the trips and the cyber cages, things like that on one side. Then you've got the Outlaw potentially on the other. A bit of a mishap there with the spike showing through, of course, the smoke. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it would have made a grand difference in the scheme of things.
Yeah, it just came down to the buy still, and Team Secret knowing how to play so far back. The onus is on Talon to really push up, and it's a little bit more difficult for them to do so given the current weaponry. But now, on to the next round. Team Secret's got to watch out. Talon's got to watch out for Jeremy still.
Aggressive push out from mid. He's just going to try to stick around. No contact.
Ooh. Okay, good recon from Jesse Vash as well.
Yeah, but this, I mean, Jesse Vash simply trying to let them know, like, if you want to come into B, you're going to have to use a lot more utility. And if they're not able to find the Cypher utility off of that, obviously it gets a lot tough. So Jesse Vash with a great read that this is going
थर्ड का आंसर मैं बदलना चाहता हूँ. ये राउंड इम्पोर्टेंट है. अभी ये लोग का प्रॉपर बाय राउंड है ना. If ये भी हार गए
for that 4 and 5 retake, but we're also banking
तो
on
ज़्यादा
that
chances है.
can anchor. That's something that Asterai said.
Envy holding close as well. Oh no!
Oh, भाई body shot मारा.
Doesn't look like the first shot quite connecting. Not able to finish the kill, but the Spectre's here. The decoy
still manages to burn down Ban. But just trying to go full auto with all of these weapons.
भाई इन्होंने bonus भी निकाल लिया क्या?
Duels. Somehow Talon losing out in terms of numbers advantage. Still though, trying to go back to a little bit more safety. Lenny just holds out and swaps over to the high angle, gets down Jeremy.
Oh, nice shot.
The toxic screen though. Jesse Vesh from the share still able to fire off shots.
Yeah, caught one
Nah.
A Spectre, not the weapon you would want in a situation like this, but already damage done. One more kill and even the entire round possible, but no. Cruz watching from double doors will barely save the round for Talon.
But still bonus के हिसाब से अच्छा था. 3 guns गिराया वो लोग ने.
Can you clutch? With a Spectre, it's just that much more difficult. So it is what it is. But Team Secret managed to put up a bit of a
अब देखते हैं जेरेमी ऑफ से क्या करता है.
I think Lenny getting those 2 kills, Ban as well. I mean, pushing up front, just fighting with all that force, and you can hear those communications again. It keeps the team alive, it keeps spirits up, and look at this, Governor up to 20 kills now.
Slow
up,
not as quickly as we saw in the very beginning of the map, but obviously a lot more for him to do on the attacking side.
Oh, bye. Garbage there.
Tried to make the movement work though, but Borkum just managing to react that quickly. Another shot coming in from Jeremy as well, and all of a sudden Talon has to reconsider this entire round.
No.
Heavy W कर रहे थे वो लोग.
So Jesse Vash, no reason to greet this.
Greet ही कर दिया.
You have control of double doors. You have control of the site. You can keep them trapped in the halls. It's not the worst scenario.
Yeah, if anything, Jit Boys has to, I don't know, like.
Hello guys, yeah. Hydration is important.
Into mid. It's not quite gonna happen.
Oh, I don't mind this. The shock dart, right? You already showed one person up in halls. You send the shock dart to let them know that we're still thinking about taking over the space. You just say if we can keep that occupied, we should have a shot. But no, it's going to be a save. I mean, they don't have any explosive entry into the site, and of course the Cypher most likely anchoring on B.
Yeah, 30 seconds. And look at the setup on B too. I don't think B is a site that they've explored all too much, so there are some unknown variables. They don't know exactly where these trips might be or where the cam is.
10 seconds left.
So there's really a lot to consider.
Alright guys, come back
we saw Jesse Vash just playing up around tunnel, around elbow a little bit. So they're still thinking that Team Secret setup might be 2 on B, 3 on A. So we don't want to toy with that too much, at least for this round.
Yeah, and you don't have the KO either, right? No way to just shut down that utility. So you have to really use everything you got, start to scout it out. And as you mentioned, haven't spent too many rounds figuring out.
ये लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कर क्या सकते हैं? साइपर की साइड में तो ट्राई कर ही सकते हैं. ना वही कर रहे देखो बी जा रहे अब. लगा ही था मुझे अब बी ट्राई करेंगे.
Again, information first. So back to the drawing board for Talon now as Team
Mid
Secret
चले
starts to
गए.
catch up. Jesse
Never
Bash
mind.
kind of catching up in terms of kills. too.
Okay. Mid पे सिर्फ wall दिया है.
Oh,
B की
very
तरफ जा
aggressive
रहे हैं.
shark dart into
ये
elbow.
कैसा fake है
And
bro?
Jesse's making the same call again, right? Just let them know that we are looking at elbow a bit heavy, and then let's try to reposition ourselves, shift the weight a little bit. But I think he correctly recognized the situation here. No solid info that they're working off of, so just a 2-1-2 default.
Swapped over with Jeremy too. NDG good to anchor just as after I said.
Crash.
Past the
Bye,
side of
bechara.
out, suddenly pushing into it, punished by Cruz. Gate crash allows Ben to sneak and infiltrate onto site, just as you mentioned, Will. And apart from that, look at what's happening on the map. He gets out. Jit Boys still holding up around elbow in case anyone crosses over from mid. Cruz, as long as he stays alive up over by Pillar, he uses his utility. He's still got the Reckoning available.
क्या ये retake हो
There's so
पाएगा?
much that Talon has invested into this
3v4.
round.
Okay.
Another shot.
Never mind.
Jesse
Nice
Bash out in
try.
the open. Borka
पता था अभी B hit ही होना है.
by ban. And that's Talon back into the game just where they left.
Envy had full utility
ये लोग
ready
एकदम
to go,
simple
but
खेल रहे हैं
Cruz
but
just
Talon
gets it
वाले.
right before he's able to set up the
Literally
rest of his
rank game
teammates.
चल रहा है.
Obviously, the distance from each other, not exactly the ideal. But this gate crash was brilliant. Ban gate crashes into the site, so NDG has to wait. But then Cruz holds before pushing out of the cyber cage, as they know that he now has to pick and choose the 50-50 between the Euro and the decoy. And then they just pinch onto him. During all that, Ban's able to still get the first kill on site as well.
थोड़ा ये लोग को भाई info रखना पड़ेगा.
I mean, Team Secret, they can't really rest on their laurels on any part of the map.
Yeah, just trying to change up everything now. NDG swapping up his setup on towards B side as well. Jeremy trying to explore mid a little bit, maybe pull off something cheeky. But again, this high tide just makes him question a lot. But guess what?
भाई B तो
Talon's
पूरा
actually corralled up towards B instead. Just watching elbow.
A good read, you have to imagine on what the
Good
potential is for
world भी
Team
है, लोग
Secret,
पे
right?
harbor ult भी है.
Because they just pressured B successfully as well. Talon's read is that Team Secret has to push out to get info.
Apart from that too.
तो फिर से fake कर दे रहे हैं ये लोग को. अभी और ult
Now they
होगा
want to
B
get
पे.
their own info past enough time. Dimensional Drift does clear out a lot, so NDG has no choice but to relinquish the site.
Relay boats corralling him.
Bro, are you kidding me? भाई मुंह पे TP किया उसने.
Crash.
हाँ, यहाँ तो punish होना था.
Making a trade happen, so not impossible for Team Secret to come back.
Jeremy on the flank,
Nice
but
plan.
so is Lenny. Now this cuts the timer for
my
Lenny quite
God.
short, but I don't think they're aware at all. So if Chip Boys
Bro,
can stay alive,
सोवा
also
कलर
this is
देखो
huge.
तुम. भाई उनके पूरा पीछे आया है वो भाई. ये लड़की इनको जिताएगा ये राउंड.
Back up, and Jit Boy still trying to
Nah.
keep things alive. Governor and Envy
Late हो
though
गया.
suddenly pitched down. And with that, the spike available. They knew where Lenny was. They knew where he was about to show
साइड
up.
वाले बंदे भी होल्ड कर लेते ना तो
round for Team Secret.
Team Secret immediately ups the tempo as soon as they recognize that Lenny gets the first kill on the flank. Instead of trying to say, well, one person watch for Lenny, and the rest of us will go in and go for 1v1s, they just say, well, he's still pretty far out. He would have to walk all the way up to Arches to be able to combat us and provide backup. So let's just push in and win these fights. And Jeremy's lurk, I mean, he catches sight alongside Cruz. They see each other in mid, and Jeremy just follows all the way. Good call.
Is it kind of just like forgetting for a second?
हाँ
that,
पता नहीं
oh,
आप तो
yes,
क्यों
they
नहीं
might have
निकाल
been,
रहे.
Pushing out on defense, Team Secret.
बट वो हर बार फ्लैंक ही जा रहा है ना जेट.
Put themselves into deeper positions.
तो आप लेके क्या ही करेगा वो.
And that gives them to that
अरे
7-11
अश्विन good
Talon now
morning.
calling their first time out, trying to collect on those last 2 rounds.
Talon, they seem to have the number, especially in the first half, but
यार नाम ऐसे कैसे पढ़ा है मैंने.
I like the attempted hit.
हाँ मेरा
on
in game name
success
I am
brought them
Sherlock.
their 11th round win,
ऐसे करके Sherlock पड़ गया.
but not quite as much control around the map just yet. I mean, on defense, they were running amok. They held mid, they held pillar, they held both sides, they held a main. Sometimes they push out a B main, get that early pick.
Right here.
But on attack, I mean, first of all, not too many answers about pressuring mid, right? And this is allowing Team Secret to just say, all right, pressure one side, go back to default, and then shift
क्योंकि वो लोग डिफेंस में भी आगे जाके कंट्रोल ले रहे थे ना और उनको पिक्स मिल जा रहे थे हर बार जब भी वो आगे आ रहे थे इसीलिए
with that 3-on-5 round where they lost 2 players really early on.
Well, this is going to be finally the Yoru trying to shake up the utility for Cypherus. Jeremy the first kill. And NDG was ready for this too. I mean, Ban got pinged by the cam, so he has to slow down. He can't just go in.
भाई उसने वहाँ से किधर मारा है भाई?
That far out, he still gets a shot onto Lenny.
No atom zone, I'm not. GK match results.
Now we're starting to creep up instead.
2-0.
Well, two-pronged attack.
Win or loss, you guess.
All the way up and through halls. Jesse Vash is right on the other end. Gets the information. Jeremy still staying tucked away and hidden.
So Talon seems to have heard and or seen Jesse Vash on the rotate back over to A.
ये मैंने अभी notice किया इसमें भी right में intel है guys. अभी देखा मैंने.
They break into B because otherwise Jeremy's just.
ये but और भी है Ralph Lauren.
And Talon doesn't have proof that Jeremy's here.
Oh.
Not even a guess, it looks like.
I thought they might have had an idea, but guess not. And with that now, Team Secret very much in control over the map.
Yeah.
Van trying to fight back, but not for long. 5 HP. His teammate in the spike dropped.
Comeback is real.
The round is over. I guess he's going for that save. 15 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, only 5 HP, and your econ's not exactly even across the board. And we've been trading rounds back and forth, so not quite at the maximum loss streak bonus. Talon carrying one Vandal over, losing a lot of steam. And this one, it could have been alive, right? They could have
ये लोग को W ही करना चाहिए B पे. जीत सकते हैं लोग तभी जीतेंगे.
Digging deep to really cut up the forces from Talon Esports.
That's what we need to see them do, especially on this defensive side.
BW ही करना चाहिए.
Formula. It's going to be that much more difficult for Talon. NDG going back to the slightly different setup still, but heavily anchoring on the B side. The game plan has swapped back up to what we saw just a few rounds ago. A solo NDG on B.
Yeah, but this is a retake from Team Secret.
And
they get the ping onto pretty much everybody, if not literally everybody, on the side of Talon. So backups now arrived as well. I mean, Talon, yeah, you have to reset at the very least.
Yeah, retake setup too. Talon has to reconsider their
They're
options,
rotating.
Given the time passed, they never
Okay,
quite
finally
know
off B.
who might be on the other side. And it's going to be Jeremy with an operator.
They suspect something.
1 pixel is all it takes. Shot hasn't been fired off. Oh, the movement for Governor. A sudden, he jumped over and carried the momentum through. Jeremy repeats.
ये नहीं जाना था, ये नहीं.
The cascade pushes him away, and Governor wants to pressure it. Oh, the blade storm. Right click, and then Lenny with the short.
Oh, वहाँ से repick क्यों करेगा?
As well. So although Governor dies, it's enough space for Talon.
Op मिल गई bro उनको.
High tide blocks off so much
अब
vision.
retake और मुश्किल op के साथ.
Spike gets planted. Post plant, not bad. You could even go for a rotate, even the pit
भी
to
क्या
make sure.
करेंगे?
I mean, this is going up to match point for Talon.
Wow, and all they got to do is to protect the Viper right now. Up around.
केस निकाल लेगी ना bro. Repick Jeremy ने गलत किया.
It just looks nigh impossible.
So many layers of safety. Cruz dies. We still got Jit Boys. We still got Ben and Lenny on the other side of Cave. So it's the call for Envy to save instead.
Yeah, looking at their trades, I don't mind that they attempted to go into the pit. I mean, you just don't want to give over map point. And you still
भी गई Jeremy का ult भी गया.
Point, you know, you get the first cheeky pick. Sure, there's a world. There's a world where a story could be told, but not in that one.
I think वो repick करने की जगह पीछे आता तो ज़्यादा chances रहते हैं.
But it was only a couple steps up to here.
Yeah, picked it up again. I mean, again, it might just also be Breeze on defense, and you know, you got to figure out those openings, and especially with Talon. I mean, Team Secret now starting to peek out a little bit more. They had to adapt, and adapt they did.
Yes, this should do.
Well, this is, it's actually giving me a bit of a nightmare flashback to when DRX just couldn't figure out how to attack on Breeze on an international stage, and a lot of it comes down to they keep tabs on the actual setup, and they're just trying to combat
अरे बी
the
पे
setup
स्पॉट हो
itself.
गए थे ना KO
On
नाइफ से
site,
इसीलिए
bam!
देखो
Great opening kill, takes out the operator
खत्म
from
है
the
आई
opposing
थिंक ये
side.
Don't
ये
just
राउंड
combat
पे
the setup, right? Combat the players.
Well,
Hi,
sure,
Narcos,
yes,
good
combat the
afternoon.
players as well. But what I'm trying to say is you want to work the map, right? If you're just saying, okay, well, they hide in this cubby, they have this strip, let's go in and break it and break it and break it, you still, at the end of the day, have to not only win the fights, but they make one micro adjustment, one change in timing, and it throws the entire thing off. Now, I would say Talon, a bit more flexibility here in the second half. Also, they didn't need to win as many rounds, but this time, Van's operator is the one who really shakes things up.
Bro,
Feel a little bit uneasy.
दोनों तरफ से आ
In
रहे
the
थे
fast lane, they think it's going to be an A hit, but look at where the spike's headed towards.
Yeah, the nail in the coffin pretty much. Now, a pretty early call from Team Secret. They recognize this as they don't hear any more footsteps, but whoa, Governor flying high off of the boxes.
GG I told you ना नहीं निकलेगा वो लास्ट राउंड ही जेरेमी का जब
You on the
देखा
neon,
it
and
was
just poised
GG's
to end it all as he hops around for his teammate to pick up the kill. 13-8. This first map goes to Talon.
A huge showing from Governor. Obviously, ex-teammates with Rossi from T1, 2 members coming over from Turtle Troop, from the challenger scene in North America.
All right मैं वही सोचूं कि बैन T1 में हुआ करता था जिधर अभी एक्यूरेट है
for Governor, but it is
मैं
a
वही
best of
सोचूं
3.
यार बैन
I think a
तो
lot of us perhaps expected a
ban
bit
plays
more from
good.
Team Secret in terms of the mid-rounding, the adjustments, the
broke
synergy.
the curse मैंने बोला था यार वो लोग स्टार्टिंग से मतलब दिख रहा था यार वो काफी लॉस्ट लग रहे थे टीम सीक्रेट वाले पता नहीं अभी ये मैप पे किसका था टीम सीक्रेट जीती थी टॉस अबे इनका ही तो मैप पिक था ये मेरे हिसाब से हाँ खुद के मैप पिक पे ही भाई ये लोग का तो
Yeah, I mean,
जीजी
he's had
सीन
plenty of experience in the Neon, but this was still a bit of a different flavor. Like we said, a bit of a mashup from the comps that we saw yesterday on Breeze. They come out here
ब्रंच हो
with
गया
that Neon
ब्रेकफास्ट किया था
alongside
सुबह
the Yoru, and I mean,
बस
it was
guys
Governor and Van
I
shining
think I'm
through, and
gonna go
This is really strong when you have two players that are also very well versed with that operator, which is snipers in general in their hands.
जस्ट लाइक सेन नहीं यार सेन लॉस्ट नहीं लग रही थी सेन ने बहुत अच्छा खेला ये लोग स्टार्टिंग में पूरा लॉस्ट लग
When you
रहे
look at the
थे
compositions, right, from the start of this entire game, especially with Talon's comp, it's very specialized, and you immediately see the big win condition that Talon needs is a lot of contact, a lot of aggressive contact, and they were so good at.
चलो गाइस कल मिलते हैं अब ठीक है सुबह कल अच्छे मैचेस है किसका है कल भूल गई मैं फिर से या कल PRX वर्सेस जेएनजी ब्लीड वर्सेस डी बहुत मजा आएगा एंड देन रात को भी अच्छे मैचेस है सी यू टुमारो ठीक है हाँ लाइक सेन हारे थे मैप पिक में बट द थिंग इज कि दे प्लेड गुड का थोड़ा चलो बाय गाइस मिलते हैं कल टेक केयर हैव अ गुड डे बाकी के मैचेस देखो तो एंजॉय बाय सी यू